The higher civilization locks down Blue Star's resources. Nice welcome gift. Every pioneer is now tied to their country's fate. No pressure, right? If a contestant dies or ranks last, their country gets hit by a natural disaster. Very fair. Very insane. Other contestants gnaw bark in S-class forbidden zones. Meanwhile, I hide in a warm cave eating hot pot. Survival has levels. To explain that, I have to go back 10 days. The moment I landed, my daily intelligence system awakened. At that moment, I am curled deep inside a tiny snow cave like a frozen shrimp. The system panel flashes red alarms in my face. My body temperature drops to 34.2 degrees. I am already in moderate hypothermia. My humidity reserve is down to 3%. Shock is basically knocking at the door. Back then, I answered the call and fought through every selection. That is how I barely became a pioneer. Who knew my luck would immediately fall into a pit? Others start in rich forests or vacation islands. They land and can pluck fruit like it is a picnic. I, of course, land on eternal frozen tundra, an S-class human death zone. Great real estate. If not for the gear Dachau issued me, and the snow cave I dug for shelter, I would have become an ice sculpture on night 1. Then the system's cold prompt rings out. The broadcast orders every pioneer to upload supplies. Hand over lunch or else. I stretch out a purple, frozen, trembling hand. From my chest, I dig out my only harvest from these days. A few black moss chunks, hard enough to sue as stones. The upload labels Lin and of Dachau as F-rank trash. Brutal honesty. A translucent screen unfolds before my eyes. At the same time, billions on Blue Star see it too. It is the daily national fate ranking, cruel as ever. Then, a blood-red warning flashes wildly in front of me. Warning, Dachau's overall rank has crashed to 8th worldwide. The penalty raises the national cold wave by 5%. For 1 second, giving up floods my brain. But when I see the penalty, I force that thought back down. Great, I have dragged everyone down again. Now I cannot even die in peace. That disaster is probably already reaching every home. Shaking, I close the ranking full of insults. I look down at my nearly ruined legs. Fight. Trust me, I want to. But this seems to be my limit. My consciousness starts to blur. My eyelids grow heavier and heavier. Then it happens. A crisp electronic chime explodes deep in my mind. It scares my eyes open. I think it is just a dying hallucination. Instead, a light screen appears in front of me like a miracle. A unique hidden talent has awakened. The sudden scene leaves me completely stunned. The system congratulates me for gaining the daily intelligence system. This is not that so-called common blue screen. Golden lines of text appear one after another. They float directly across my retina. Today's intelligence has refreshed. The words even drift with my eye movement. Fancy and creepy. The survival intel says, 80 meters outside the snow cave. There is a supply box left by a previous survivor. I blink hard in disbelief. But the golden words are still painfully clear, and on my retina, a golden guide arrow appears out of nowhere. I have no time to ask where this cheat came from. Staying in the cave means certain death. Instead of freezing like a coward, I might as well crawl out and gamble my life. 80 meters outside the snow cave. Right. I grit my teeth hard enough to charge rent. With my last strength, I crawl out of the cave. Clutching the alloy shovel, I drag myself through the snow like a madman. This is the spot. I drop to my knees in the snow. I raise the alloy shovel high. Then I smash down with my whole body weight. I roar for it to come out, while the world decides. This bottom-ranked unlucky guy, meaning me, is definitely dead. Even my parents do not dare open the live stream. They are afraid to see their son's final mess. But when the camera cuts back to my snow cave, everyone in front of the screen goes stupid. Not only am I alive, I have even stripped off my down jacket. I am sweating buckets while chewing. A top-grade jerky strip covered in silver patterns. As the system prompt arrives, my fullness limit permanently shoots up to 120. A golden flash lights in my eyes. Just moments ago, that daily intelligence I could only see by barely surviving, finally refreshed. Inside the raging wind and snow, a dull impact rings out. To me, it sounds like heavenly music. I claw madly through the cracked, hard snow shell. My fingers touch cold hide and bone. With shaking hands, I tear it open. There is no blinding golden special effect. Only a few plain-looking things, but every one of them can save my miserable life. There is oil-soaked tinder, flint, and 3 black stones shining like polished coal. And there is that piece of silver dragon jerky. I do not dare hesitate at all. I use my thin body to block the freezing wind. Then I grab the flint with trembling hands. My moisture level has already hit 0. My health is dropping like it owes someone money. If I crawl back to the cave now, I will freeze into a brick halfway there. In the cutting wind, a spark instantly lights the tinder. Then an even crazier scene unfolds. There is no warm-up at all. The black mineral coal touches fire, and eerie blue flames surge up. In only 10 seconds, a terrifying heat wave erupts from the coal. It sweeps outward like it owns the tundra. Even the bone-cutting wind is forced back. I stuff the heat into my down jacket like emergency hot pot. Then I stumble backward again and again. Fine sweat actually beads on my forehead. This heat value is terrifying. I stare at the blue flame on my shovel. A sharp idea flashes through my eyes. If this cold region coal can be reproduced, even at only 1% efficiency, it could ease an entire neighborhood's energy crisis. The moment my temperature rises, feeling returns. Then hunger rushes in like a debt collector. I grab the jerky and shove it into my mouth. Hard. Ridiculously hard. But as saliva soaks it, the jerky melts in my mouth. Rich meat fragrance mixes with a strange warm current. It slides down my throat and straight into my stomach. This does not feel like eating protein. It feels like swallowing a high-density energy block. Feeling gradually returns to my legs. Even the rotten frostbite on my hands starts scabbing over. No wonder it is Silver Star food. It can practically buy my legs back. I finally survive. Barely, but I will take barely. I carefully wrap up the remaining jerky. Then I turn and crawl back into the warm snow cave. At the same time, back in Dashia's H-City, Zingfili community, a heavy, urgent knock hits the door. It breaks the dead silence inside. My dad shudders from head to toe. He trembles his way to the door. Then he opens it. Outside the door, two young men in dark green uniforms stand there. Golden dragon badges shine on their chests. They are from the Special Operations Bureau. They ask whether this is Pioneer Lin and's family. Then they ask again, careful enough to scare people. The leader gives a standard military salute. His expression is solemn. My dad's legs nearly turn into noodles. His voice shakes. He asks if something happened to his linen. They tell old Mr. Lin not to misunderstand. For now, Comrade Lin and's vitals are stable. The young man quickly steadies my father. Then he signals his team to bring in 2 big boxes. They say they are following national orders. They have come to deliver special supplies and power cards to a hero's family. Canned meat, antibiotics. In this freezing winter of citywide power limits, those supplies are worth a fortune. They explain my parents may not know this. The eternal frozen tundra where I landed is the hardest hunting camp in the wilderness to survive. They say I relied on stubborn will. Somehow, I became Dashia's only survivor in that region. My parents freeze in place. They only knew their son ranked last. They never knew what kind of hell I was crawling through. Before leaving, the young leader glances into the corner. There sits someone he cannot fully see. A little girl listening closely. He seems to understand why I have held on this long. In the hallway, a young team member cannot help asking his captain. He asks if Comrade Lin and can survive tonight. The captain lowers the brim of his cap. He sighs and admits it will be very hard. The high-energy mineral coal burns far longer than expected, so I finally get one stable sleep. Luxury, Wilderness Edition. The system greets me with a cold good morning. It reports that B317865 lost 889 people yesterday. Those icy numbers hit me like a bucket of snow water. My sleepiness vanishes instantly. Very effective alarm clock. In just one night, nearly 900 living people are just gone. That is the brutal wilderness. No tutorial, no mercy. The supplies in my hands are pitifully few. Only a little over half the jerky remains. The mineral coal is down to 2 chunks. With this pathetic family fortune, I can last 3 days at most. I have to take the initiative. I take a deep breath. Then I grip my shovel like it owes me rent. Right then, that beautiful electronic sound rings again. The daily intelligence system refreshes. My spoiler machine is back, while others struggle on the surging tundra, freezing like miserable grandsons. I hold a shovel and turn myself into a human drilling rig on an ice lake. I even knock out a flying silver monster fish with the shovel. Not only is the fish delicious, one bite permanently raises cold resistance. I do not waste a single word. First, I roast one to reward myself. Then I upload the other one to the country. That move makes Dashia's top officials stand up together. Because I not only break the zero-resource deadlock, I also trigger a unique hidden reward, 10,000-fold offering. The story starts 3 days earlier. I am inside a life zone with top 3 death rates. The intelligence system throws me 4 golden choices at once. Option D appears. Starting today, I can choose the direction of my intelligence. Materials, environment, danger, or world truth. Casual nightmare menu. Looking at the 4 golden options, I fall into a silence worthy of a funeral. Logically, with only half a jerky strip, choosing materials is the obvious survival path. But reason tells me, this is a top 3 death zone. If I move around blind, more food just means I die with snacks. So I gamble. I choose B, environment. The very next second, the system unfolds a holographic map. But the red warning that pops up nearly stops my heart. Warning, in 71 hours, an A-rank white disaster will arrive. The current temperature is minus 30 degrees Celsius. My current shelter cannot defend against it. In other words, guaranteed death. Thanks for the summary. Looking at the screen full of death red marks, I finally panic for real. But just as despair swallows me, the northeast corner of the map flashes with the only chance. There is a living water lake there. The ice is only 20 centimeters thick. Living water means fish. Fish means I might stay alive. I decide to check it out first, even with the wind cutting like knives. My eyes harden. I grab the shovel and rush into the snowstorm. And off I go. Terrible plan, best available plan. Meanwhile, at Dasha's Special Operations Bureau, the atmosphere is so heavy it could freeze. Laylee coldly demands a report. He asks for the status of the seated contestants. The team member's voice is shaking. They report that Soldier King Zhao Taiju met venomous insects. He is currently chewing bark. Elite dining, apparently. Hunger-resistant Arisli Chingching has gone 12 hours without water. Her condition is critical. Every update is bad news wearing steel boots. But when the screen changes to show foreign contestants, everyone's mentality collapses. Sato from Sakura Country actually lands on a tropical island. He is happily cracking coconuts and drinking juice. That scene makes everyone in the hall grind their teeth. They basically ask why Da Xiao is in hell, while he gets a beach vacation. Honestly, even I would call that unfair. Just as the mood is about to explode, a cool female voice suddenly cuts in. She reports an abnormal fluctuation. The coordinates point to the surging tundra, and to me, linen. The whole room falls dead silent. In the wind and snow, I carry my alloy shovel on my back. I am pushing forward through the storm like a stubborn idiot. That sight makes Lee's eyes sharpen. He orders Su Wan to keep a hard watch on me. He wants to know how I survived a situation that should have killed me. I open the live stream. Then I force a tiny smile at the camera. I look toward Mom and Dad. I tell them I am fine. Classic lie, upgraded for survival. Before the viewers can react, I swing the shovel and start smashing like a madman. The skin between my thumb and finger splits. Pain drills straight into my heart. The live stream fills with doubt. People wonder if this guy has lost his mind. They say I am trying to break frozen ice with a shovel. They tell me not to waste my strength. They think I should go back and wait to die. Helpful crowd. It is not only the netizens. Even Monitor Su Wan pushes her glasses in despair. At minus 40 degrees. She figures the ice layer must be thick. To her, I am only speeding up my death. And right now, just as Su Wan expects, I fall into real desperation. The warning says my heat loss has doubled. My body temperature is dropping fast. My arms have gone numb. Every second, death steps closer. Still not through? I can almost taste despair in my mouth. But I cannot stop. The moment I stop, my sweat will freeze. And then there is only death. I roar for it to open. Then I smash down with the last of my strength. A crisp crack explodes like music from heaven. Black lake water bursts upward. It splashes all over my face. Refreshing? No. Useful? Yes. The ice breaks. A rush of oxygen pours in. That is natural bait. In only a few minutes, ripples spread across the calm water. A few dark shapes rise and bob beneath the surface. The instant a black fish swims over my shovel, I lift with both arms. I yell and haul one up. Iron-hard scales flash on the fish. The flying fish is flung hard onto the ice. Everyone watching goes dumb. Someone realizes the shovel can even work as a fishing net. The crowd calls it an intelligence crush. I call it being hungry. I catch my first fish. I have barely breathed in relief when a deadlier crisis suddenly erupts. The warning says my moisture level has crashed to 5. A violent dizziness hits me. My vision keeps going black. If I do not eat now, I will die right here. I shakily pull out my precious half strip of jerky. Then I bite down hard. The live stream boils over again. Someone notices something strange. They ask why the meat is glowing. A golden comment screams that it is Silver Star food. No wonder I have survived until now. While Daxia viewers are still amazed. A glaring red comment suddenly floats across. While Daxia's viewers are still amazed. That red comment appears again, annoyingly bright. It scolds me for eating such a strategic resource myself. Apparently, saving my own life is wasteful. Amazing logic. That line instantly ignites everyone's anger. People demand to know where that barking dog came from. They point out I found it with my own skill. So why should I not eat it? Exactly. Roll away. As the jerky goes down, warmth surges through my whole body. My stamina shoots up. My fullness limit rises permanently. Feeling returns to my body. I strike while the iron is hot. Splash, another fish comes up. In just half an hour, 3 black fish are mine. I am so happy my nose almost celebrates for me. But my good luck seems to run out. For the next half hour, the water stays dead silent. Not even a ghost shadow appears. Just as I am about to give up and stand. Suddenly, beneath the black water, an extremely dazzling glow cuts past without warning. What is that? My pupils shrink. This thing is more than twice the size of a black fish. My shovel turns into a blur. I kick upward with everything I have. Splash, a crystal clear fish breaks from the water. A jade-white monster fish lands on the ice. But the very next second, Danger decides to add a bonus scene. The silver fish does not flop around. It suddenly springs its body upward. Its tail slaps the ice hard. Somehow it moves like it has a spring installed. It jumps straight back toward the ice hole. It is trying to run. Oh, absolutely not. In that split-second moment, I have no time to stand. So I lunge forward with my whole body. My shovel sweeps across like a racket. I yell for it to stay, and the hit lands. The silver fish shoots away like a cannonball. It finally stops after crashing into a snow pile. Only then does the system notification arrive late. As usual, I obtain a first-rank ice silver pillar fish. Its use effect is rare grade. It greatly improves cold resistance. I grin, and the live stream completely explodes. This is no ordinary rare monster. Someone admits that Scare nearly sent his soul flying. They say if I had a real net, the whole lake population might face extinction. The viewers are ecstatic, but also full of regret. If I can perform like this with only a shovel, what would happen if I had proper gear? Disaster, probably. Meanwhile, back at Longxin, the mood finally turns bright. Lin Zhengwo laughs and slaps his thigh hard. He practically launches himself off the sofa. Every wrinkle on his face blooms with joy. He is basically shouting, "See that? That is called talent." The Lin family's fishing tradition never comes home empty-handed. Beside him, my mom laughs through her tears. She scolds the old man for being unserious, but the stone in her heart finally drops. In the corner, blind Xiao Xiao hugs her doll tight. A long-lost smile appears on her pale little face. She softly calls for her brother. She hopes I come back. Yeah, that one hurts. I strike while the iron is hot. I fling up another fish. The fish are still catchable, but I stop decisively. Greed is a survival taboo. In this weather, carrying too much means I cannot leave. Then the wind suddenly shifts. The headwind cuts like a knife. I carry 5 fish on my back. Every step feels like a duel with death. Finally, before my temperature crosses the red line, I crawl and roll back into the snow cave. Then I quickly seal the entrance shut. I curse the cold for trying to kill me again. I clean the ice silver pillar fish. Then I roast it on the shovel blade. But just as I am about to flip it, a horror scene begins. The silver fish is already gutted open, yet somehow it comes back to life. Its tail cracks down with a slap. It uses the shovel's surface to launch itself. Its sucker mouth opens, packed with sharp teeth, and it flies straight at my face. It is too close to dodge. I glare and decide it has chosen death. My body instinctively leans back. The shovel in my hand becomes a blur. I smash it backhand like a dunk. A crisp crack rings out. The fish head immediately moves house. The headless body twitches twice. This time, it is finally fully dead. I give a cold little laugh. Then I put the truly dead fish back on the fire. A few minutes later, a strange fragrance hits my nose. There is not even a trace of fishiness. It smells like bamboo forest after rain. I cannot wait and tear off a piece. It melts the moment it enters my mouth. A hot current explodes in my stomach. It rushes through my blood vessels. The chill in my bones is driven out like rent was due. My fullness limit surges to 160. I gain a permanent buff. Beginner cold resistance. My ability to resist cold rises sharply. I push aside the snow block. I test the wind that used to cut to the bone. Now it actually feels a little cool. Amazing. This is what rare food is worth. Right then, the grand mechanical voice arrives on schedule. Today's supply upload settlement countdown begins at 5 seconds. I look at the remaining whole silver fish. My gaze turns firm. This one has to go to Mom, Dad, and Xiao Xiao. But what I do not know is, a plot against my family is already forming. Just 10 days ago, my snobbish second uncle treated my family like beggars and drove us out the door. But today, he kneels at my door begging for one sprouted potato. The reason is simple. In the wilderness world, I not only survive, I become a national strategic hero, and I am sitting in my warm snow cave, staring at legendary equipment in deep thought. This snowmobile, should I use it to haul fish? Or to look ridiculously cool? Hard choice. 3 days earlier, in room 401 next door, my second uncle Lin Jianjun is at home. My 5-year-old cousin is wrapped in a quilt. His mouth is wide open. He cries like the roof owes him meat. He screams that he wants meat. My second uncle crouches in the corner. His face is full of worry. Ever since the cold wave arrived, their rice jar has already shown its bottom. He snaps at the child to stop crying. Second uncle roars in irritation. Wang Mei mocks him for only daring to yell at a child. She asks why he cannot get food instead. Then she calls him useless. Warm family moment. Aunt Wang Mei charges out like a mother tiger. Her eyes suddenly turn. Then she lowers her voice and says something chilling. She tells him to go to my father's house. Meanwhile, in my wilderness cave, I am preparing to make a big move. For the upload, I place my hand on that crystal clear ice silver pillar fish. The system voice sounds instantly. It detects a new species. First rank ice silver pillar fish. Rare C grade. Calculating national fortune feedback multiplier. It actually triggers calculation. My heart starts pounding. Garbage resources get 0 multiplier. Ordinary resources only get 100-fold or 1,000-fold. But this time, the numbers on the screen start jumping wildly. 10-fold, 100-fold. Then 1,000-fold comes next. A scarlet number nearly stops my breathing. Congratulations, rare resource critical reward triggered. 10,000-fold. A full 10,000 rare ice silver pillar fish. They will fill Daxia's official cold storage directly. Before I recover from this sky-dropping fortune, a second golden light bursts open. I obtain a special reward, survival mystery box. The system asks me to choose the drop level. 3 boxes float out of thin air. My breathing turns heavy just looking at them. Common grade guarantees supplies within 500 meters. Useful, but not very exciting. Rare grade covers a 1 kilometer radius. Risky, but the return looks decent. Legendary grade covers a 3 kilometer radius. It may contain life-changing vehicles and weapons, but in the permafrost tundra, asking a normal person to run 3 kilometers for a box is basically asking if he is tired of breathing. But am I a normal person? I have a cheat, and the bigger the storm, the pricier the fish. I decide fear can wait. Legendary mystery box it is. The legendary survival mystery box is dropped. I force down the urge to sprint out immediately. Then I open the national fortune rankings. As expected, thanks to this rare fish, my name rockets upward. It shoots from the bottom straight into the top 100. As long as I hold the ranking, I can get body-strengthening liquid. Not only can I survive, Xiao Xiao's eye condition may finally have hope. That night, I carry hope for tomorrow in my chest. In this cruel world, I finally sleep peacefully. But Blue Star's internet goes completely insane. Although my live stream has gone dark, the viewer count instantly breaks 10,000 plus. Everyone is stunned by the name that suddenly enters the top 100. They ask what on earth I uploaded. 10,000-fold offering. I silver you? Most of them have never even heard of it. They decide Lin and must be a big shot. Finally, accurate comments. At the same time, Daxiao's Special Intelligence Bureau is terrifyingly tense. Team leader Lei Li rubs his aching brow. He stares at the giant screen. Sakura Country and Han Country's contestants look far too smug. Lei Li is so angry he slams the armrest. Those people land in temperate zones. They casually pick oranges and dig up ginseng. Meanwhile, we Daxia contestants are mostly fighting for life in frozen hell. So this is fate? Rude little thing. Lei Li's eyes burn with unwilling fury. Right then, Assistant Suwon's message suddenly pops up. It breaks the dead silence in the command room. She reports that I upload my first rare resource and somehow trigger a 10,000-fold offering. I become Daxia's 5th pioneer. To break into the top 100, Lei Li immediately asks what rare resource it is. He springs up from his command chair. The exhaustion on his face turns into unbelievable joy in an instant. 10,000-fold sounds scary impressive, but spread across Daxia's huge population, it is still just a spoonful in the sea. To truly reverse the game, we need sustainable farming and long-term resources. Lei Li takes a deep breath. Then he gives orders fast. He tells them to keep watching the situation. He also orders supplies sent to my family at once. A hero should not bleed and cry both. Finally, since the order is accepted, and at the same time, in room 302, Xingfuli Community, H City, my parents and sister sit around the dining table. 2 boxes of relief supplies. Finally let them eat a real meal again. A few potatoes become magic in Mom Sujiao's hands. She turns them into 3 dishes and a soup. Xiao Xiao worries that I uploaded all my food. She wonders whether I still have enough to eat. My sister Xiao Xiao's face is full of worry. Dad laughs and tells her not to worry. He boasts that my fishing skills come from him. Right before Mom shuts him up, Dad Lin Zhengwo does not even finish bragging. Mom stares him back into human form. They sound relaxed. But my parents know deep down that since I made the decision, I must have my reasons. Hopefully good ones. Just then, rapid knocking suddenly rings at the door. Mom wonders if it is the neighborhood director. She is just about to stand. Dad presses her back down. He quietly tells her not to move. Dad's brows lock tight. He lowers his voice. He says the director would not come at this hour. He guesses it is second uncle's family next door. They must have seen our lights on, or smelled the food, like disaster with noses. Mom hesitates for a moment. She thinks the child is probably hungry. After all, Fong Fong is still little. Dad tells her firmly to sit down. He reminds her how they treated us when we borrowed grain, and how that brat called Xiao Xiao a parasite. That sentence nails Mom to the chair like a spike. Right then, a sharp crying howl comes from outside. The kid screams that he is hungry. He says he smells something good. He demands potatoes, because subtlety is dead. That piercing sound nearly drills through the security door. My parents' faces turn ugly. They are about to force themselves to open the door. Then a fierce shout explodes in the hallway. Someone scolds Lin Jianjun for having no shame. It is neighborhood director Li Shunhong. She tells him to take the child away. She says they even dare covet relief supplies meant for a pioneer's family. She asks if they're tired of living. Director energy. Immediately after, the neighbor's mockery rolls in like a tide. They call him shameless. They remind him he claimed he would rely on himself. Now that my son has made something of himself, they say he changes faces faster than weather. Someone lets out a sharp little laugh. Under that storm of scolding, second uncle's family becomes a pack of street rats. They flee in disgrace. Inside, the 3 of them finally breathe out. Last night, another 1,285 people froze to death on the ice field. Meanwhile, I am in a minus 38-degree blizzard, digging for a delivery buried under snow. Sakura Country's contestant mocks me for seeking death. Even Daxiao viewers start mourning me early. But when my shovel comes down, and I hear that crisp metal clang, the gears of fate finally start turning. Pioneer B317865 reports 1,285 deaths yesterday. On the morning of the 5th day, the gale is still roaring at my cave entrance. I stretch lazily. That sleep was so good it deserves applause. Golden light flashes on my retina. The daily intelligence refreshes right on time. The system asks me to choose today's intelligence type: survival, environment, danger, or event. I do not hesitate at all. I choose instantly, and the golden words reorganize. The next second, a coordinate that can change my fate appears. Legendary Survival Mystery Box. Coordinate 515 to 620 in the starting zone. Distance, 2.8 kilometers. Buried 1.5 meters under the snow. Legendary grade. I pump my fist hard. My heart is pounding like it wants out. I pack my gear. The alloy shovel is coming with me. I tuck the remaining half-grilled fish into my clothes. I wrap my Arctic down jacket tight. Then I start the live stream directly. I greet everyone good morning. I tell them I am going to pick up a delivery. The moment the stream opens, the online count explodes. Because of last night's 10,000-fold offering, I am now the internet's officially recognized miracle guy. But my delivery line instantly detonates the comments. The live stream is not peaceful at all. Yamamoto Ichiro from Sakura Country mocks me over one fish. He says Dacia is truly arrogant. That single comment instantly sets Dacia on fire. The viewers curse war upgrades on the spot. Far away in Sakura Country's intelligence agency, Yamamoto Ichiro takes off his headset. A cold smile hangs on his face. But his eyes are full of shock. It is already the 5th day. If this were their country's contestant, he would have frozen into a statue long ago. But I, Linen, still dare to go out in a blizzard. As a careful researcher, he faintly senses that this Dacia kid is breaking some kind of rule. On the ice field, I trudge through uneven snow. Every single step means pulling my leg from knee-deep snow. If this were yesterday, I would have frozen stiff already. But today, even with wind cutting like knives, my down jacket traps a wave of heat inside. Cold resistance upgraded. Honestly, deliciously useful. After 2 whole hours, I stop, panting hard. The golden arrow on my retina points straight down. This is the place. No speech needed. I raise the alloy shovel and dig like a madman. The 1.5-meter snow layer is harder than stone. Every shovel strike shocks my hand numb. But I do not dare stop. If I stop, my body will lose heat. 10 minutes. 20 minutes. A crisp metallic clang finally rings out. I throw the shovel aside. Ignoring the freezing cold, I start digging with my bare hands. A corroded metal box, glowing blue gold, lies quietly in the pit. Its sci-fi patterns make my breathing speed up. Legendary mystery box. I tell it to open, and the lid clicks. The box lid pops open. Inside, there is no food and no weapon. Instead, there is neatly folded silver-white metal. I obtain a portable polar snowmobile component. Legendary grade, made of alloy, human-powered. Efficient kinetic energy conversion. Maximum load, 300 kilograms. My eyes go wide as bronze bells. A vehicle? Oh, now we are talking. On this frozen wasteland where birds avoid rent, this thing is basically a divine artifact. It beats getting a Ferrari by 10,000 times. I lift the component. Then I start fiddling with it. The pile of metal seems almost alive. It unfolds and locks together rapidly in my hands. In just a few seconds, a streamlined machine begins to take shape. A futuristic silver-white snow sled appears right in front of me. Smooth. Ridiculously smooth. The live stream had been saying I was doomed, then suddenly goes dead silent. And then it completely loses its mind. Everyone starts asking what this thing even is. A human-powered snowmobile. Yes, really. No wheels, yet it runs this fast. So this is a legendary mystery box. The viewers practically kneel on the spot. Someone asks who said I was courting death. They invite that person out for a beating. Very civic. Even retired pioneer Wu Jing cannot help sending a comment. He points out the half-reclined power-saving posture. He notices the gears amplify strength. He calls the design divine. I agree with science. At this moment, I do more than survive. I also earn a shiny new title. Fastest man on the surging tundra. Fancy, right? The rush of speed sends my adrenaline flying. A headwind trip that once took hours now takes only half an hour. Warm up over. What is a vehicle without cargo? I shove the metal box behind the seat. My leg muscles explode with force. The snowmobile lets out a low hum. The speed shoots straight to 20 kilometers an hour. My target is the ice lake, while back home, Blue Star Reserve Base number 1 goes into chaos as I tear across the ice field. The place is already working like a kicked anthill. Hundreds of silver-gray towers pierce the clouds. Limit beams from higher civilization descend like actual miracles. Among countless transport lines on the ground, one golden conveyor belt stands out hard. On it, neat rows of jade-white strange fish are stacked. The cold aura is fierce. Before they even enter storage, they get labeled strategic materials. 300 meters underground, inside the core biology lab. An automated test report prints out. The report marks the species as endangered. Its cold resistance effect is excellent. The lab suggests priority allocation. Seed-level contestants get first dibs. White-haired Dean Zhang is so excited his hands shake. He says this changes everything. The next batch of seeds may survive twice as well. But when he sees the contributor's name, his smile freezes solid. It is not some famous soldier king, nor an elite raised by a powerful family. It is a completely unfamiliar name. Linen. The note is almost offensively simple. Winner of the 8th selection round. Ordinary passerby, not a seed contestant. Yet this passerby somehow pulls this off. Dean Zhang sucks in a cold breath. He wonders what kind of monster I am. Back on the wilderness ice lake. I make one clean drift. The snowmobile stops right at yesterday's fishing spot. The moment I jump off, my eyes suddenly narrow. Huge plum blossom-shaped paw prints scar the snow in front of me. The snow covering the ice hole has been torn away. Jagged ice shards show underneath. A predator came here. I crouch and compare the mark. This print is bigger than my wash basin. Probably an adult blood demon bear. Looks like yesterday's fish smell attracted it. This place is a human forbidden zone. But for monsters, it is a buffet. Anyone else would be leaking courage by now. But I scan the surroundings and see no monster nearby. Fortune hides inside danger. Before the sky gets dark, I go for it without wasting a second. I turn the snowmobile sideways as a wind wall. Then I raise the alloy shovel. Bang, bang, I smash open the ice. Several dark shapes float up instantly. Half an hour later, 3 big black fish lie on the shore. Not enough. Not nearly enough. These ordinary black fish only fill my stomach. What I want is silver fish that boosts cold resistance. I remember the residue from cleaning one last night. A ruthless idea forms in my mind. I decide to do something my ancestors might report me for. I shout for it to break and swing. I lift the alloy shovel high. The still flopping iron scale black fish gets chopped straight into bait paste. The live stream goes stupid from shock. Viewers think I have lost my mind. Using food as bait? They call it insanely extravagant. Someone worries I might lose everything. Someone else calls it gambler psychology. And somehow they love it. The internet is sick. I ignore the comments. I scoop the bloody mince into the ice hole. This is my all-in bet. Ordinary supplies traded for rare strategic goods. 10 minutes pass. The water surface stays perfectly still. My heart climbs into my throat. Just when I think the bet failed. Deep under the water, a blinding glow suddenly lights up. They are here, and it is a whole swarm. I raise the shovel hard. Empty. These fish are slipperier than debt collectors. They slide right off the shovel edge. Fine. Again, I refuse to believe this nonsense. So I start the crazy lottery mode. Once, twice, 3 times. 8 out of 10 shovel swings miss. But those fish go mad for the minced bait. They keep throwing themselves onto my shovel. Finally, the first silver fish flies ashore. Then comes the second. Then the third, until 7 glowing treasures appear. They pile on the snow like firewood. Each one weighs at least 5 or 6 gene. This round is pure profit. Right then, the wind changes. Its sneer becomes a dull thunder. Red warning lights flash on my retina. The system warns, 52 hours left. A white disaster is coming. Current temperature, minus 38 degrees. A blizzard is coming. Time to run. I feel zero attachment. I throw over 40 gene of fish into the cargo box. If I carried this much before, I would absolutely die halfway. But now I climb onto the snowmobile. Both feet pump hard. The tracks tear through the snowfield. I carry priceless supplies and leave handsomely before the storm arrives. At this point, the livestream comments change direction completely. Someone calls out to the brothers online. They just returned from Zhao Tieju's stream. Apparently, they almost laughed themselves dead. People ask what happened to that seed contestant. He spent the whole day weaving a trap. In the end, he caught 3 palm-sized trash fish, and he still treated them like treasure. A soldier king, master of traps, harvests 3 tiny shrimp. Tragic comedy. Meanwhile, I flail a shovel at dawn and slash out 7 rare fish. Comparison really is the sharpest weapon. Daxia 3rd Intelligence Bureau's analyst Su Wan pushes up her gold-rimmed glasses. She looks at the data on the screen. Her breath suddenly catches. She had thought I was just lucky. But when the latest resource report appears, she is completely stunned by what the report shows. Daxia's 8th batch Pioneer Resource Rankings show me, Linen, with no background at all. And right now my name hangs boldly at the very top, 2nd in the entire region. She can hardly believe it, while others freeze like pitiful grandsons. I hide inside a warm snow cave. I chew big mouthfuls of S-grade silver star grilled fish, and before the blizzard arrives, I even locate precisely a giant snow rat cave 3 meters underground. This giant rat is not death. It is premium moving pork belly. At the same time, inside another building in Xingfuli community, Lin Jianjun and his wife stare at the screen. Their faces look ugly. Wang Mei angrily slaps a rag onto the table. She mutters that it is just a few fish. She wonders what there is to show off. She points to foreign pioneers instead. They upload fruit every day, she says. To her, that is real ability. Sure, auntie. Lin Jianjun waves irritably. He cuts off his wife's grumbling. He tells her to say less. He admits that place is not fit for humans. He says he would never let his son suffer there. Wang Mei comforts herself with that thought. Then she walks to the window for air. But the moment she looks downstairs, her whole body freezes. That familiar army green truck has stopped next door again. Several sturdy soldiers jump down. Together, they unload 3 huge wooden crates. Wang Mei realizes supplies may have arrived again. It has only been 1 day. Awkward timing. She stares at those heavy crates. Her stomach twists hard. Apparently envy hurts worse than hunger. The soldier greets my parents politely. He introduces himself as Xiao Wang. He says they can call him Gongzi. It is that same familiar young soldier. He carries the crates inside like he knows the route. My family stands there, completely flustered. Mom, Su Feng, looks at the supplies everywhere. She nervously rubs her hands on her apron. She wonders why they are sending more. She says they truly cannot finish it all. Director Lee tells my family to accept it. He says I earned it with my life. No exaggeration there. Director Lee has rushed in somehow. His eyes are faintly red. He explains the global statistics. Only 75% of pioneers survive day one. The surging tundra has a 99% death rate. He calls me a good comrade. I prefer a live comrade. Before leaving, Wang Gang gives Director Lee a serious warning. Supplies for pioneer families are Da Xiao's red line. He tells Director Lee to keep a close watch. The door closes with a soft sound. The room falls into a brief, heavy silence. After a long while, Dad opens a crate with shaking hands. Cold vapor rolls out. 3 crystal-clear fish lie inside like white jade. Even without life, they still carry an extraordinary aura. Mom trembles as she touches the cold fish. Her tears break loose instantly. She thinks of me suffering in that ghost place. Dad tells her not to cry. Staying healthy is their best way to support me. Meanwhile, back in the wilderness, the wind and snow are still throwing a tantrum. I drag my exhausted body back into the tunnel. Only when I see that familiar firelight do my nerves finally loosen a little. At last, I am back. Without the snowmobile, this trip probably would have collected my corpse. I carefully store the folded metal cube. Higher civilization tech is ridiculous in the best way. As the high-energy mineral coal catches fire, the tunnel slowly warms up again. My frozen muscles ache and tingle awake. I want to collapse and never move again. But the fish piled like a little mountain fills my chest with victory. Today, I absolutely deserve a feast. Rich oil seeps from the fish meat. It drips onto the hot stone slab. A deep-sea aroma bursts out instantly, mixed with the scent of high-energy fat. I swallow hard. My eyes refuse to leave the grilling fish. The skin turns golden and bubbles. Inside, the meat is white and tender like garlic cloves. It smells insane, so I bite down. Scalding juice explodes in my mouth. That satisfaction after a harvest is enough to chase off cold and loneliness. Once the whole fish goes down, the panel chimes like heavenly music. My primary cold resistance rises by 20%. 5 fish can raise it again. It is only day 6, while another 3,980 contestants are busy turning into ice sculptures. I am racing through blizzards on a snowmobile. The cargo box holds hundreds of gene of Silver Star food even billionaires cannot buy. Da Xiao's intelligence center goes wild over my every move. Western media even calls me God's illegitimate son, but only I know. This is not luck. It is my absurd talent that predicts every crisis. Right then, a blinding red light flashes in my vision again. This time, the prey I target is beyond everyone's imagination. Time jumps back 3 days. After I discover that eating 5 fish can raise my cold resistance, I force my body to keep going. Using the fire, I roast the rest half dry. Then I place my hand on one grilled ice silver pillar fish. In my mind, I say upload. Upload. The item registers as one finished grilled fish. Its rating is C++ rare. My Da Xiao ranking rockets up by dozens. A golden light flashes in my eyes. Entering the top 50 means more than honor. It means very real rewards. Early strong pioneers have body-enhancing liquid. Even girls who look delicate can become frighteningly strong. So the wilderness itself evolves us through food and strengthening liquid. I clench my fist. Heat surges through my body. Natural selection. Survival of the fittest. Since I have the intelligence system, hunting monsters is no longer impossible. As long as I survive, I have to become stronger. As long as I survive, I have to become stronger. Repetition helps the panic. At the same time, Blue Star's live stream is blacked out, but the comments explode over my upload. Francis Sanchez cries out to God. He calls this a rare resource. He says it looks better than top foie gras. Park Chan-young from Daehan curses in envy. He wonders why a coastal country cannot find this fish. Faced with a screen full of jealousy, Da Xiao's viewers straighten their backs. Pride rises naturally. They flood the screen shouting that I am awesome. Meanwhile, in Xingfuli community, room 302. Far from the online noise, a real, tempting fish aroma fills the air. That is the smell of home. Mom cuts the ice jade pillar fish. She uses only ginger and salt. As the water heats, the fish does not fall apart. Instead, it becomes a pot of milky white soup. The sweet, fierce fragrance slips through the door crack. It instantly fills the entire hallway. Xiao Xiao lifts the bowl. She carefully takes a tiny sip. The soup melts as soon as it enters her mouth. The flavor is unbelievably fresh. Then warmth bursts down her throat. It spreads through every limb. Dad and Mom look at each other. Both are stunned. That strange warmth surges inside them. Even their blood seems to boil. Dad says it is miraculous. His old cold legs no longer hurt. Mom tells him to stop talking and drink. This is good stuff I risked my life for. Only one wall away. The atmosphere drops to freezing. A child complains that it smells delicious. He says he wants meat. Wang Mei snaps at him to drink his porridge. She scolds the crying child in irritation. Then she turns toward her husband. Her tone softens. She asks Lin Jianjun to borrow some again. Lin Jianjun hears the laughter next door. He lets out a long sigh. He remembers when I knocked for help. He asks what Wang Mei said back then. Wang Mei freezes. Her face turns pale. She had asked why they should lend us anything. She said we could never pay it back. Lin Jianjun shakes his head bitterly. He says they are eating their own bitter fruit. Deep inside Daxia, the atmosphere is even heavier. On the holographic projection, the red national crisis bar is stuck at a terrifying 85%. The blue strategic reserve bar, meanwhile, is a pitiful 12%. The next phase is about to begin. That tiny reserve is nowhere near enough. If things really cannot work, they may have to release supplies in tiny portions. Back home, they almost consider giving up part of it. Then a crisp system prompt suddenly rings out. Under three old men's shocked gazes, that lifeless blue progress bar seems to get stabbed with adrenaline. It suddenly jumps upward. 12.5%, then 13. It climbs all the way to 18. Everyone freezes. They wonder which war zone just struck gold. The recalculation gives the answer. It is an extremely scarce cold resistance resource. It can raise seed pioneers' survival odds. The dead silent monitoring center erupts into relieved laughter. Someone says the heavens have not abandoned us. Daxia gets to breathe again. Barely. They demand to know which seed pioneer did it. Whoever it is, they say, must be heavily rewarded. Meanwhile, in the wilderness, I am still in the eternal east tundra. The wind sobs outside like it owes money. It slams against the snow bricks at my entrance. I tighten my down jacket around me. In the weak red glow, I hover in shallow sleep. Suddenly, my eyes snap open. That is not the wind. It is an extremely faint, but terrifyingly heavy crunch on snow. Darkness and silence swallow the snow cave. A rank, bloody stench seeps through the air hole. I hold my breath. Every muscle in me goes iron hard. If that thing tears through the cover, it becomes a life-or-death fight. 1 minute. 2 minutes. Time feels frozen solid. Just as I prepare to gamble my life, the footsteps outside pause. Then they turn northwest. The sound slowly fades away. I collapse onto the ground. Cold sweat has soaked my back. Northwest is where I dumped the guts yesterday. Good thing I did not bury them nearby. Otherwise, I would be fresh monster takeout. Morning of day 6 arrives. The sky is barely bright. Yesterday's death count is 3,980. I stare at the system's cold number. My heart sinks straight to the basement. This is already the 8th batch of pioneers. Yet the death rate is rising, not falling. The daily intelligence system refreshes again. I choose the crisis vision mode. As the command goes through, my vision suddenly changes. The dim cave entrance gains a pale yellow filter. Data streams rebuild like crazy. The next second, my scalp tingles. A chill shoots straight through my skull. Outside the snow bricks at the entrance, a sickly green trail is clearly visible. The trail lingers at the door for ages. 2 heavy light patches almost touch the crack. A first-tier blood demon wolf marked me as prey. It stayed from 320 to 345. Damn it, I have been marked. I clench my fist. Blood demon wolves are smarter and scarier than blue star wolves. Once one locks onto you, it does not stop until someone dies. Rude habit. And right now, the weather warning on my retina flashes like mad. The warning says my current shelter cannot survive the white disaster. The only chance is to the northeast. A monster waits in front. A natural disaster chases from behind. I cannot stay. Time to run. It is only day 6, while another 3,980 contestants are turning into ice sculptures. I am racing through a blizzard on a snowmobile. The cargo box is packed with hundreds of Silver Star food even billionaires cannot taste. Daxia's intelligence center watches my every move and loses its collective mind. Western media calls me God's illegitimate son, but only I know. This is not luck. It is my absurd talent that predicts every crisis. Right then, a harsh red light flashes in my vision again. This time, the prey I target is bigger than anyone imagines. 3 days ago, after the system warns me about monster and disaster, I make the call immediately. I quickly load the 5 remaining Silver Star grilled fish and my other supplies into the snowmobile. As the livestream opens, the screen lights up. Online viewers instantly break 20,000. They ask what that golden pile in my box is. Then they realize it is all Silver Star food. Someone jokes that I must be restocking a shop. The viewers stare at that mountain of grilled fish until words fail them completely. I climb onto the snowmobile with a grim face. This place is no longer safe. I need to find a new shelter. My movement suddenly stops. Under the snow slope ahead left, an extremely faint pale yellow trail flickers toward the distance. That pale yellow trail looks like a ghostly umbilical cord. It drops into a half-meter deep burrow as the snowmobile edges closer. Above the trail, tiny words appear that only I can see. One tundra giant burrow rat is in deep hibernation. It has stayed here since 3 days ago. The white disaster is coming. It entered deep sleep to dodge the extreme storm. A very smart rat. Unfortunately, I am hungry. My throat bobs. Desire flashes in my eyes. In this frozen death zone, fish is good, but red meat and fat are the true heat kings. Under tens of thousands of confused gazes, I slam on the brakes. I grab the alloy shovel. Then I walk toward that ordinary-looking snowfield. There is a crisp crack. A basketball-sized plug of frozen soil pops open. A warm, rank animal smell surges out of the dark hole. By the weak daylight, I see deep inside the burrow a huge white mass curled into a ball. A tundra giant snow rat. The knowledgeable viewers in the live stream panic instantly. They warn me to be careful. They say its bite can shatter metal and stone. Even blood demon wolves avoid provoking it. Its temperament is apparently extremely savage. While comments flood the screen with warnings, the giant rat inside the burrow seems to feel the cold air invade. Its body suddenly twitches. It slowly opens its eyelids. It is waking up. A cold light flashes in my eyes. Before its nerves fully reboot, I raise the alloy shovel with both hands. My waist and core explode with force. The shovel whistles down through the air. It slams straight onto the snow rat's skull. The strike is heavy enough to make my arms buzz. The giant rat cannot even scream. It goes completely still. The system records a first-tier tundra giant snow rat. I breathe out a cloud of white air. Then I grab it by the scruff. I haul the thing out. It is heavy the second I lift it. At least 20 gene. Under that fat belly is thick, precious grease. It is basically a leather bag full of fuel. Right after that, I fish several glowing blueberries from the burrow. The system identifies first-tier ice blueberries. Ordinary, but still precious here on Blue Star's nightmare stage. At the 3rd Central Intelligence Bureau, they find me again. They watch the screen. My hunting process is smooth as running water. Laylee rubs his aching temples. The seed pioneers Daxiao, trained with everything, are still worrying about basic survival. Yet this Lin and, meaning me, is eating meat and fruit in a death zone. He wonders if all previous reports are useless paper. I keep locating resources with scary precision. I even avoid risks before they bite. They realize this cannot be just luck. Someone suggests it may be a sixth sense. Laylee's eyes sharpen. He thinks of Lighthouse Country's chosen one. John is a born hunter. He has abnormal environmental perception. Other than that explanation, they cannot think of any reason. The office falls silent. If that is true, then Daxiao really has found treasure this time. Laylee passes down an order. He suddenly stands up. His voice is firm as steel. From now on, I am upgraded to seed-level pioneer. My family's protection gets moved into the capital core circle. He pauses for a beat. His eyes burn at my back on the screen. They decide to keep me under priority watch. Once I gain long-term survival conditions, they will start the Apocalypse candidate evaluation. The moment he says that, everyone in the room gasps. Apocalypse candidate is a top sequence only America has. It exists for the next stage of civilization rules. As my authority level rises, Blue Star's official livestream floods with new viewers. They ask if I am the madman racing through blizzards. Others are shivering for their lives. I am apparently turning survival into extreme sports. Some viewers tell the clueless ones to stop talking nonsense. They say I am racing death itself. Flattering. Terrifying. Out here in the wilderness, I know none of this. The wind keeps howling. It rolls up mountains of snow. The snow slaps against my goggles. In my vision, the world is no longer dead white. Actually, it is the opposite. Countless data streams dance through the blizzard. They make this cruel tundra look lively and very, very dangerous. In just half a day, I pass at least 20 resource nests, but my hands grip the handlebars tight. I do not dare relax at all, even if every inch of ground here is an endless gold mine. Even if my greedy little heart is pounding, I, Lennon, still have to swallow this heartbreaking pain, because that red countdown on my retina says the level 1 white disaster hits in 28 hours. If I lose my life, money becomes very decorative nonsense. Even worse, mixed among the resource trails are sickly green, dark red, and even deep purple horror marks. Those are blood demon wolf and giant iceworm hunting grounds. While those monsters are busy hiding from the disaster, I must use this final time window to find a shelter that keeps me alive. Night falls. The cold wind cuts like knives. The material upload countdown shows 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, I do not upload anything, because today, I still gain nothing. The unfamiliar world around me feels like a giant mouth swallowing everything. With no other choice, I can only dig a rough snow cave. In this world buried by wind and snow, then I crawl inside. Meanwhile, Blue Star's live stream falls silent. They watch me bite cold, hard-grilled fish. Tens of thousands of hearts go half cold. People think this weather makes shelter impossible. They worry I may freeze into a statue tomorrow. However, while the whole internet worries about my life, reality prepares a shocking reversal. The next morning, I crawl out of the snow cave. Before me is hopeless white. Visibility is under 10 meters. Yesterday's death count is 1,086. Seeing that cold number, my chest tightens. Without that bit of cold resistance, I might be one name on that list. Now is the moment. Today's intelligence refreshes. I choose environment intelligence. Golden light explodes across my retina. A 10-kilometer 3D holographic map unfolds in an instant. I scan it urgently. My heart skips hard. There it is. 2 shelters light up on the map. 5 kilometers left sits a white point. An abandoned bear cave, rated D. The space is tiny. It has no resources at all, but it is close. It guarantees survival. 15 kilometers right, glows tempting orange-red. A warm thermal cave, rated A. It stays at constant temperature. It even has its own water source. I fall silent. Heaven and hell are one choice apart. Choose the bare cave, and I survive for now. But the future stays pitch black. Choose the thermal cave, and if I fail to arrive, I die on the road. Simple, brutal math. 15 full kilometers of snowfield. And right before a blizzard, because life has jokes, I hesitate for only 3 seconds. I gamble. Short comfort cannot buy long survival. I whip the vehicle around. I lower my body. Like a madman, I charge into the savage wind. Short comfort still cannot buy long survival. I turn the snowmobile hard again. I press myself low. Like a lunatic, I face the killing wind. I rush onto that 9 deaths 1 life road. The live stream explodes instantly. Tens of thousands flood in. What they see is pure despair. The gale has become a roaring beast. My snowmobile feels trapped in mud against the wind. Every meter forward is brutal. Inside Dasha's operations bureau, top expert Sue Wan stares at the screen. Cold sweat runs down her face. 10 minutes. Half an hour. I am still struggling through wind and snow, but my movements grow stiffer. That is the sign of exhausted stamina. They think it is impossible. In weather like this, how can a human beat the sky? Despair spreads like a virus. Everyone thinks I'm dead this time. The warning says 5 hours remain. The level B white disaster will fully erupt. The current temperature is -50 Celsius. It is so cold my blood feels ready to freeze. Frost on my eyebrows seals my vision. My legs feel filled with lead. The pedals barely move. Is this really the end? No, absolutely not. Under millions of shocked gazes, I release the handlebars. With trembling hands, I pull out my final card. It is a priceless silver starfish. Under millions of stunned gazes, I let go of the handlebars again. Shaking, I pull out the last of it. Another priceless silver star resource. Good fish or not, I swallow it in a few bites. One is not enough. Then another. Still not enough. Third fish, go? The livestream comments go completely insane. They ask if I have lost my mind. Nobody understands what I am doing. The instant the third fish hits my stomach, a terrifying heat erupts like a volcano. It explodes through my body. My frozen purple skin turns hot red. White steam even rolls off me. The system congratulates me. Under extreme cold, I consumed enough high-tier food. My body breaks through its limit. The gene lock opens. I gain a new ability. Ultimate cold resistance. I roar for my body to move. I shout toward the sky. It feels like fire burns in my eyes. In that instant, I no longer feel naked, standing on the ice field. It is like wearing flowing magma armor. The snowmobile beneath me roars like a beast. Its speed surges instantly. It tears open the wall of hopeless wind ahead. But the moment I accelerate again, I instinctively glance back. One look makes my scalp explode. A few kilometers behind me, where heaven and earth meet, a white wall hundreds of meters tall silently pushes forward. That is not cloud. That is centuries of disaster made visible. Death itself is chasing me from behind. At this moment, inside the live stream, tens of thousands feel suffocated through the screen. The comments disappear. The mockery disappears. Everyone clenches their fists. Back home, everyone silently chants for me. Run. Run faster. Honestly, excellent advice. Inside Dasha's third intelligence bureau, the air freezes harder than my eyelashes. Genius expert Sue Wan stares at the data. Her face turns paper white. The survival rate reads 0. Despair instantly swallows the room. Then bang. Laley slams the table hard. He insists I still have hope. He points out I just ate silver star grilled fish. He says my body must have reached ultimate cold resistance. I hear none of that. In my world, only my heart is hammering like it wants out. The warning says the level 1 white disaster is arriving. Countdown, 10 seconds. It is right ahead. I finally lock onto that huge wind-carved rock. Below it, in an ordinary-looking crack, a life-saving orange-red glow leaks out. Geothermal heat. That is my exit ticket. I pour every scrap of heat into my legs. The snowmobile chain roars like it is begging for retirement. 400 meters. 300. The white wall behind me crushes the air. It feels like giant hands shove me from behind. 100 meters. Close. I twist the handlebar hard. Man and machine become one silver cannonball. We shoot straight into the crack. The engine coughs and sputters. I crawl out from under the flipped vehicle like a defeated crab. I gulp air like it costs money. I survived. Legendary vehicle, intelligence guide, ultimate cold resistance. If any one card were missing, I would be a very fresh corpse. The live stream explodes instantly. Countless viewers tear up. They realize I really made it inside. They call it a miracle. They ask who dared say I was doomed. But right then, several ugly comments flash across the screen. Some mock it as just a slightly bigger snowstorm. They say Dachau people have never seen the world. Turns out they are Sakura country viewers. Their trash talk lands like sparks in dry grass. Dachau viewers instantly prepare for a full comment war. But in the next second, the level 1 white disaster slams into the rock. The terrifying cold moves like it is alive. It floods madly through the cave mouth. Countless sharp, blue ice spikes grow wildly along the stone walls. They race inward like a nest of ice snakes. 1 meter, 2, 3, nearly swallowing me. Then they crash into the cave's inner heat wave. The ice spikes slow and melt. Finally, they harden again. They become a savage, spectacular frozen gate. That scene shuts the loud Sakura trolls up. They go silent on the spot. This is what heavenly force looks like. Yes, that right there. Nature showing teeth. After confirming I am safe, I use the mossy glow to inspect the new home I bought with my life. The vehicle is scratched. Most of my supplies are gone. But looking at everything here, I know I made a ridiculous profit. This is a system-rated shelter. High in the rock wall cracks, clear water beads gather into a stream. It winds across the hall. This is hidden water in Yeongdong tundra. In other words, a non-stop lifeline. I glance at the data on my retina. My eyes instantly go damp. Current temperature, 6 Celsius, 6 degrees. The abandoned bear cave outside is -20. There, I would need to keep eating just to fight the cold. But here, it comes with floor heating. It comes with running water. Even if I lie around all day without food, I will not be in mortal danger. I can finally lie flat. Looking at this base with endless potential, only one thought fills my mind. While other pioneers still fight to survive, I already own a real fortress. I do not stop there. Since this thermal cave is my new home, I need to clean it up properly. Ignoring my exhaustion, I move the annoying stones one by one. I smooth the floor. Home Improvement, Apocalypse Edition. Overseas viewers say America's survival king is still wrestling a groundhog for water. Meanwhile, I am apparently renovating. Some Korean viewers even eye the blue moss like snacks. They ask if I can mail them some. Sure, let me find a courier. Then they notice I take off my down jacket. They wonder if I am not cold. Watching me act completely normal, working inside the constant temperature cave. Dachau viewers grin almost to their ears. They call it satisfying. Very satisfying. That is national pride, apparently with extra spice. In the human forbidden zone of Yeongdong, inside the tundra, I not only survive, I live better than most people. At the same time, inside Dachau's 3rd Intelligence Bureau, the mood boils over completely. Layli gives an order. Dozens of top researchers hammer keyboards like sparks are free. 3 minutes later, a bold red report shakes the room. Water source evaluation, B rank. Inexhaustible heat source evaluation, B rank. The entire hall erupts. After all, this is Yeongdong Tundra, the highest death zone. Getting a global top 10 shelter here has value practically spilling off the screen. Layli is so excited his face turns red. He says his previous judgment was too conservative. He thinks I can compete for Pioneer King. That is the highest honor above all others. One person equals an army. No pressure, thanks. But amid all the cheering, Suwon pushes up her glasses. She looks at the screen. The cave entrance is sealed tight by solid ice. Her heart sinks. The ice wall blocks the door. My supplies are limited. If this problem is not solved, even with a level 1 shelter, I am just a beast trapped in a cage. I know nothing of their worries. Right now, I am like a nimble rock goat, darting through the cave's strange stones. I need to confirm. Every corner of my home is absolutely safe. My smooth cave parkour stuns foreign viewers all over again. They ask about my core strength. Someone wonders if I evolved from a Siberian brown bear. Dachau viewers laugh. They say this already surprises them. Then they have not seen me drive. Apparently, I am the wilderness fast man now. Amid all the teasing, I end the live stream. But I do not rest immediately. Instead, I open the panel. Bad news. 2 days without uploading supplies. Drops my ranking to 179. Worse news. My satiety limit is 220. My physical growth has hit a bottleneck. Ordinary food can no longer make me stronger. I need higher grade ingredients. Monster meat. Right then, a sharp ammonia stink rides a heat wave and bursts from deep inside the cave. I narrow my eyes. My danger vision activates instantly. With one glance, every hair on my back stands up. Above that seemingly safe rock wall, dense red trails hang everywhere. Second-tier dark, withered demon bats, hibernating by the thousands. So the cave depths are a giant bat nest. I rub my chin. My brain starts spinning fast. This is danger. It is also a massive treasure pile. I am sitting on a mountain of gold, yet somehow still broke. Classic me. I helplessly retreat to the main hall. Seeing food I cannot eat is torture with seasoning. The next morning, yesterday's death count is 4,889. Looking at that cold number, I stretch long and wide. Woohoo! Floor heating. After a night's rest, comfort feels illegal. My stamina returns to its peak. The white disaster still roars outside, but my cheat refreshes. Today's intelligence is refreshed. I choose environment. Since I am trapped underground, then I need to figure out what this underground world actually looks like. My pale gold screen bursts open. A shocking underground cross-section appears before me. This thermal cave is only the tip of the iceberg. Underground, it is basically a giant ant nest. Dark rivers and magma pools twist together like bad noodles. Then my gaze locks in place. At the deepest part of the map, 2.5 kilometers underground, a purple inverted pyramid icon is blinking nice and slow. The system says it found a civilization ruin. Its name is the Wind Snow Temple. And of course, it is damaged. The hint says going there may grant supernatural power. The words supernatural power hit me hard. My pupils shrink on the spot. In this cursed world, physical stats are only the tutorial level. Those top 10 monsters on the survivor rankings all have trump cards. Obviously, because fair play died early. If I can get that ability, then I have to go. Fortune lives inside danger. The intelligence system itself recommends it. That means this is a heaven-sized opportunity. I stack a few broken stones into a stove. Then I shove in one painfully expensive high-energy coal. A washed bluestone slab goes on top. Once the slab burns hot, I pick up a thin, even slice of snow rat meat. I lay it onto the slab. It hisses with a glorious sizzle. The pale fat shrinks and melts under the heat. Golden oil bubbles and pops. The meat edges curl up fast. They turn an inviting roasted brown. A fierce meaty aroma detonates through the cave. Even through the screen, I can almost hear the whole world swallowing. Viewers cry that the sound is criminal. They say I have changed. Apparently, I used to be a humble frozen fish guy. Someone says his bread suddenly tastes like regret. But I am not done yet. Meat alone is too rich. So I pull out 3 crystal clear ice blue berries. I smash them hard in a stone groove. The purple-blue skins burst open. Clear juice spills out instantly. A sweet sour fruit scent rushes up. This is my exclusive dipping sauce. I lift a sizzling hot, oily slice of meat. Then I dunk it into the cold purple jam and bite. Hot fat crashes into chilled fruit acid. Crisp outside, tender inside, with bursting juice. My tongue hosts a tiny food war. I narrow my eyes. I cannot help letting out a satisfied hum. Absolute perfection, right there. The livestream's hatred meter instantly maxes out. They beg me to act human. They remind me this is wilderness survival. To them, this looks more like wilderness vacation. They say I am not just attacking people. I am attacking their hearts. With sauce. While the whole internet envies itself into pieces. Suwon cannot help smiling at the screen. Just look. Other pioneers are still fighting for one bite. Meanwhile, I am enjoying Michelin-level cave dining. That is the gap. That is the confidence a top shelter gives me. Inside Dashia's top strategic meeting room. Smoke curls through the air. Military and political heavyweights stare at the main screen. Laley speaks cleanly. He summarizes the first 9 days of Pioneer expansion. The true state of the global seed-level adventurers appears. The screen changes. Zhao Taiju, built like an iron tower, has impressive global speed stats. But his left arm is swelling black. His mouth is stuffed with milky insect eggs. He found protein. Unfortunately, it also worsened his poisoning. Without an antidote within 3 days, he may need an amputation. Survival cuisine is brutal. The meeting room shakes with reactions. Doubts rise from every side. The dark forest is crawling with ants and bugs. Even a soldier king cannot handle it easily. Some call it a military miscalculation. Others note the dark forest is a B-rank forbidden zone. They say Taiju has already done well. Besides, herbs grow everywhere there. That is his possible breakthrough. Laley nods and continues. Taiju has already found the antidote. But demon insects are lurking nearby, so he is waiting for them to take the bait. Li Qingqing's water source is lightly contaminated. She has begun showing strange green symptoms. Still, her life is not in danger. Mu Shui is performing the best. She has enough food, but she urgently needs shelter. The meeting falls silent. Aside from Mu Shui, the other 2 are surrounded by trouble. An old chief frowns deeply. He crushes out his cigarette. He asks about the international situation. Laley switches to foreign pioneer updates. Sato from Sakura country appears. He landed on a temperate island, but he accidentally ate illusion fruit at the start. Now he spends every day playing with the wind, and he uploads no supplies. Great vacation, bad teamwork. John from Lighthouse Country has plenty of resources, but a first-tier monster has locked onto him. He may be hunted tonight. England Country is doing slightly better than Daxia overall. Several chiefs sigh. Landing point really is the fatal flaw. In such a vicious environment, who would not complain? Then someone asks about the kid in Yeongdong Tundra. Laley pauses. Somehow, I get nominated onto the screen. The feed cuts in. There I am, down jacket off. I am enthusiastically chewing roasted rat meat. The meeting room instantly goes quiet. The old chief points at the screen and sneers. Others are struggling for their lives. That brat, meaning me, is hosting a picnic. They ask if I found shelter. Laley admits I scared him half to death. They mention I even found a legendary snowmobile. Apparently, I have been very noticeable. A senior expert frowns hard. The white disaster is still severe. Behind that ice-sealed gate. Can I really hold out? They wonder how long this eating and drinking lifestyle can last. The old chief slaps the table. He cuts off the nonsense. He says moderate relaxation is a necessary part of wilderness survival. How we live out there is our choice. Then he asks Laley for my shelter rating. He wants to know how long it can last. The expert lowers his head. Regret is written all over his face. Laley pulls up the report. My shelter rating appears. I can rank among batch 8's best. Possibly even a future apocalypse candidate. The old chief stares for a moment. Global top 10. The potential is not bad. But apocalypse status concerns national fate. So they need to keep watching. At the next meeting, they will hold an anonymous vote. Orders received. Meeting dismissed. Back in the wilderness thermal cave, I strip fat and grease from the snow rat's belly. Then I cut it into chunks. My glowing alloy shovel flashes quickly. I carve and slice meat strips at the same time. I spread the strips around the high-energy coal. They dry and dehydrate in the heat. The livestream comments explode again. Viewers tell each other to watch my movements. Apparently, I can cook and butcher at once. They call my hand speed wilderness legend level. It is not just faster than others. It looks like I switched on fast forward. The cracklings turn golden. I pour out clear refined fat. The system gives me 1.2 units of refined snow rat oil. It can be cooking oil. It can also prevent freezing and serve as fuel. Next, I scrape leftover flesh from the hide. Then I crack the rat skull with the shovel back. I extract the hard incisors and dense leg bones. Those two curved teeth are perfect for barbed fish hooks. Fishing efficiency is about to double. I love math when it feeds me. A string of prompts pops up. I obtain 5 gene of dried rat meat, 1 silver frost velvet rat hide, 2 hard rat teeth, and 4 high-density leg bones. I pat off the dust, satisfied. The whole process takes less than 40 minutes. I do not even throw away the inedible scraps. I send them into the ice-sealed doorway. I turn the dug hole into a bait trap. Then I shoulder my rough little pack. Dried meat goes in. I gulp down a few mouthfuls of bloody water. Then I grip my shovel tight. The pale gold map on my retina keeps flashing that weird purple light. It points straight to the pyramid coordinates. I quietly wait for the system's recommendation. It basically suggests I go deeper. Of course it does. Meanwhile, Layli has barely ended the meeting at Dashia's 3rd Intelligence Bureau when a furious roar freezes him in place. Someone snaps that this is pure nonsense. They say I am diving into another death zone. Layli slams down the report. He warns that the cave is not my backyard. One wrong turn down there means death in the depths. And if underground monsters show up, well, surprise nightmare. Suwon pushes up her glasses. She studies the image of me wrinkling my nose. She concludes monsters are almost certainly there. She says I am enduring a serious stench. That means a large colony, and with biological waste right beside my bed. Even I would not sleep peacefully. Rude neighbors. Layli falls silent. Survival really is this brutally plain. He asks how long my supplies can last. Suwon swipes across the screen. 15 gene of dried meat. 1.2 liters of fat. At minimum consumption, 10 days. Layli frowns at how little that is. An ordinary person could last over 20 days. But my evolved body burns far more energy. The white disaster may last 15 to 20 days. Back in the wilderness thermal cave, a pale blue safe route appears in my eyes. Whatever secret waits ahead in the dark, a little ghostly blue moss glow, is enough for me to keep walking. I frown and glance around. Black-brown rock underfoot is covered in gray-white patches. The air reeks badly enough to insult my soul. Ammonia and rotting blood stink worse with every step. 30 minutes later, the stench peaks, and ahead, a huge fork appears. The left tunnel yawns like a giant net. A deadly fishy rot rolls out from inside. My scalp tightens immediately. Cold sweat soaks my back. I look upward. The ceiling dozens of meters high is packed with black fruit. Except those are not fruit. They are thousands of monsters hanging upside down. Second-tier dark, withered demon bats. Adult forms. Deep hibernation warning. Extremely dangerous. Wonderful decor. My pupils shrink hard. These demon bats are nothing like blue star bats. Each one is as large as a goshawk. Black membranes wrap around solid bodies. Even asleep, their vicious aura chills my bones. Without the system confirming they are asleep, I would not dare take half a step. The ground is even worse. Gray-white sticky droppings lie half a meter thick. Pale bones are buried all through it. I retreat carefully, 5 tiny steps of dignity. Then I turn toward the heat-filled tunnel. Second-tier monsters. Bodies like calves. And they can fly. I have no real weapon. Charging in would be express delivery to death. Honestly, compared with those bones on the ground, I do not seem very impressive either. Unknown fear presses over everything. Hundreds of thousands of viewers hold their breath. I pass through the demon nest. The terrain drops lower. The light around me dims. I grope forward using the environmental guide. The temperature climbs. 20, 30, 40 degrees. Sweat rolls down my face. My quick-dry shirt sticks wet to my skin. I should be close, but is this not the Wind Snow Temple? Why is it this hot? Suddenly, bone-deep cold wind slams into me. Extreme heat and extreme cold collide in the narrow tunnel. White mist spreads everywhere. I curse this ice and fire nonsense under my breath. It nearly makes me turn back. But the purple pyramid is only 30 meters away. I cannot give up. I grit my teeth and break through the mist. The scene before me makes my pupils snap tight. Every hair on me stands up. This is a huge underground circular hall. A black underground river flows slowly. Both banks are packed with white bones. They are not animal bones. From the shape of the skulls, they were all humanoid beings. They kneel toward the center of the hall, like pilgrims frozen across 10,000 years. Devotion and terror thicken the air. The live stream explodes. Viewers realize those are human bones. They ask what kind of cursed place this is. Then someone tells everyone to look at the wall. When the camera turns toward the glow, a cold white monster shape appears on the wall. Inside the cave, I hear none of the outside noise. I cannot feel their emotions either. I do not know how much time passes. My consciousness is dragged into a frozen void. An empty ice surface stretches beneath me. An ancient, icy female voice with a mocking edge detonates deep inside my soul. She says that since I have seen a god, I should know to kneel. Terrifying pressure crashes down. It feels like some spell has latched onto me. My knees feel like they are being crushed. Luckily, my thoughts finally reboot. Mysterious murals, ancient ruins, Windsnow Temple. This bizarre wilderness. Countless fragments flash through my mind. Blue Star experts' guesses about the wilderness. Survival knowledge from every corner of my brain. Famous scenes of pioneers dying by accident. Top-tier pioneers fighting monsters with impossible strength. And the higher civilization's national fate rankings. This wilderness is mysterious and unknown. Science cannot measure it cleanly. I am now completely sure something is talking to me. And it is watching me. What am I supposed to do? Kneel, or lie flat for extra sincerity? One knee, or both knees? Or should I go full face-to-floor deluxe worship? If I anger this being, am I actually dead? 10,000 years of panic spin in my head. Finally, they turn into one angry sound from me. I call for the system to show itself. At Longsheen Building Intelligence Center, the glowing moss murals and the floor of white bones are immediately marked for emergency analysis. They classify it as a B-level contact test, then raise part of it to a red first-level probe. Every team stops what they are doing. All focus shifts to analyzing the footage. Heavy doors are pushed open. From across Dacia, masters of biology, archaeology, and ancient scripts rush madly into the hall. A white-haired professor turns pale. He points at the screen with a trembling voice. He says this is another wilderness relic. It is even written with glowing moss. Living murals can survive for millions of years. The hall goes dead silent. Civilization means intelligence, and rules hide uncontrollable danger. Blue Star has paid dearly for that lesson. Laylee stares at the goddess image. His nails dig into his palm. He asks the professor my odds of surviving. After all, I am a Batch 8 apocalypse candidate. He never expected me to discover a civilization ruin underground. It completely disrupts Dacia's plans. The old professor removes his glasses and shakes his head. From the composition, the god stands high above. All living beings are reduced to white bones. It is a religious civilization built on bloody sacrifice. According to older data, the older the god, the harder it is to communicate. A pioneer's survival chance is extremely low. Divine power is impossible to predict. After hearing that, the scholars fall silent. Right now, none of them can help me. At the same time, across the ocean, in Lighthouse Country, the Wilderness Strategic Security Bureau calls an emergency meeting. General Smith rings the bell expressionlessly. He tells them another lucky person has touched a miracle. An intelligence officer stands and pulls up the report. It begins with the past 7 years. Worldwide, 32 top pioneers have explored civilization ruins. 20 lost vital signs within 1 hour of stepping inside. Lovely odds. 8 survivors went mad and ended themselves after returning to Blue Star. The few survivors still alive rank near the top overall, including one from their country. Colonel Smith cuts the officer off. He only wants to know which life form the relic belongs to, and whether Lighthouse Country can control it. The answer is no, Colonel. This is one of the wilderness's oldest gods. The murals are badly incomplete. An intruder's survival rate is under 5%. The officer addresses the colonel again. He says serving the god of warfire is their only choice. Fanatic heat burns in his eyes. Smith nods, then adds that they should praise warfire. Very subtle cult energy. Inside the Federal Conference Hall, the experts echo him together. They all praise warfire. The whole world waits for me to fall, but nobody knows. That deep underground, I am being tortured like I fell in a hell's basement. Blood gushes from my eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. It drips onto the bone piles. The silence is horribly strange. It feels ready to tear my soul into strips. At the very last second, the system dings with future intelligence for 3 days. Civilization intelligence points appear. Analysis begins, and the system sounds like heavenly music. I do not hesitate. I choose to overdraft. The next second, purple gold light explodes across my retina. Countless golden runes weave into blazing chains. They bind the shadow on the mural tight. The secret behind the truth finally appears. Analysis complete. The broken frost goddess mural and oracle become crystal clear. The goddess hates spineless people. As long as I do not bend my knees, I can receive her blessing. Now that I know the rule, I can only charge ahead, skull first. I grit my teeth. I stab my alloy shovel hard into the ground. Then I use every last bit of strength. Facing the pressure of all those bones, I straighten my spine inch by inch. Apparently my stubbornness angers the hall's wild wind. It instantly goes berserk. Bone-piercing cold digs straight into me. Good thing I have ultimate cold resistance. Otherwise I would already be a decorative ice corpse. Even worse, my mental defenses start collapsing. The white bones around me seem to come alive. Empty eye sockets stare straight at me. Countless messy whispers explode in my mind. They tell this lowly mortal to kneel. They say kneeling is the only way to live. My eyes fill with blood. My vision blurs. I seem to see endless figures worshipping on their knees. If my knees soften even once, maybe release will come. No, absolutely not. The purple gold light guards my mind tightly. Pain cuts through my consciousness like knives. I bite my tongue hard. Inside, I roar like a cornered beast. I think of people who refuse to be slaves. In my heart, I sing Dasha's anthem. The song lights up every scrap of will I have. My will burns to the absolute limit. Then, with a burst, a miracle appears. The world-crushing pressure suddenly vanishes. Like the blizzard is grabbed by an invisible hand. Then a fragrant cold wind brushes past. The dark moss on the mural instantly fades. It turns sacred and bright. The aloof goddess above actually lowers her head slightly. Her shaking eyes reveal a trace of approval. Her hands are no longer demanding tribute. They are generously granting something. The system announces I passed the Frost Goddess's will trial. A vast ice crystal skill tree opens before me. I receive sequence 1. The trait is Frostwalker, ignoring wind and frost. In extreme cold, all attributes rise by 30%. Then I see the blood demon bear liver needed for advancement. My mind instantly recalls the ice surface and those terrifying claw marks. So she wants a beginner to hunt a second-tier monster? Sister Frost, that is not training. That is murder with paperwork. I even start to suspect that maybe I am so miserable. The goddess has become addicted to watching me. Right then, a drip breaks the silence. Below the mural, a silver-white drop forms at the goddess's fingertip. It slides into the stone bowl. The extreme cold divine brew promises power with one sip. Its chill pierces the soul. It makes a person tremble. A legendary treasure that massively strengthens the body. So this is the reward for not being a simp? My throat rolls. I pounce without hesitation. Then I drink it all in one gulp. The divine brew is not just cold. It is like swallowing a high-explosive energy core. It detonates inside me instantly. My blood turns heavy as deep water. What my heart pumps out is no longer mere blood. It is lava-like power. My eyes snap open. A thin ice crystal film circles over my skin. I gain advanced cold resistance, 0.2%. I breathe out. The breath instantly becomes drifting ice powder. This power is ridiculous. Beautifully ridiculous. Blue Star announces that Dasha's Lin and completed a divine trial. The wilderness first phase, survival of the fittest, ends. The second phase, apocalypse contest, begins. The live stream goes silent for 1 second. Then the comments erupt like a tsunami. Everyone basically screams, "What the hell?" The global notice makes my name ring across the world. Sharp-eyed viewers notice. A flashy new tag beside my name. Frost Goddess's gaze. A goddess is watching me. The comments wonder if a god just became my sponsor. The whole world shakes. Countless foreigners twist with envy. They cannot believe it is Dasha. They call it impossible. Then they call it cheating. Classic. Meanwhile, inside Dasha's highest strategic conference room, Layli and Suwon are shocked weak. Cold sweat soaks their backs. 10 minutes to clear it. Others cannot crawl out after days and nights. I walk in like I am visiting home. Before they can recover, one speech from the old chief makes every big shot scalp tingle. In 20 days, the second phase begins. The rules will change completely. First, countries and survivors gain two-way communication. It will no longer be one-way live streaming. Second, within 3 kilometers of an apocalypse candidate's coordinates, a nation may deploy its own pioneer base. Across the ocean, the lighthouse president swirls a glass of red wine. A fanatic gleam hides in his face. He says their chance has arrived. He mocks the Dasha man for believing in an ice snow god. What? Is she going to feed me northwest wind? Only they, with top-ranked John, believe the god of war is the only truth. He decides on the spot. He joins forces with 5 allied nations. They prepare to send their strongest SEAL team into the wilderness to build Liberty City. A global hidden war has officially begun. Back in the wilderness, I, the storm's unwilling center, stare in shock. I look at the rankings. All those garbage rewards are gone. In their place is a dark gold glow that can drive people mad. A special event begins. The contenders will leave their names. Besides normal supplies, the first place reward is a legendary weapon, the Overlord Bow. The countdown is 20 days. First place gets the Overlord Bow, legendary grade, plus national environment improvement of 40%. Second place gets Titan Battle Armor, legendary grade, plus national environment improvement of 30%. I stare at the refreshed list on the screen. My breathing turns heavy. This is insane. These rewards are completely insane. It is not just the national fate boost. What really makes my eyes red is the top-ranking multiplier. Of course, the deadliest temptation is still the legendary Overlord Bow. Making a crude ranged weapon in the wilderness is not hard. The hard part is piercing monster hide, especially those second-tier bats deep in the cave. Ordinary weapons cannot break their defense at all, but with that bow in hand, that is pure dimensional bullying. At last, the white disaster ends. I have to fight for first place once. I look at the resources everywhere. My confidence is very well fed. But the moment my bold speech lands, my stomach growls. A black hole hunger swallows my reason. Every cell screams for food. This is the price of evolution. I grab the jerky in my pack. Then I stuff it down like a starving ghost. 1 bite, 2 bites. The more I eat, the more I need. My satiety is like a broken faucet. No matter what I pour in, it will not fill. Then sleepiness rushes over me like a tide. My eyelids turn heavy. I slump against the wall and black out. Just as my mind fades, the silent goddess mural glows in the dark. In the dark forest, Mud-covered Zhao Taiju swallows detox grass raw. He stares at the rankings. He wipes his face. Fighting spirit burns in his eyes. He realizes the young ones are terrifyingly fierce now. He refuses to lose. Respect, old wolf. He decides to risk it on the white plain. Noble-born Li Qingqing filters water with a silk scarf. Her brows lock tight. She fixes on the strange name in the rankings. Linen, from no elite camp. She wonders if I am a civilian dark horse. Daxiao's top-ranked mining queen. Mu Shui is dusty with coal, but still stunning. She looks at the weak boy she once ignored. And now that boy has actually surpassed her. Mu Shui licks her cracked lips. She lifts a heavy alloy blade, then walks toward a monster nest. She still calls herself Daxiao's #1. It was true before, and she swears it will stay true. No one is willing to yield. Everyone has one thought: climb. Some people are shocked. Others are pure disdain. On the fertile plain, Little John from Lighthouse lounges on pigskin. His face is full of mockery. He says passing the trial only means working for someone else. He thanks me, the Daxia guy. Rude. That legendary weapon. He says his brother already reserved it. But the truly terrifying ones are only now waking up. Deep in the sea, a Sakura country youth kicks aside piles of beast corpses in boredom. The notice makes bloodlust flash in his eyes. He is thrilled the version finally updated. He hears my name and gets excited. With a boom, he becomes a human torpedo. He blasts through an S-rank life forbidden zone. A mysterious Daxia woman casually crushes a hard, third-tier monster skull. She seems to understand the miracle, then vanishes like a hunting leopard. Across the wilderness, beasts stampede. The most arrogant one is 10,000 meters up. Lighthouse's strongest fighter, Big John, sits on a third-tier wyvern's back. He looks down on all living things. He scoffs at serving gods. Big John pats the dragon's back. His laugh shatters the clouds. He calls everyone else useless. He wants to become a god himself. Outside, the world surges with storms, and I, the storm's center, sleep through 3 whole days. I wake up stretching. My bones crack like firecrackers. I instinctively reach for jerky in my pack. Empty. My eyes snap open. I scream like the sky collapsed. My 5 caddies of jerky are gone. That was my entire fortune. Was I robbed? No. The crumbs on the ground say otherwise. Obviously, I ate it all while asleep. This is not strength. This is turning into a rice bucket with legs. Just as I want to cry, a crisp system prompt rings out. Ding. Day 14. The intelligence refreshes. My spirits jump back online. No food. Fine. As long as I have intelligence, I have a way out. I sit up cross-legged. Behind me, the mural returns to quiet pale light. As if that gaze never appeared. I check my body's changes. I open the panel. My pupils shrink hard. My satiety limit is 500. Advanced cold resistance, 0.2%. None of that is the real problem. What makes me panic most is a blood-red line in the status bar. Special status. Frost Goddess's gaze. Note, a god is watching you. Do not disappoint her. No pressure at all. I clench my fist, and wild confidence surges up. This feeling is insanely powerful. If I were thrown back to day 1, even bare-chested, I could strut sideways through a blizzard. That is the value of advanced cold resistance. Among the 8th batch survivors, probably nobody resists cold better than me. I am basically a cold resistance prodigy. My mouth starts rising on its own. Then I skim my attributes. My smile freezes instantly. Under the ability column, a jet black tag hangs there. Frost Goddess's gaze. The top survivors and hunting experts all have glowing positive tags. But this thing shines black. No matter how I look, it screams curse. Great. Too many deaths. Why count them? For now, I will worship Sister Frost. I shake my head and force down my unease. Compared with the weird tag, my ranking hurts even more. I only slept 3 days. My rank rode a roller coaster. From top 100 to beyond 3,000. I open the National Fate ranking. The data makes it hard to breathe. First place is Lighthouse's John Smith. He uploaded a first-tier flame pig and green crystals. Second place is Daxia's Mu Shui. She uploaded 500 kilos of refined iron ore and 100 stalks of half-life blue spirit grass. Insane. Do these people never sleep? I watch the resource list roll like a stock market. My eyelids twitch nonstop. This is not survival anymore. This is industrial-scale shopping. Meanwhile, my pocket is cleaner than my face. Only a few berries remain. Not even enough to bother my teeth. Worse, my satiety limit is 500 now. But it drains like a leaky basket. My stomach growls in protest again. Every second burns calories like money. System, save me. I take a deep breath. Whether I can turn this around depends entirely on this refresh. Today's intelligence refreshes. It asks me to choose a type. Supplies, environment, danger, base, or event. I choose supplies without hesitation. The screen hums straight into my skull. Golden light flickers. Data streams gather on my retina. They form words that stop my heart. Today's survival intel. Inside the cave, coordinate 315868. Buried 1.3 meters deep, there is a rare survival mystery box. Holy hell, a mystery box? I spring up. My eyes burn with greed. Last time, a legendary box gave me a snowmobile. It changed my fate. This one is only blue rare grade, but it is absolutely a lifeline. I am about to get rich. No need to go outside to loot. Which unlucky soul bought this? Thanks for the discount. Heh, but after I see the coordinates, my dirty grin freezes. It turns into horror as the map opens. The tempting green treasure flashes wildly. It is right inside that second-tier monster group, deep in the dark, withered demon bat nest, and under half a meter of bat droppings. Dead silence. Suffocating dead silence. I stiffly turn toward that half-smiling goddess gaze. I close my eyes for 3 seconds. Then grief and rage flood my soul. I scream from the heart, Sister Frost. Sister Frost, are you trying to get me killed? For 3 whole days, my live stream stays pitch black. The weird part is, the blackout does not kill the channel. Its popularity instead begins. A completely unreasonable exponential climb. Viewers rocket from tens of thousands to 3 million. The screen is packed until it can barely breathe. For 3 days, they wonder if I ever wake up. Even a production team donkey would call this schedule abusive. Some worry Big Brother Lin might really be gone. Others beg nobody to joke, because their hearts are weak. While millions of people grow restless over my disappearance. Verified Wu Jing posts a calming comment. He says I am probably just in deep sleep. That makes the Dasha viewers feel a little steadier. But the foreign viewers are already green with envy. Some sneer that even if I am alive, I am just trash who only knows how to sleep. Yes, very classy criticism. Highest popularity, bottom tier ranking. They mock Dasha pioneers as all flash and no substance. Some even compare me with first place. That is the wilderness for you. Brutal and loud. But just when everyone thinks my livestream will stay dark forever, static crackles. The screen, silent for 3 days, suddenly lights up. Before I can even see the lens clearly, millions of waiting viewers explode at once. The comments detonate. They scream that the screen is alive again. Some say their youth has returned. They welcome the spirit god back. Apparently me. Others cry and ask where I went for 3 days. That fanatical mood leaves new foreign viewers staring in pure confusion. The traffic is so insane. It is honestly scary. Then something even more unexpected happens. When I finally see myself on screen, even the viewers are stunned. Someone wonders if their eyes are broken. They ask if that is really spirit god Len. Apparently, I look different now. Someone suspects beauty filters. I wish. They stare at my skin like it is glowing. Then they decide, of course, it suits me. From the bones, they can tell. This is a second-tier monster nest. Everyone agrees it is way too exciting. Under everyone's tense gaze, I move like a silent ghost. I slide along the rock wall into the cave. Countless demon bats hang upside down overhead. Their tooth grinding sounds like death-sharpening knives. Under my feet, bones and waste mix into a death swamp. One wrong step, and I become cave fertilizer forever. At last, I stop before an ordinary white mud slope. The system says the mystery box is right underneath. I force myself to endure the stink crawling into my pores. I crouch without daring to swing hard. Instead, I take my alloy shovel and gently slide it into the warm, sticky mess. Right under the monster's noses, I peel the cover away bit by bit. This insane move makes every viewer's scalp go numb. They ask what I am doing. They ask if I am trying to die. Or maybe I found treasure. Right then, my shovel tip touches something hard. Someone swears they will eat 10 caddies if it is real. The comments are still mocking wildly. Then, in the next second, a faint click comes from the shovel tip. Rare grade mystery box. Guaranteed quality. My ears perk up. I open it with a tiny click. The lock pops free. Under millions of watching eyes. I lift the cover. Inside, there lies something like mercury drawn into silk. A silver-gray polar optical camouflage cloak. Rare grade. I lift the cloak. It feels cool, like flowing water. But when I drape it over myself and cover my face completely, something magical happens. On the live stream, the person sitting there vanishes into thin air. Only the empty bluestone slab remains. The viewers scream about where I went. Someone announces that invisible people are real. The comments explode again. I test it a little. As long as I stay still, the visual stealth rate hits 99%. It also masks scent and heat. This is basically a wilderness divine artifact. At the same time, inside Dasha's third intelligence center, Suwon catches my invisibility test. When the image is projected onto the big screen, the whole conference room nearly breaks. Rare grade with stealth attributes. The Zhao Taiju analyst slaps his thigh in rage. He calls it a waste of heaven's gift. A complete waste, apparently. Thanks, sir. He says if Taiju had this divine gear, he would already cut through second-tier monster nests. Giving it to Mu Shui would work too. She could explore treasures without damage. Everyone thinks this artifact on me is pure waste. Suwon tries to speak up for me, saying Frost Goddess's gaze brought me luck. But nobody listens. Then, inside the highest strategy room, an even colder evaluation begins. Laylee points at 2 glaring red charts. Lighthouse's John has just killed a raging brown bear barehanded. That is ceiling-level combat power. Ivan from White Bear smashed a wild boar. He is charged into the top 5. They say that is the standard for an apocalypse candidate. The old chief takes a deep drag of smoke. His expression is grave. Everyone argues endlessly. Some recommend Mu Shui. Others strongly back Zhao Taiju. From a corner, someone weakly brings up me, Linen. The military representative shakes his head immediately. His tone is regretful but cold. He admits I can endure, but my overall stats are too poor. Betting national fate on a survival rat. Is too risky, they decide. Finally, the old chief sighs. With one wave, he settles it. My priority gets lowered. They focus on evaluating Mu Shui and Zhao Taizhu. In Daxiao's highest strategy map, my silhouette is pushed to the edge, until I am almost completely abandoned. Back in Daxia, inside Beijing's second-ring pioneer family district, Villa Area 19 is called the safest, most luxurious community in Daxia. But for my family, newly moved in, this place is not heaven. This so-called mansion feels more like a beautiful cage. My mom quietly tells Dad she feels uncomfortable. As they walk along the shaded road, she lowers her voice. Even her hands are shaking. Every time my broadcast ends, Dad takes Mom out for fresh air. But the more they walk, the colder their hearts get. The people living here are families of legendary earlier pioneers, walking like they own the wind, or old Beijing power families, with terrifying deep roots. And my family, we wear brand new issued uniforms, like ugly ducklings wandering into a swan party. Painfully out of place, someone points out the new arrivals. In a nearby pavilion, several wealthy ladies hold coffee cups. Their eyes drift over like knives. They whisper that we are the family of Lin and from batch 8, the one from the surging tundra who ate moss. Their mockery is low, but every word drills clearly into my family's ears. They laugh that I am just lucky. They say the state will use top medical pods just to treat my sister's eyes. They call it a waste. Someone tells them to keep their voices down. After all, my family now gets seed-level treatment. Those thorny whispers stab into my mom's heart like needles. She grips my dad's hand tightly. Mom lowers her head even more. Her steps turn quick and nervous. Here, we are not treated like a hero's family. More like upstarts who stepped in lucky mud. At the special district playground, my sister Lin Xiaoxiao sits alone on a swing. Her eyes are wrapped in thick bandages. Children laugh and play all around her, but nobody comes near. Then a young but bold voice calls out. A kid asks if she is new here. Xiaoxiao flinches in fright. She hugs her doll tight. It is a chubby little boy. His name is Chunchun, holding a pioneer model. He plops down beside her. He does not mock Xiaoxiao's bandages. Instead, his face is full of curiosity. Xiaoxiao whispers that her brother is a pioneer. He asks if her brother is one too. Fatty Chen's eyes light up. He says his dad was one too. Though his dad sacrificed himself, he still wants to go to the wilderness someday. He knows John from Lighthouse is strongest now, and that white giant from Great Australia too. The little guy lists them like treasures. All foreign bruisers who kill like storms. Xiaoxiao listens to those unfamiliar names. Her small hand grips her clothes. Then she protests with all her little courage. She says her brother is amazing too. He asks for my name. When she says Linen, Fatty Chin freezes. He scratches his head. His expression turns awkward. He almost mentions the guy grinding bones in a cave. But he sees Xiaoxiao's hopeful face. So he swallows the words back. In a child's world, only monster killers count as heroes. Cave hiders are just cowards. Harsh market. Xiaoxiao gets anxious. She says I can catch silverfish. She insists I am really strong. Seeing the little girl's serious face, Fatty Chin suddenly slaps his thigh, like he has made a life-changing decision. He says he remembers now. He says I am a Daxia hero. Then he leans mysteriously to Xiaoxiao's ear. He admits everyone laughs at my ranking, but he secretly tells her. He thinks her brother is the coolest. Under the sunlight, two rejected kids form the firmest alliance in history. At the same time, back in the wilderness, day 21 begins inside my thermal cave. Terrific. My food is completely gone. A brutal hunger starts chewing through my sanity. But worse than that is the mental torture. The pressure from those divine eyes has not faded with time. Before sleeping, I check the countdown. 3 days left. If I survive these 3 days, the white calamity will weaken. With my frost resistance, I can finally go hunting. Holding on to that thought, I fall into the deepest dream of my life. There is no sky or earth in the dream, only endless screaming snowstorms, and cold that stabs into bone. My proud frost resistance completely fails. I feel naked inside an ice cellar. Even my soul is freezing piece by piece. Deep within the storm, a figure stands with her back to me. She is cloaked in aurora light. Barefoot, she walks on empty air, the frost goddess. My consciousness is blurry, but a mad craving rises from my heart. I want power. One step, then another. With every step, my soul hurts like it is being torn apart. Just as I am about to become an ice statue, a cold, grand voice strikes my soul. She tells me, Linen, it is time to go. Boom. A warm, gentle force suddenly pushes me away. I wake with a jolt. I gasp for air. Cold sweat soaks my back. Right then, a special dark purple prompt forces itself open before my eyes. It congratulates me for gaining a rare ability. Divine gaze, earned by enduring a god stare. My mental resistance rises sharply, and I freeze. My brain, always stretched tight, is suddenly clearer than ever. It does not hurt anymore. That crushing pressure is completely gone. The whole world looks half-polished in my eyes. I quickly check my ability bar. My breathing turns sharp. Divine gaze. Rare grade. Once activated, nearby motion slows by 90% in my eyes, and I can see a creature's death line. I almost swear out loud. Is this not legendary bullet time? In the wilderness, life and death are often just 10 centimeters apart. With this, even lightning-fast monsters can be outplayed. I decide to test this cheat. I jump to my feet. My eyes lock onto the cave floor. The instant a water droplet falls from the rock, I activate divine gaze. The world changes. In this moment, the world before me feels forced into 1/10 speed. The falling droplet hangs in midair. It is absurdly slow. I can even clearly see my reflection on its surface, and the tiny shape gravity pulls from it. I raise 2 fingers and pinch. Time snaps back instantly. Wetness touches my fingertips. I caught it, but the price nearly sends me straight to my ancestors. My satiety drops to 0 at once. Just 2 seconds of bullet time drains all the energy I saved for half a day. In other words, without enough food to support it. This is basically a mutual destruction skill. I decide to check outside. I walk to the cave entrance sealed for 21 days. Though thick ice still blocks it. The wind that screamed for half a month is finally weaker. It is time to go out. I lick my cracked lips. A cold glint flashes in my eyes. I draw my alloy shovel. Facing the ice gate that trapped me for ages, I swing down hard. After I vanish for 3 whole days, my livestream basically cools into a corpse. Online viewers fall from millions at the peak, straight down to under 50,000. Everyone thinks I starved to death in this cursed ice cave. Even if I am alive, who wants to watch me sleep all day? I glance at the comments. They are full of sneers about my zombie return. Some are shocked I am still breathing. They say Lighthouse's John is tearing through the plains. Mushue has even built a mining base. Then they look at me. I am skinny as a bag of bones. Besides digging ice, what can I even do? They call my vision and strength useless. They say I may as well wait to die. Looking at the ranking board, my gray avatar has fallen beyond 5,000. I really do look like a burned-out meteor. Even the few eyes still on me carry the pity reserved for the almost dead. Meanwhile, Layli slumps in Dashia's 3rd Intelligence Bureau. His eyes are webbed with blood, seeing me finally move on screen. He lets out a sigh. He says movement is better than starving to death. Sadly, he thinks I missed the golden growth window. His finger slides across the screen. There are the brightest stars now. Mushue ranks 4th. Zhao Taiju ranks 11th. Dark Horse Li Qingqing, planting sweet potatoes, has rushed up to 14th. She is now the higher-up's favorite pastry. By comparison, my gather and survive style looks unstable in their eyes. Suwon adjusts her glasses. Though the higher-ups no longer expect much, she still types 1 line in my live stream. She tells me not to give up and to keep going. But none of them know. The hunt is only just beginning. Inside the thermal cave, I raise my weapon. I swing full force at the half-meter ice gate. A thunderous crash erupts. The ice wall collapses. Cold wind and snow dust pour in like debt collectors. In the old days, I would already be frozen like a stray dog. But now I have advanced frost resistance. This white calamity wind hits my body and feels like autumn breeze. Fully handled, standing at the mouth of the cave, I narrow my eyes. In my mind, I spend intelligence points. I exchange them for danger intel. An electronic roar blasts straight into my skull. Across my retina, pale gold data floods everything at once. The once dim, dead wasteland completely changes in my eyes. The world becomes a dazzling net. Pheromones erased by snowstorms. Footprints buried under snow are all brutally traced back by the system. Every clue gets highlighted like cheating notes. Hunger turns my eyes red, but my mouth still curls up. Time to go. Men of the Lin family never come back empty-handed. I mount the snowmobile. 1 hard push, and the silver body shoots from the cave like an arrow. 5 minutes later, I stop behind a wind-sheltered slope. A pale yellow trail on my retina looks fresh enough to steam. A tundra giant snow rabbit trail. Pale yellow status. It is currently foraging. I do not rush off the vehicle. Instead, I slowly draw my bone spike dagger. These snow rabbits have sharp hearing, and they run ridiculously fast. The old me could only eat their snow dust. Today, I teach it what gear gap means. I pull my polar optical cloak tight. Then I sink flat into the thick snow. The next second, light bends around me. Under hundreds of thousands of watching eyes, I vanish into thin air. Only a perfectly ordinary snow pile remains. The comments explode in pure panic. They wonder where I went and call it mini legendary gear. They say it is way too broken. Some even praise my snow camping goblin style. Others admit they cannot see a thing. Right then, less than half a meter ahead, 2 long white ears poke out of a snow nest. A giant snow rabbit, half a meter long, crawls out. Its ruby eyes scan the area warily. It never dreams. Death is waiting nose to nose. Now, the snow splits without warning. My cloak flashes as I move hard. I strike like a venomous snake. The bone spike in my hand stabs down. The rabbit tries to kick off, but it is too late. The blade enters flesh with a dull, precise sound. The sharp bone spike pierces its neck cleanly. My force pins it straight into the snow. Blood stains the white ground. The system sings out a reward prompt. I gain 1 first-tier tundra giant snow rabbit. The whole process takes under 2 minutes. From invisibility to attack, everything flows smooth as oiled fish. The prey never gets time to react. The live stream freezes for 1 second, then detonates. They scream that I found a rabbit right outside. They accuse me of having wallhack vision. The rabbit is officially deleted. One viewer jokes it was enjoying hot pot and songs, then suddenly got stabbed. Wilderness comedy, dark edition. Some say their youth has returned. That man, meaning me, has killed his way back. I pull out the bone spike. I wipe the blood off in the snow, holding the twitching rabbit. I pat the cloak with satisfaction. Good things should belong to me. Obviously. I hop on and toss the trophy into the cart. I say 4 words with my soul. Home. Dinner starts 10 minutes later. Inside the cave, golden crispy rabbit meat sizzles under the firelight. The smell could kidnap a soul. I grab hot rabbit meat and tear in. It is criminally delicious. The prompt shows my satiety soaring. A 20-pound giant snow rabbit loses bones and organs and still leaves 10 full pounds of meat before thousands of stunned viewers. I finish it in 20 minutes. I wipe out the feast and rub my slightly round belly. The panel reads satiety 500 out of 500. I have only one feeling. This is what ability means. The stronger I get, the bigger my rice bucket gets. The comments nearly seal the screen shut. They call me a rice barrel reincarnated. 10 pounds of meat, gone. They question my digestion. They ask if I am still human. They call it brutal, and then admit they like it. Fed and fueled. I wipe the oil from my mouth. I look toward the cave entrance. Rest? Impossible. The snowstorm is weakening. The prey is waking up. This is my hunting hour. One rabbit is not even enough to floss. Danger intel activates again. My retina instantly locks onto another trail glowing pale red. I do not hesitate. I head out immediately. 10 minutes later, beside a pile of broken rocks, I find a first-tier ice feather thunder rooster. Pale red status, light sleep. I narrow my eyes. I know this thing. Snowfield mini dinosaur. Its beak is steel hard. Its temper is even harder. It eats plants and meat. Very open-minded. But I do not retreat. I cloak up and creep closer. The moment I draw my dagger, a piercing cry cuts the air. The beast wakes up. It shoots forward like blue lightning. Electric light flashes around its beak. It charges straight at my hand. If that bite lands, my bones get a free drilling service. It is too fast. So fast the live stream only catches an afterimage. The viewers gasp that I am done. But I open divine gaze. The world instantly slows in my eyes. The fierce bird looks almost paused. The lines of its feathers, the cold glint around its beak, and its fragile neck are all exposed. I slowly reach out. My fingers lock precisely around its throat. A crisp crack sounds. Time returns to normal. I obtain a first-tier ice feather thunder rooster. Whole body, fresh catch. The image freezes. I hold the twitching weapon bird in one hand. My eyes are cold. It wanted to ruin my hand. Maybe in its next life. But this is only the beginning. With danger intel guiding me, plus the cloak's invisibility, this death zone becomes my personal buffet. 200 meters left. A snow rat drifts into range. I stop, swing the shovel, headshot. 2 minutes. Done. Ahead, a bush full of berries. I stop and harvest. Packed and taken. Thank you, nature. For the whole afternoon, I become a heartless harvesting machine. The livestream's mood shifts from shock to pure sour jealousy. They call this the joy of a cheat user. They say Shue could mine 2 more tons with my vehicle. 2 extra tons, just from the ride. They admit my efficiency is absurd. The sky darkens. I look at the packed cart. I smile with satisfaction. Time to clock out and go home. Back in the cave, I count the loot. 3 giant snow rabbits, 2 snow rats, 1 thunder rooster, and a whole pile of berries. That haul is enough to make any pioneer jealous. Especially that fat thunder rooster. A walking tonic, feathers included. Since life is finally improving, I should give Daxiao the thunder rooster. As for me, I eat snow rabbit. I press my palm down to upload. The corpse hums with system light. Daxiao Pioneer Lin and upload supplies. 3 giant snow rabbits trigger a 10,000-fold gift. Daxiao receives 30,000 blood rabbit carcasses. 1 move, 30,000 meat rabbits. Not bad for takeout. The live stream boils over instantly. My popularity shoots upward. I ride that wave into the daily top 10. But when I open the national luck ranking, my brows pull tight. Current rank, number 4,108. Still outside the top 4,000. I thought this harvest would push me near top 1,000. Clearly, I underestimated these workaholic monsters. For the lone apocalypse ally slot. Everyone is killing like their eyes turned red. Some upload while starving. Some gamble with their lives. Some even work themselves to death at relay stations. Brutal grind. Still, I close the panel. There is no discouragement in my eyes. Only ambition. So what if I started late? I have a vehicle, gear, skills, and a cheat. Looking at the blue moss overhead, I set a tiny goal, reach the top 10. And yes, I absolutely mean it. In Daxia's highest strategic conference room, the air is heavy enough to chew. Only 5 days remain before the apocalypse selection deadline. At this national turning point, Layli brings bad news. Shue, their big hope, is exhausted. She has not even entered the top 5. Around the meeting table, they argue over who should ride the big wolf. Some support Zhao Taiju. Some protect Shue. Nobody convinces anybody. The old chief finally slams the table and stops them. No matter who it is. Results will do the talking. Whoever ranks highest at the deadline becomes Daxia's apocalypse candidate. Final word. But then, Layli projects the latest daily upload ranking onto the huge screen. The whole room goes dead silent. Then everyone inhales like they saw a ghost. The one dominating the list is not Shue. Nor is it Zhao Taiju. It is someone they almost forgot. First place, Linen. 3 giant snow rabbits. The old chief freezes. Then he bursts into hearty laughter. He says the kid is not only alive, but quietly grabbed first place. If I really charge into the top 10 and steal the apocalypse slot, now that would be a show. The big shots laugh along. They treat it like one lucky accident. Only Lee's mouth twitches. In his heart, he panics over that flag. They truly do not know how scary gear users are. Meanwhile, inside my thermal cave, I have no idea I startled the top brass. I am busy cutting up last night's prize. This ice feather thunder rooster is basically a mobile fortress. My shovel scrapes across its feathers and rings like metal on metal. I suck in a cold breath. After an absurd amount of effort, I pry off 12 iron-hard spirit feathers, plus a beak as hard as diamond. Good stuff. The feathers can become arrows. The beak can become arrowheads. Paired with my future bow, the damage will be ridiculous. Besides materials, there are 20 pounds of purple-red lean meat. Meat is no longer the issue. But something feels missing. Vitamins. Eating meat every day will wreck me. I need fruit. I need vegetables. I open the intelligence system. I spend 13 points on environment intel. With a hum, the 3D map unfolds. A green light point lights up 3 kilometers northwest. Beetleberry Grove. Large amounts of ripe berries. My eyes turn green instantly. Is this the start of fruit freedom? The current me has a vehicle, a house, and gear. Obviously, I must charge. The legendary snowmobile roars out of the cave. Snow sprays everywhere. Today, I am cockier than yesterday, and much calmer. Why? Because I have a cheat. Under danger intel's godlike view. The entire tundra is one-way transparent to me. Deep red trail on the front right. That is a bear. Absolutely not. I dodge and yank the handlebar. A clean drift avoids it perfectly. Oh, yolk yellow trail. A giant snow rabbit squats dumbly in a nest. Since it is on the way, it really cannot blame me. I throw on the camouflage cloak. I vanish into the snow like a ghost. My hand rises, then drops. Uffed. 1, 2, 3. On the way to the berry grove, I casually pick up 3 rabbits. The whole move flows like water. So smooth it feels illegal. The live stream viewers are stunned silly. The comments start calling the police. They ask if someone can report a cheater. Yesterday they called it luck. Today, they call it wholesale shopping. Someone says their mother asked why they were kneeling. No matter how shocked they are, or how the intelligence analysts begin doubting their life choices, I only know one thing. In this infamous death zone, Lennon is the only one steering. I arrive. As the vehicle stops, I look at the ordinary snow ahead. My mouth curls up wildly. Buffet opens. Wait. At a closer look, the snow surface only sags slightly. To normal eyes, it is just plain snow. But in my danger intel vision, it is a dyed-up underground cafeteria. Yellow, green, red, purple. Dense lines weave into a messy web. It makes my scalp prickle. Most of the traces are old accounts from when the white calamity hit. But among the tangled lines, I catch one deadly wrong note. A first-tier blood demon wolf patrol lingered here 3 hours ago. My heart tightens. A wolf pack, and only 3 hours ago. Without this cheat, who would imagine beneath all this snow are death zone footprints? Fortune comes from danger. Fast in, fast out. Without another word, I grab the alloy shovel and dig. First comes soft snow, then a hard frozen layer. After digging a full 2 meters, the shovel suddenly drops light. The ground under me gives way. It breaks. I clear the hole and look down. My breath stops instantly. Wait, this is not dead grass. It is an underground hollow. The heavy snow has been held up by some strange force. The shrub leaves are huge, but the branches are packed with crystal clear blue fruit. They call this ginger? It looks more like blue rice balls. Some are bigger than my fist. One bite in, the flesh is full and rich. Juice explodes wildly in my mouth. The prompt says my satiety rises sharply. It climbs from 462 to 467, and my stomach finally smiles. I fight the urge to howl at the sky. Inside, I scream, I am rich. Completely, ridiculously rich. I shove a huge blue fruit toward the screen. That tempting color, with thick juice running between my fingers. It's like a hammer. It smashes the worldview of countless viewers into crumbs. They yell that this thing counts as a berry. The viewers ask if this is an apple. Honestly, fair question. It is absurd. Last time, berries were thumb-sized. This one is fist-sized. Nature got promoted. The comments explode instantly. Foreign viewers stare themselves stupid. They insist plants like this cannot grow at -50. If brought back to Blue Star, this could help solve a food crisis. Tiny detail. At the same time, inside Dachau 3rd Intelligence Bureau, something clatters. Suwon drops her electronic pen in shock. She locks onto the screen. Breathless, she reports to Lei. She says these are not ordinary berries. They grew from an underground greenhouse layer and cold energy. A complete mature form, apparently. Fancy fruit degree. Rating, C grade. A small renewable resource point. Gold light nearly shoots from Lei's eyes. C grade, he realizes. Not bad for buried snacks. This can rival foreign wild orange forests head-on. A top-tier resource, no exaggeration. Suwon keeps dropping hints like flares. If this place is maintained well, it becomes a steady food vault. Even stabler than my previous extreme ice lake. Layli orders them to record it. He wants to shock the higher-ups today. His voice trembles with excitement. But here in the wilderness, I know absolutely none of this. No clue my berry caused a national earthquake. I only know one thing. If I do not haul these berries back, I will not sleep tonight. To get rich, build the road first. I stare at the 3-meter pit. I do not hesitate at all. The alloy shovel comes out. Clang, clang, clang. Frozen soil and snow fly together. In just 10 minutes, I carve a smooth U-shaped snow chute. It leads straight into the underground grove. Work begins. I drag the sled into the bushes. My hands move so fast they blur. I only pick the darkest and largest ones. I toss aside an egg-sized berry. Too small. I mutter, absolutely shameless. Forget it. Not worth cart space. The live stream viewers feel their hearts bleed. They beg me to throw it to them instead. They swear they do not mind small fruit. They call it blatant showing off. But I have no time for their pain. In only 20 minutes, the metal box is stuffed full. I try lifting it. Nope. That is seriously heavy. At least 120 pounds. And every bit is purification energy treasure. I push the snowmobile and crawl back up my freshly dug ice ramp. The branches below are still loaded with fruit. I grit my teeth. One more trip. Second, third, fourth trip. All day long, I work like a very greedy ant. I shuttle between grove and shelter like a freight line. Only when the sky starts darkening and the green wolf pack threat returns, do I look at the thousands of pounds left and stop, heartbroken. Today I move 500 pounds first. The rest can wait until tomorrow. I erase my traces. Then I ride the snowmobile home. Deep night, inside the thermal cave. My shelter now looks like a dream crystal palace. Hundreds of pounds of ice blue berries are stacked behind the frozen gate. They glow with soft blue light. Today is a good day. I hum while setting up the stone pot. I chop the thunder rooster thigh into chunks. Then I grab a big handful of berries and crush them straight into the pot. Purple juice instantly dyes the broth. No seasoning needed. Monster meat brings savory saltiness. Berries bring sweet tartness. That is top-tier flavor engineering. After half an hour of bubbling, a rich, impossible fragrance fills the entire cave. It makes hundreds of thousands of Blue Star viewers cry. They groan for mercy. They wonder how good it must taste. They thought they were watching 3 days of hunger. Instead, I serve wilderness state banquet. Of course, I cannot hear their wailing. I stare at the glossy fruit gel, wrapping the tender chicken. I scoop a huge chunk and shove it in. Oh, my eyes snap wide. Savory, oily, sour, and sweet explode together. It is a fireworks show on my tongue. More importantly, a hot stream rushes from my throat to my stomach. The prompt says my satiety cap rises by 50. I have taken in trace elements and high-energy vitamins. My physique improves a little. Too good. Dangerously good. No wonder pioneers chase monster meat. Who can resist eating and leveling up? It is not quite Silver Star food, but this full-mouth satisfaction makes me miss the old ice lake even more. Just then, the cold mechanical voice descends again. Today's supply upload settlement begins. Countdown, 5 minutes. I grin wildly at the mountain of berries. With one big wave, I mark out a full 300 pounds. I take a deep breath. Upload it all. With a hum, the blue little mountain turns into golden light and vanishes. Resource critical bonus triggered. Gift multiplier, 10,000-fold. Daxiao receives 3 million pounds of ice blue berries. Then the golden ranking of supreme glory refreshes above billions of Blue Star streams. With a thunderous blast, Daxiao pioneer Lin and ranks 8th worldwide. Boom. The whole world shakes. My stream popularity rockets back into the millions. Comments swarm like fish crossing a river. They scream that I entered the top 10. Yesterday, I was outside rank for 1,000. Today, I am straight in the finals. 3 million pounds, they gasp. That is an absurd amount of fruit. At the same time, inside Daxiao Strategic Reserve Base 1, a tsunami of blue fruit crashes down. It instantly floods the metal conveyors. Millions of pounds of fist-sized crystal berries release a tempting sweetness. The entire reserve base turns into a dreamlike blue ocean. A huge harvest. A ridiculous harvest. The staff stare at the scene, eyes nearly popping out. Late night, in the highest strategic conference room, the big shots who usually fight over resource allocation until their faces turn red are now strangely quiet. In front of each of them sits one fist-sized ice blue berry. With a crisp bite, the old chief takes a mouthful. He narrows his eyes in pure satisfaction. He wants the people to taste some tomorrow. Layli swallows hard. He says Lin and is now Daxiao's second. The old chief smiles bitterly and shakes his head. He says this kid brings too many surprises. Every big shot present understands. This C-grade renewable resource point is worth more than a giant gold vault. After all, Mushue's mine still leaves people hungry. My berry grove saves actual lives. That night, the high-level meeting ends unusually fast. No more arguing. No more shouting. Who should be apocalypse candidate? Even their feet know how to vote. Meanwhile, at Beijing Villa District 19, someone cries that it is too delicious. Little fatty Chunshin holds rabbit leg in one hand and berry in the other. His mouth shines with oil. He tells Uncle Lin the nearby rich families got only 3. That Wang Xiaoming cried like a siren. Xiao Xiao still cannot see clearly, but pride fills her face. Of course, my brother is the best, she says. compared with the warmth at home. Lin Jianjun's place next door is all gloom. Wang Mei chews her tiny bit of rabbit meat. It tastes like wax to her. Lin Jianjun hears his sons crying and throws down his chopsticks in frustration. Regret hurts worse than hunger. But none of that affects me in the thermal cave. I am staring at the global top 10 special rewards. My eyes are glowing. A fine-grade multifunction tactical backpack. Advanced body strengthening liquid, ×2. The rewards are way too good. That backpack has a 200-liter capacity. A folding space miracle bag. Finally, storage DLC. I glance at the rankings. First place John is still killing pigs. Second place Mel is harvesting the sea. Third place Ivan is running for his life. I have to admit, their spawn points are disgustingly good. Luckily, I have something too. I have a legendary snowmobile. I have a resource point. My days should only get brighter. I skim my supplies one last time. Legendary snowmobile, Thunder Rooster Prime Meat, 18 pounds. Berries, 253 pounds. Not bad. A proper harvest. Looking at that gorgeous panel, I close my eyes, fully satisfied. But the moment my breathing steadies, a miserable wolf howl detonates outside. That howl is sharp and soaked with killing intent. It drills through the thick ice door. I jolt awake. That night, I grip the alloy shovel and stare hard at the sealed ice. Only when the howls fade do I breathe. At first light, whatever happens, I must bring back those thousands of pounds of berries. With a hum, the snowmobile charges into the storm again. On the way, I casually butcher 2 wandering snow rabbits. But the warning in my gut keeps getting heavier. By the time I reach the place, my heart drops halfway into my boots. My ice ramp has been violently dug open. The snow is full of deep pits. The hidden entrance is a total mess. Great. Someone stole my peaches. The live stream screams doom, but I ignore it. I tighten the camouflage cloak and slide down the ice ramp. Tragic. Truly tragic. My dreamlike blue ocean. Looks like bandits held a festival here. Crushed fruit is everywhere. Wasteful brats. Absolute wasteful brats. My heart is bleeding. That was my whole winter food plan. While I am mourning my groceries, from the corner of my eye, I spot old shrubs deeper in the grove, glimmering with strange golden light. Wait. My breath catches. I hurry over quietly. Between the dense leaves, there are actually a dozen or so fruits that look forged from gold. I obtain 1 rare golden ice fruit. No time to be stunned. I quickly harvest the surviving stragglers. Every last one goes into my bag. These are rare grade, after all. Who would have guessed? The instant I pick the final fruit, a tiny tap sounds outside. It is a faint knocking noise, like some sharp claw tip, tapping my snowmobile outside. Rustle, rustle. 2 massive beasts, with green glowing eyes, slip into the cave like ghosts. First-order blood demon wolves. My blood nearly freezes solid. They walk without making a sound. Their shoulders are over a meter tall. Those sickly green eyes shine with terrifying cunning. So I am the turtle in the jar now. Worse still, one wolf walks straight up to me. Its face is less than a meter from mine. I can smell its hot, bloody breath. Luckily, the cloak blocks my scent. It twitches its nose twice. Then it turns and crouches down. It becomes a snow sculpture. Then a third wolf, a fourth wolf. Over a dozen blood demon wolves enter. They do not run around. They bury themselves in the snow. Only pairs of green eyes remain visible. A perfect hunting formation. Lovely neighbors. Time crawls by. From noon until deep night. For 10 full hours. I lie still as a rock. Cold energy seeps into my bones. My thigh muscles cramp hard. Then that heavenly mechanical voice rings in my head. Supply upload settlement begins in 5 minutes. An idea sparks in my mind. I quietly hold the heavy golden fruit and choose to upload it. Daxiao receives 10,000 rare ice crystal berries. The system congratulates me for uploading rare resources. A special reward appears. A survival mystery box. It asks me to choose the drop. Normal, rare, or legendary. Inside this life or death wolf den, I stare at the options. My mouth curls slightly. With the intelligence system around, it has to be legendary. Any normal person would pick normal without hesitation. A pioneer should be stable, not flashy. But I look at the options and tap legendary like a lunatic investor. The live stream explodes instantly. They yell that I am insane. They say this is not uploading supplies. It is basically my last words. But just as I am waiting for some heaven-defying legendary prize, rustling suddenly reaches my ears. Several greedy snow rats sneak down. Then comes one foolish giant snow rabbit. For them, the scattered scraps are basically heaven's buffet. One plump snow rat is so suicidally bold. It jumps onto a blood demon wolf's head. The wolf does not even blink. Patience. Suffocating patience. Only when prey numbers reach a dozen does the wolf beside me release a low vibration from its throat, a signal at an extremely low frequency. The slaughter detonates instantly. The dead snow piles burst apart. 5 white blurs leap out at once. Their teamwork is horrifyingly clean. Crack. 3 meters in front of me. A snow rabbit's spine snaps instantly. No tearing. No roaring. Only the crisp sound of breaking bone. 2 block the road. 2 drive the prey. 1 harvests. In just 3 minutes. The fight is over. Not one of the dozen prey escapes. They are cleaned up before they can scream. I watch through my goggles. My back is instantly soaked. These are not wild beasts. They are a trained special forces unit with fur. If I leaked even a breath, I would be meat confetti right now. But the slaughter is not over. For the next few hours, I feel my blood nearly freeze. The wolves keep waiting for more prey. They even attract those wilderness freeloaders, the ice feather thunder roosters, who come to join the fun. But they are clever, peck twice, then flee. Somehow, they steal life from wolf jaws. Finally, dawn breaks. The wolf pack finishes its third hunt. They pick up their prey and form a neat single file line. With silent steps, they prepare to leave. I am almost limp with exhaustion. I have barely relaxed when the smaller wolf at the rear suddenly stops. It holds something still dripping blood and slowly turns around. Those sickly green eyes lock onto the bush where I am hiding. No shift, no mistake. It is staring at me. My breath stops. My heart nearly shuts down. Damn, when did it notice me? That old wolf's eyes are too sly, but it is not really staring at me. It is staring at the priceless berries behind me. I play corpse in the snow pit for half an hour. Only when everything quiets down do I move. My hands and feet are frozen stiff. Who would believe this? Those beasts know their turf's treasures better than I do. Remembering the Wolf King's stare, my mouth twitches. My mouth twitches despite itself. I scramble up the ice ramp on all fours. I struggle to flip the snowmobile upright. Thank goodness the metal box is sturdy. Those bandits did not steal my 2 snow rabbits. I stare at the ruined berry grove under my feet. It hurts. My wallet has feelings too. Still, I grit my teeth and give it up. No more squeezing value out of this sheep. The big ones are gone. The small ones are countless. If I get greedy now, the wolf pack will come back and poison my career. But this trip is still a jackpot. I touch the 12 remaining fruits, heavy in my arms. My eyes practically burn. This is today's real main course. My instincts scream nonstop. No more showing off. Absolutely not. The moment I reach the safe lava cave, my nerves finally loosen. I hurry to pull out those golden fruits. Under blue moss light, I inspect them closely. Each one is peach-sized. Their marked skin gives off no scent. All the essence is locked under the peel. Rare wilderness data flashes in my mind. I cannot help sucking in a cold breath. The value of these 12 fruits beats hundreds of pounds of binling berries. They are core ingredients for Silver Star meals. A shortcut to making the body take flight. In other words, eating 100 pounds of normal berries cannot match one golden fruit. For a country, this thing is a strategic nuke. One fruit can trade for mountains of supplies. It can turn the next batch into superhumans. National strength goes straight into rocket mode. Deadline countdown, 48 hours. I stare at yesterday's rising death list, 1,532. My heart tightens. For the final rank, everyone will go crazy in these last 48 hours. Upload supplies and rush the board, or keep them and grow quietly. Other people can wrestle with that. For me, the top priority is simple: eat. After freezing all night, I am flatter than emergency rations. Meanwhile, at Dashia's 3rd Intelligence Bureau, tension is choking the room. Layli anxiously crunches a lollipop. His brows are locked tight. He curses those wolf brats. If this keeps dragging on, I will have no output in the final 48 hours. Basic supplies alone make it hard for me to break into the top 5. Suwon stays calm and rolls her eyes. She tells the director to learn satisfaction. Apparently, I am already the rare resource king. Layli takes a deep breath. He forces down his grin. Then he turns on the light screen. He storms into foreign live streams and starts roasting. He warns Little John not to get cocky. Rare resource points? He says they cannot find a hare and still brag. He says Mel only picks seaweed. He suggests renaming her Miss Seaweed. After roasting them, he feels refreshed. Only then does he happily head to the morning meeting. Back in the wilderness, inside my lava-heated cave, I stare hard at the stone pot packed with thunder. Rooster prime meat. I grit my teeth and toss in 3 ice crystal berries. Golden juice melts into the soup like liquid gold. A fierce herbal scent rises instantly as the pot bubbles properly. A miracle appears. The stone pot does not steam white. Instead, a faint layer of clear silver light floats up. The halo circles the pot like it paid rent. I laugh. It worked. I obtained Silver Star food. I do not care if it burns. I lift the stone bowl and demolish the golden soup and soft meat. This time, my stomach is not just warm. It is like molten lava is rolling inside. Wild energy explodes layer by layer. It rushes into every limb and bone. Every cell in me is cheering. They split, rebuild, and celebrate over time. The system says I consumed high-grade Silver Star food. It says my cold resistance increases. Advanced cold resistance jumps from 1 to 5%. My bone strength rises slightly too. I breathe out a long white blade. I clench my fist. My knuckles crack like firecrackers. Explosive strength fills my body. Getting stronger tastes ridiculously good. Full and satisfied, I glance at the storm outside. My mind starts calculating. The wolves are a huge problem. Outside is seriously dangerous. But if I wear the camouflage cloak and move carefully, maybe I can chase first place. Just as I prepare to check the legendary survival box coordinates, movement in the top right of my vision freezes me. My intelligence points have quietly built up to 15. Even stranger, beside them, a deep red exclamation mark appears. Several golden lines pop out. A major event is about to happen here. The system asks for 15 intelligence points to predict it and run a panoramic simulation. Major event, 15 points. That is my whole savings account. But staring at that bloody red warning, I harden my heart. I have eaten enough anyway. Worst case, I save points again. Yes. Simulate. The system hums. No warm-up at all. My consciousness feels grabbed and yanked straight out of my body. The golden data stream on my retina erupts into a storm of golden particles. My vision shoots upward. In an instant, I pierce thick rock, tear through the roaring snow, and past the black night sky, until I hang 10,000 meters high, with 15 points burned. My soul leaves my body instantly. I dangle in the sky like a cheap drone. Now this is a real God's eye view. The storm below turns into a still image. The surging tundra becomes a line map. Then, my gaze locks onto a writhing gray cloud. My vision zooms in fast. I suck in a cold breath. That is not a cloud. It is thousands of first-order giant horn mammoth sheep. Each one is built like an ox. They charge forward with spiral horns. But what really numbs my scalp is the 3 white clouds behind them. They are blood demon wolf packs. 3 whole dens. 100 blood demon wolves, led by 3 wolf kings as big as cars. They slice into the flock like scalpels. So that is it. That is why the wolf packs exploded out. The next scene shatters my worldview. The 3 wolf kings howl at the sky. What they spit out is not white mist, but actual ice blades. The storm screams, swish after swish. Half-moon ice blades rain downward. The gap between beasts and monsters is fully exposed now. They can use magic. The sheep scream. Blood stains the snowfield red. In this one-sided massacre, the wolves even use tactics. A huge ice wall rises from the ground. It cuts off over 1,000 stragglers. But then the turning point comes. A small flock of about 100 sheep breaks out like lunatics. They plunge toward the northeast. As my intelligence points nearly burn out, I lock onto those panicked giant sheep. My instincts tell me this matters. Across the ocean, Smith blows out smoke. He coldly punctures Sakura Country's dream. He says Linen still has stock. He says my target is the top 10. Smith looks utterly unimpressed. He doubts their addict has any chance left. Takahashi Miyako's face stiffens. Then, in the very next second, trouble arrives. Ding! A cold mechanical voice rings out. It echoes across every corner of Blue Star. The Wilderness Trial's second phase, the Apocalypse Contest, will arrive in 24 hours. Supply uploads close today at 23:59:59. Dead silence. Then everyone explodes. The rules changed. Not 5 minutes, but a whole day? Uploads stay open, which means this is a deadly crisis, and also a ladder straight to heaven. The whole wilderness falls into final madness. Look at 13th ranked Zhao Taiju. That mud-covered tough guy pushes himself for the country, crawling toward a lethal iron croc hive. He has to go again. Even if one sting can end him, he still wants one more shot for Daxia. Then there is 15th ranked Li Qingqing. She gives up her own ranking reward in tears, putting all her hope on me. She is basically saying Daxia can only count on Linen. The fiercest one is still Mushua. To fight back into the top 5, she grips an alloy blade and jumps straight into a beast cage, facing a peak first-order Vajra flame scorpion. Her eyes are pure resolve. Daxia cannot be humiliated. That leap makes the live stream erupt. People call her a true Valkyrie. Foreign powerhouses are no quieter. They burn recovery items like their lives are coupons. Bear L dives into the deep sea to gamble with death. Only first-ranked Little John sits beside a mountain of meat and coal. His eyes are bloodshot. He chews raw meat and mocks the camera like a villain audition. He says he will just sit there and watch everyone else risk their lives. The harder they try, the wider the gap gets. And me? While everyone else loses their minds at the finish line, I am racing through a sub-zero blizzard for an entire night. Without advanced cold resistance, I would be an ice statue in 2 hours. The wind cuts my skin like knives, but the coordinates on my retina draw closer. A crazy smile curls across my mouth. Dawn breaks over the ice lake. I am back, old frozen friend. I slam the brakes. The snowmobile stops behind a windbreak slope. This is the spot. I jump off and trigger full panoramic replay. With a hum, my retina explodes with data. That unsettling God's eye view overlaps reality. In my eyes, across the empty snowfield, over 100 gray shadows charge wildly. The giant horn mammoth sheep herd is coming. Even as projections, their earth-shaking momentum numbs my scalp. Wow, that's scary. I touch my suddenly cold neck. Their huge spiral horns hold frost power. If one even grazes me, I become a decorative pile of ice crumbs. I am still too weak. I dig like a madman with my shovel, while roaring inside my head. Compared with these wilderness giants, the human body is basically wet paper. If I want to survive, if I want to hunt that blood demon bear, I must get the first place legendary bow. Then global commentary receives terrible news. 4th-ranked Great OBO contestant Civi is confirmed dead. To steal one monster egg, he was forced off a cliff by thunder sound. His life fire goes out completely. The live stream falls silent. Then chaos erupts like fireworks. This is the final madness. One wrong step, and the abyss opens its mouth. Host Julia looks grim, but when the feed switches to Daxia, the whole mood changes. The screen shows me digging wildly beside the ice lake. The expert calls it a very wise choice. He points at the screen and analyzes with great confidence. He says I chose my best skill, ice fishing. Safe and profitable, supposedly. It lacks explosive gains, but wins through stability. Half an hour later, I curl inside my freshly dug snow cave. I stare ahead like I am fishing. I almost laugh out loud. In weather this cold, what normal person goes fishing? Looting leftovers is my true survival path. Just then, as I prepare to welcome my lost meal delivery herd, that familiar voice rings in my mind again. Today's intelligence refreshes. Billions around the world are fighting for their lives. Only I am snoring in a snow cave. My rank drops straight out of the top 10. Everyone thinks Da Xiao is finished, but the next second brings a world-shaking reversal. Ding! The whole world blows up. The system says one intelligence entry is stored. The intelligence refreshes. But I do not even look. I nestle inside the snow cave. My eyes close. And yes, I actually fall asleep. That nap makes the live stream explode. At first, viewers think I am charging a big move. Then they realize I am sleeping like a baby. As time slips by, the comments completely change direction. Some say a boss sleeps when he wants. Others say my nerves are not normal. They also note I sleep way too deeply. Countdown, 18 hours. The mood in the capital Villa district is crushing. Chubby Chinchin's face turns red with anxiety. He guards the screen and shouts for Brother Lennon. He insists I am conserving energy. Once I wake, one shovel means 10 fish. In the corner, blind Xiao Xiao hugs her doll tightly. Her voice trembles as she asks about me. She wonders if I can really win. Looking at my motionless body on the screen, even Chunchin starts losing confidence. He stuffs a binlang berry into his mouth and forces himself to reassure her. He says once I wake, dawn will come. Then reality slaps everyone hard. Countdown, 12 hours. Inside the 3rd Intelligence Bureau, Suwon suddenly lifts her head. She reports that I moved. I moved, but in the next second, everyone's eyes dim again. I did wake up, but I only stretch, chew 2 bites of jerky, then turn back into the snow cave, and keep hiding. Professional turtle mode. Meanwhile, bad news keeps coming. Xiao Taiju goes into toxic shock. Mu Xue is badly wounded and exhausted. Suwon watches my rank fall to 10th. Her hands drop in despair. At that moment, even the team members, who trust me most, nearly cry. They wonder if Lin and still has hope. Countdown, 5 hours. At the Swiss Commentary Center, the ranking board goes insane. Sato from Sakura Country harvests resources like mad. He shoves me out of the top 10 and steps right over me. The host gasps about Dacia. Lin has dropped to 11th. Julia looks completely stunned. Even the expert who backed me before now has a full mental collapse. He screams hysterically at the camera. He asks if this is my big move. He says the rules trapped me. He curses the rule change. Then the signal cuts. Security rushes onto the stage. They drag away the expert for talking nonsense. Global comments instantly become pure mockery. People laugh themselves silly. They call me a turtle and say Da Xiao is doomed. They tell everyone to watch Sakura Country instead. They crown it the light of Asia. Just as the world waits to laugh at Da Xiao, the countdown hits 3 hours. The live stream cuts to black. Then the earth suddenly shakes like crazy. Thunderous rumbles roll closer. I press myself against the snow cave lookout. My pupils shrink to pinpoints. At the edge of my vision, a huge gray cloud smashes through the night. It is a herd of tens of thousands of mammoth sheep. Behind them comes the bloodthirsty wolf pack. An iceblade storm rolls in with them. Oh, come on. This is the moment. Everyone forgets how to breathe. Hundreds of giant sheep charge like heavy tanks. They carry the panic of barely surviving and slam toward the ice-like trap I prepared. Crack. Boom. The thick ice screams. Then it collapses in an instant. Dozens of tons of beast drop like dumplings, smashing madly into the ice valley. Cracking bones and screams mix into one awful stew. In the blink of an eye, this place becomes a chaotic, bloody hellscape. I stare hard at the lake surface. Then I see something that chills my scalp. The fallen giant sheep fight to live, and their curved horns burst with blinding white light. Their blind counterattack becomes their funeral bell. The extreme cold shockwaves hit the water. They do not break the ice. Instead, they trigger chain freezing instantly. With a hiss, the struggling sheep slow down right before my eyes. Terror swallows the light in their eyes. White death climbs wildly along their fur. Every hair turns into a deadly ice needle. In only a few minutes, the shallows fall into dead silence. I stare at the scene before me. My heart pounds like a drum solo. So they are not killed. They scare themselves into freezing alive. Play it safe. Wait for the ice to move. While I wait, the global ranking war ends in blood. Countdown, 2 hours. 8th place is Daxia's Zhao Taiju. That Iron Tower man has a limb completely necrotic. He gives a bitter smile. 8th place means he did not shame Daxia to live until retirement. He has to amputate himself right now. 5th place is Daxia's Mu Xue, blood flooding the pit. She fights with everything to counterkill, but only trades it for 5th place. Seeing that familiar name on the ranking, her face is full of unwillingness. She blames me for triggering a new version. Otherwise, she would not be this battered. 1st place belongs to the Lighthouse Country. Little John watches the number behind him freeze. A mocking smile curls on his mouth. He casually throws out another monster corpse. His points surge again. He wants everyone to see it. That is the gap called despair. 1 hour later, the snowstorm thins. Cold moonlight falls down. It lights up that grand ice field. Over 100 giant sheep ice statues hold their most broken final postures and stay sealed on the lake's surface. This is a meat feast worth countless credits. I am about to step forward, then my feet suddenly stop. Something is wrong. No system prompt. Unless these sheep are still not ownerless loot. Just then, a fresh, sick green trail enters my vision. Behind the giant sheep ice statue, a pair of ghost green eyes lock onto me. A howl comes, and rank wind hits my face. A 3-meter blood demon wolf bursts out like white lightning. It pounces. A pure killing machine, lovely. Its shoulder is 1.3 meters high. Its muscles bulge like stone. That terrifying impact alone could smash a person into meat paste. At the critical instant, it actually misses. Under the camouflage cloak's optical refraction, the shadow it locks onto is half a meter off my real body. Idiot. God's gaze opens, and the world slows for me. I clearly see saliva drip from the wolf's fangs. I twist from my waist. The alloy shovel swings in a full arc. Then I smash it right in the face. Bang. A tooth-grinding crack explodes. The blood demon wolf's weakest nose bridge is solidly shattered by my shovel. Blood mist sprays everywhere, but it is still a top first-order predator. In less than 2 seconds, the giant wolf shakes its head, and the killing light in its eyes burns brighter. But in the next second, it freezes. Its prey has vanished. Its gaze locks onto the only target in the snow, that upright alloy shovel. Without hesitation, the giant wolf crashes forward like a cannonball. Its bloody maw opens wide and bites down hard on the shovel blade. Sparks burst everywhere. It thinks it has me. Cute mistake. Above its head, the air ripples strangely. My figure appears like a ghost. The bone spike in my hand is already loaded. Uft. The white bone spike follows its widening right eye and drives in hard. It pierces the eyeball, straight into the brain. The wolf howls again and again. Its 3-meter body crashes down. Its death struggle throws me away like a rag doll. I win. That was a top first-order monster. Without rehearsing the plan 1,000 times, I would be the one lying there. Before I can even steady my breathing, the system prompt in my head finally erupts like a tidal wave. I obtain 1 rare first-order blood demon wolf. I obtain first-order giant horn mammoth sheep. 36 fine, 78 ordinary. Thank you, frozen lottery. A total of 114 adult sheep, plus 7 calves the size of young cows. At this moment, the prompt sounds like the prettiest music alive. Large monsters are treasure from head to hoof. One alone can sell for 30,000. With a 10,000 times tribute multiplier, that becomes a full 300 million. No wonder small countries get absurdly rich. This is not pioneering. This is robbery with a system receipt. I stand atop the giant sheep ice sculptures, looking at the endless sea beneath my feet. I almost forget to breathe. This time, I am really, truly rich. Countdown, 010000. In the final hour, a sudden change erupts. Every pioneer's ranking board refreshes violently. A badge glowing gold red appears without warning behind the names of each country's core contestants. Across the leaderboard, an impossible abnormality appears. Second place Mel from England notices his friend Civi. Civi's name has turned gray. Gray means death. He swallows his grief, but Dashiao's ranking catches his eyes. 13th place, with such poor resources? Third place Bokaka from Jamaica frowns. He believes he must not fail his nation, even with his country on the brink. He will stack oysters into a future, but when he reaches 13th place, he also freezes. Dashiao's apocalypse pick ranks this low. Wrong choice, or hidden plan. 5th place Mushua, soaked in blood, looks at her empty name suffix. A trace of loss flashes in her eyes, but when that familiar name lights with a startled rainbow glow, her disappointment turns into acceptance. So it is you. She realizes Daxiao chose to root itself in the surging tundra. Maybe that really is the best choice. 8th place Xiao Taiju lets out a dry laugh. Not Mushua. Not him, either. The Daxiao Soldier King looks at his swollen arm and instantly understands the leadership's intent. After all, I push the new version forward. He hopes this ice-field spark keeps burning. 10th place Sato sees his apocalypse mark. He bursts into wild laughter. An apocalypse nation, with national support incoming. He originally planned only to survive. But with his nation behind him now, who cares if other people die? His gaze sweeps over Lin and behind him. Sato's face fills with mockery. He thinks Dashia's leaders must have lost their minds. They chose trash as their ace. He plans to step on me soon. Back on the wilderness ice lake. The cold wind cuts hard. I hold my shovel and stare down the only survivor. Bleat, a nursing mammoth lamb, has all 4 hoofs frozen to the ice. It is shivering like a tiny snow mop. I sigh. Lucky little thing. I raise my shovel and smash the ice. Crack, crack. The freed lamb does not run. It leans beside its frozen mother and bleats. Fine. One last look, kid. I straighten my back. This grand meat mountain waits before me. Then I glance at my retina. At that gold-red apocalypse badge. Since my country has bet on me, my first gift must stun the world. Golden light flashes in my eyes. I growl with full drama. I choose upload. Beijing family villa. Meanwhile, the once quiet hall suddenly erupts with a pig slaughter scream. Chinchin points at the TV and yells. He nearly crushes the remote from excitement. He calls for my parents. Then he tells Xiao Xiao to look. My parents nearly jump out of their skins. They quickly raise their heads. On screen, behind my name, the symbol of Da Xiao's highest will is shining like it pays rent. Qinshin dances with both fists. He shouts himself hoarse. He says it is the apocalypse mark. Brother Lin and is Da Xiao's chosen apocalypse. Each batch gets only one slot. Apparently, I am Da Xiao's new precious son. My family status now is apocalypse-grade family. Straight to the ceiling, no ladder needed. My livestream completely explodes. Online viewers rocket to another level. But most comments are rage and doubt. They say I slept all day. So why am I the apocalypse? They scream that it must be rigged. Mushua bled her way into the top 5. Zhao Taiju nearly lost his arm for it. And I, ranked 13th, look like a Nepo snowman. They demand to know why I represent Da Xia. The old chief stands before the stage. His gaze is sharp as a blade. His voice stays steady and strong. He says apocalypse is a national fate decision. Mushua has fought through blood. Taiju has raced forward with a ruined arm. They are all Da Xia heroes. Then the tone shifts. The old chief turns dead serious. He asks why, at the final moment. They chose 13th ranked me. Because the strategy is the surging tundra. That place is a death zone. The first 7 batches were wiped out. Only I, this stubborn spark, took root. As long as I live, Da Xia lives there. At this point, the old chief checks his data. He prepares his final summary. He says I am only ranked 13th now. But that does not mean. Before he can finish, Layli starts waving like a broken fan. His expression becomes priceless. The old chief frowns slightly. Then he smiles calmly at the camera. He guesses my ranking has risen again. He invites everyone to await my final result. As he speaks, he turns aside with elegant confidence. Then he looks at the giant screen. The next second, his calm smile freezes. His mouth opens in slow-motion shock. In just 5 seconds, my ranking blasts upward like a rocket. I charge straight into global 5th. And my terrifying resource points keep soaring. I press my palm to a crystal-clear ice statue. The biting cold drills into my sleeve. But my blood is boiling. The system detects a first-order giant horned sheep. Integrity, 1%. Uploading. The system gives its cold mechanical notice. My new panel jolts hard. The still point bar wakes like a beast. Then it starts climbing like crazy. 24,000 points. Global 2nd. I sweep a glance over the leaderboard. Little John from the Lighthouse Country is still far ahead. Almost at the same time, the top score jumps in a very suspicious way. It surges from 38,000. Clearly, he is panic dumping inventory. Pretty quick reaction. A cold smile curls on my lips. I can picture him hiding in some dark corner, frantically dragging corpses around, using quantity to cover poor quality. Tragic. Trying to look dignified beside me, please. I do not even slow down. I move across the giant ice lake. With every light touch, another ice statue dissolves into light. Then the score numbers jump until my eyes almost blur. If this were ordinary hunting, even the top pioneer grinding for a month might barely reach 20,000. What I have now is an entire frozen tribe. All in then, let me bury you completely. Little John's score stops at 139,000. That seems to be his bankrupt limit. I take a deep breath. My hands touch the statues faster. The clear prompts ring across the ice field. 144,000 points, with under a minute unused. The top spot looks painfully bright. The first place prefix changes to mine. I imagine it already. Those experts and loud viewers outside must have wonderful faces right now. Those competitors, too. Mel, Ivan, Zhao Taiju, staring at this nightmare number, probably think the ranking is joking. Only when the score freezes near 900,000 do I finally exhale. I stop moving. The area is empty now. The ice statue forest is just shards. I sigh. Half a day for only this much. I shake my sore arms. Then I turn to leave, but a little guy still stands by my feet. It is the baby sheep I rescued earlier. It tilts its head. Those innocent big eyes stare at me. It seems confused, wondering why its elders suddenly ascended. It bleats once. The sound is sharp on the empty ice. I cannot help laughing. I crouch and pat its fluffy head. Then I point at the empty lake. Stop looking. Your whole family turned into my points. Run while you are still cute. And while I am not hungry. 1 million points. I look at the string on my retina. A number that barely feels real anymore. I slowly breathe out white mist. In this wilderness, I am world number 1. With this wildly jumping data, I give everyone on Earth a live stream called Miracle. Nice title. I cannot see the comments, but I know the mood is not light. Da Xiao viewers must be going wild. Western elites and Lighthouse fans are probably stamping. They will call it luck. They will say I picked up leftovers. Just a cleaner, nothing more. Not comparable to a warrior like Little John. I can guess those comments with my eyes shut. After all, these frozen sheep alone can crush the points, but cannot shut every mouth. A pioneer needs more than luck. He needs scars from a cruel world. If I am slapping faces, I might as well slap them clean off. I stand up. I walk deeper into the cave. That is my final card, and tonight's real killing move. My fingers touch cold white fur. A fierce aura seems to pierce me. It is a 3-meter blood demon wolf. Dead, but still a top predator. Annoying prestige. The pierced wound in its eye socket is my personal bone spike artwork. Now I show them real hunting. I suddenly put my strength into it. I drag out the huge corpse. I choose upload. The system detects a rare, first-order blood demon wolf. Integrity, 95%. Fatal wound confirmed. Uploading. The system prompt falls. Then the frozen blue score bar goes berserk again. But I do not care about the number. I care about the message this corpse sends. This is not scavenging. This is a straight-up kill. I bet the live stream is dead silent. Colonel Kane and Little John, and those sour experts, must feel their faces sting. This blood demon wolf with a pierced eye is my slap across the world's face. This is Dashia's fate. I murmur it softly. A little joy flashes in my eyes. Right then, the wilderness suddenly freezes still. Even the snow hangs in midair. Then, a vast, cold, majestic voice explodes inside my head. Those who compete leave their names. The event ends. Here it comes. I hold my breath. My heart speeds up on its own. This is not just honor. This is survival capital. 10th place. Zivi deceased. Reward. Rare multifunction backpack. +1 rare healing potion. Australia's natural environment improves by 1%. Zivi, that dead guy? Even dead, he still takes 10th. Hardcore. The announcement continues. 9th place. Xiao Taiju. Reward. Rare multifunction backpack. +2 rare healing potions. Dashia's natural environment improves by 2%. Hearing Brother Tieju's name, my tense nerves loosen. My eyes even feel hot. I know his poisoning is serious. He has been dancing on death's doorstep. 2 rare potions. I look toward the night beyond the cave. Across the distance, I imagine him reviving. Hold on, brother. At this rate, your arm can be saved. As long as you live, there is still hope. And I will carry Dashia's name and keep ruling the top. Meanwhile, Dashia gets a shot of adrenaline. The northern cold current suddenly softens. Outdoor temperatures rise 3 impossible degrees. I cannot see it from here, but I can imagine home boiling over. Countless people cheer for potions and national fortune. 6th place. Mushue, rare multifunction backpack. +1 legendary healing potion. Dashia's natural environment improves by 5%. Right after that, the top 3 rewards are announced. The whole world locks onto the list. 3rd place. Mel, 2 portable legendary vehicles. 2nd place. Little John, legendary Titan armor. Listening to the prizes, I raise a brow. Titan armor? Looks like the higher civilization wants them ready for harsher hell. But Little John only gets 2nd. Those lighthouse loudmouths must have swollen faces now. Under everyone's gaze, the 1st place announcement descends. 1st place. Linen reward, legendary Overlord Bao. Dashia's natural environment improves by 40%. Overlord Bao, I mutter. My mouth starts rising by itself. Before I can picture its power, an even colder and majestic special announcement detonates. My heart skips a beat. A special announcement. 8th batch Pioneer Linen. Total score 1.18 million. More than 2nd to 100th combined. Unique hidden achievement triggered. Gap myth. Additional mythic reward granted. Mythic? My breathing catches. Above legendary. There is mythic. Reward. Mythic title. Resource sovereign. The holder may assign obtained resources anywhere. Grand offering, once per day. 2nd reward. 1 mythic survival mystery box. Resource sovereign. I instantly grasp its value. Resources can be sent anytime, anywhere. That means I no longer need to be a mule, dragging hundreds of pounds through snow. Even the berry forest can be emptied in a blink. Just as I recover from joy, the system speaks again. Mythic survival mystery box. Rainbow grade, randomly delivered. Centered on me, within a 20-kilometer radius. I stare at that rainbow treasure chest. I rub my hands like a villain. I can almost see an RV silhouette. Then I read the small print. Within 20 kilometers. Not exactly 20 kilometers. Are you kidding me? I complain at the air. Finding a box in this frozen wasteland without a cheat is needle in ocean nonsense. Fine. I have the all-knowing eye. A little distance counts as exercise. While I cheer myself up, 2 sharp whistles tear across the sky. I look up and see 1 golden trail and 1 rainbow trail ripping through night. They cross and fall. The colorful one is the mythic mystery box. It draws a gorgeous arc and vanishes far away. The golden meteor stretches its tail on the horizon. Its aim is painfully precise. It drops straight toward me, or rather, toward the ice before me, right at the center. My bow, my pupils shrink. I turn and sprint. The ice groans in pain. Meters thick ice becomes paper thin. A water pillar and broken ice explode upward. Seconds later, ice water and dead fish rain down. I crawl up in a mess. Then I rush to the hole's edge. The flat ice surface has become a deep 10-meter blast crater. The lake churns violently. That golden light sinks into the cold water. Wind hurls ice grit past me. I stand beside the hole. My whole body goes stiff. The land beside me trembles hard, but I cannot care. My legendary weapon sank. I feel like I cannot breathe. My heart is bleeding points. That is my overlord bow. No, I have to fish it up. I grit my teeth without hesitation. I start stripping off heavy clothes fast. The ice water is bone-piercing cold, but I cannot let this god gear vanish. 10 minutes underwater is fine for my body. The trick is surfacing before the ice refreezes. For safety, I check with my cheat first. The system refreshes survival intelligence. Golden words rebuild on my retina. The message makes my hand freeze. Today's survival intelligence appears. Special resource found, sawhorn lamb. Use 2 rare plant resources to tame it for horns, wool, and meat. Legendary overlord bow has sunk to the lake bed. Coordinates, 787743. Distance, about 17 meters. Huh, I freeze. I look at the trembling lamb. Then I look at the ice hole. 1 man, 1 lamb. Big eyes meet big eyes. Taming comes first. Even above retrieving a legendary weapon, I hesitate for 2.5 seconds. Then I decide firmly. Salvage can wait, but this doorstep delivery must not run away. If I recruit it, it can pull carts or donate wool later. That is a mobile asset. This is basically early livestock tech. Lucky you. My face twists from the cost. I take out 2 ice crystal berries. They absorb the essence of the white disaster. Each one is round and full. Each one is worth a fortune. Here, want them? I hold the berries to its mouth. The little thing was wary at first. Then its eyes suddenly light up. Its tongue curls once. The berries vanish down its throat. Then the miracle arrives. As the fruit settles in, its dirty gray baby wool falls off in sheets. Fresh white fleece grows thick and clean. Its body swells like someone pumped it full of air. It grows from waist-high to little donkey size. The most shocking part is the tiny horn on its head. Complicated golden lines appear on it. A sacred aura leaks out. Fancy lamb mode. Good grief, even fertilizer works slower than you. I marvel and stroke its thick back. The feel is ridiculously good. In the vision, the lead ram had golden horns. Could this abandoned little guy also grow into a boss sheep under my cheat? The lamb seems to understand the praise. It stops shrinking back. Instead, it bumps my leg with its gold-marked head. Its eyes are full of trust. Dangerous cuteness. Taming succeeds. I obtain a young giant horn lamb with runes. From now on, you pull carts and revive my logistics. Your name is Shala. Shala bleats in grievance. Apparently it dislikes my casual naming genius. Still, it obediently lies on my robe. I put my clothes away. I tell it I am going down. After settling it down, I take a deep breath. Bare-skinned, I walk to the ice hole. Then I dive straight in. The lake swallows me with a splash. For one instant, I brace myself. The bone-cutting cold never comes. Instead, strange warmth wraps around me. I raise a brow and understand. Outside is minus 50 or 60. Under the ice, the water stays near 0, with advanced cold resistance. This is basically a winter hot spring. As long as I avoid hypothermia, this run is stable. I adjust my posture. I get ready to dive deeper. The image on my retina trembles. The underwater world changes instantly. Darkness rolls around me like a tide. Under pressure, my fishing instincts wake up. But I know the real target matters more. I sweep my arms forward. Following the green coordinate on my retina, I shoot toward the lake bed like a flexible squid. A golden glimmer waits in the mud. That is my legendary weapon, the Overlord Bow. At the freezing bottom, my fingers finally touch the cold latch. I press it lightly. A crisp click answers me. Bubbles surge around the box. The lid springs open. A dazzling pale gold glow lights the dark water at once. I obtain the legendary Overlord Bow. It feels cold and heavy in my hand. This is absolutely not ordinary gear. I do not even have time to admire it. I drag the box and rise fast. The moment I reach shore, its matte black alloy sheen looks downright soul-stealing under the moon. So this is the first place prize. It is packed with industrial mechanical beauty. The joints are precise hydraulic pulleys. Even both ends are sharpened into diamond blades. But that is not the craziest part. A thought flashes through my mind. I flick my wrist and trigger the mechanism. The giant bow folds backward. Then it extends instantly into a 1.8-meter double-bladed battle axe. At range, it is a bow. Up close, it is a spear axe. This is not one weapon. It is 2 divine toys in a trench coat. Still unable to calm down, I take another deep breath. Then I dive back into the lake. This thing has to taste battle. The moment I go under, an arrogant golden stream flashes overhead. It is that fat rare fish again. I twist my waist. The Overlord weapon shoots out like a venom dragon. I stab halfway through the water. And somehow I miss. The golden light even turns back like it is mocking me. Then it vanishes instantly. Nope. I wisely change targets. I lock onto a dark red fish shadow. God's gaze. The scene suddenly slows. That big fish cannot even flick its tail. The sharp blade pierces it instantly. I obtain a first-tier twin ridge fish. Nice. Rare monsters bully me. But trash fish get dimensional suppression. I surface with my prize, very satisfied. But after only 2 steps, I stop dead. On the ice ahead, several huge stunned fish lie scattered. So that is it. The legendary chest hit so hard, it punched through the ice and blasted fish straight out. This is free loot. My favorite genre. Right then, Shala, still dazed, suddenly gets enlightened. It happily runs over and scrapes with its hooves. Then it proudly drags back a frozen fish. My brain starts buzzing. This sheep just learned dog skills. After 1 round of sweeping, Shala brings back over a dozen fish. A full 15 pounds of meat. This wave is pure profit. On the way back, the snow grows heavier. I ride the snowmobile, legs weak from exhaustion. I am wheezing like damaged equipment. Then a gray flash darts past me. Shala is stuffed and full of energy. It dashes dozens of meters ahead, then runs back again. It tilts its head and stares at me with innocent eyes. That look clearly says, "You are slow. Did you skip dinner or something?" A vein jumps on my forehead. "You ungrateful will ball. Back home, I am soaking your hoofs." I finally make it back to camp. The moment I open the system, several red alerts on the panel make my heartbeat jump. The apocalypse contest begins. Physical attributes. Apocalypse communication. Class change path function unlocked. Then I check my own stats. My strength and constitution have surged. My overall quality is 4 times stronger than day 1. That is ace level by Blue Star standards. But the real bomb is at the bottom. Stage mission, Apostle of God, explore divine ruins. First successful class changer gets a mythic reward. Mythic. My pupils shrink hard. I know exactly how heavy those words are. For everyone else, the wilderness is an unknown abyss. But for me, with the intelligence system, it is a treasure map with the route drawn in. But before that, I glare viciously at the sheep beside me. You asked for this yourself. Shala, keep looking at me like that, and I will stew you tonight. Faced with my threat, Shala is not scared at all. It even shakes its head. Then it springs up like a cannonball. Chicken blood splashes everywhere. It smacks me right in the face. You little disaster. One man, one sheep. While we brawl, the wilderness shifts elsewhere. Little John curses at the sky. He has a terrifying average physique of 62, yet can only stare helplessly at the mission. This is clearly a pit prepared for legends. With no choice, he packs up. Even if the road ahead is deadly, he has to migrate. At the same time, Mel stands by the coast, staring at the raging sea. His heart practically bleeds. His legendary reward is down there. But diving 100 meters is suicide. Forget fighting for first place. Surviving next month is already a question. Back home, they say I sent a grand gift. Nearly 1 million sheep. Inside the conference room, the old commander's voice lands like iron. It directly silences everyone. Eating this meat long-term can greatly improve the body. This is real strategic grade supply. Back home, the old commander waves and decides the split. 3 iron orders drop instantly. Veridasya. First, benefits for everyone. Schools and families with children get priority. Strong youth, strong nation. Simple math. Second, elite supply. The 9th batch pioneers and special forces get the best cuts. Use the best meat to raise the fiercest soldiers. As for whatever remains, the old commander's eyes turn sharp. He orders it sold overseas at sky-high prices. Anyone wanting monster meat can trade core technology for it. Fair and spicy. Then an even heavier announcement arrives. The 9th pioneer batch is moved up to 2 months. To support the apocalypse candidate, the country begins selecting a dedicated observer. Names scroll across the screen. Every region has a candidate. Only when the screen stops on my slot, the space is completely blank. Number 4, Apocalypse Lin, ends observer. Meanwhile, Wilderness Me has no time for bureaucracy. I cannot shake them, no matter how careful I am. Those 3 worrying gazes behind me keep biting onto my trail like debt collectors. 3 adult blood demon wolves. They close in silently in a triangle formation. Low growls roll in their throats like thunder, especially the one-eyed leader. Its eyes are packed with nasty intelligence. At the edge of life and death, I make a wildly reckless decision. I pull out my last precious golden berry. I bite off half in one mouthful. Then I toss the other half into the air. I send Shala running separately. These beasts are insanely sensitive to blood and energy. Staying together means dying as a bundle deal. Shala swallows the berry in one gulp. Violent energy rushes straight into its blood. It does not hesitate. It dives headfirst into the snowstorm. Then it bolts away. The wolves are instantly drawn by that energy. Greed flashes in their eyes. One turns and charges after the young beast. Oh right, the original certain death situation turns into a 2-on-1. Progress, technically, at the same time. After swallowing half the berry, heat surges wildly through my body. Strength increases by 0.5. Constitution increases by 1. The instant my data jumps, I flip off the snowmobile. The overlord weapon in my hand gleams cold. Killing intent stands right in front of me. The remaining 2 blood demon wolves split up. They are not in a hurry to attack. These are not ordinary beasts. They are killing machines wearing fur coats. The male wolf on my left suddenly erupts. It hits like an out-of-control heavy truck. It tears through the snowstorm. Its blood-red mouth opens wide. It goes straight for my throat. God's gaze. The world abruptly slows. My body tilts left at an impossible angle. The fangs miss by a hair. My overlord weapon does not retreat. Instead, I borrow the wolf's terrifying momentum. I raise the blade and slash hard. Fresh blood erupts. The sharp edge rips open the giant wolf's side. Its guts spill out. Very unfriendly. But before I can breathe, the other hidden blood demon wolf seizes the only opening. This is top predator teamwork. The first one is bait. This one is the killing blow. My strength is already spent. There is no way to dodge. If I cannot dodge, then I trade lives. Ferocity bursts in my eyes. I force my upper body to twist. My left arm locks over my vitals. My right hand grips the spear alone. I thrust brutally at the shadow in midair. A crash and a wet punch sound together. I fly out like a torn sack. But the ambushing wolf has it worse. The overlord's spear punches through its chest. Its blood freezes into red ice shards. Snow keeps falling. One human is badly hurt. 2 wolves are bleeding out. The standoff in hell has only just begun. Dawn breaks. The cold system announcement rings like a funeral bell. Today's death count is 798. I listen to the broadcast. A bitter smile tugs at my mouth. I was only a little short. I almost became one more cold number. The livestream picture has just lit up. Billions of viewers feel their hearts drop. The screen floods with shock. 2 blood demon wolves stand there drenched in blood, and I am swaying on my feet. The wound on my left arm looks horrifying, but in the next second, something strange happens. Those bloodthirsty beasts do not pounce. Instead, fear appears in their eyes. White steam hisses upward. It rises from the wound on my arm. The fruit I swallowed finally erupts. The claw mark that nearly reaches bone. Clots and scabs at visible speed. This is the bug of top-grade resources. Even the smart snow wolves look stunned. By wilderness rules, injury equals death. But this human just broke common sense. The 2 giant beasts glance at each other. Then they step backward. At last, they vanish into the snowstorm. I collapse beside the vehicle. Cold sweat instantly soaks my back. I won the gamble. Without that legendary weapon, if I only had the engineer shovel, I would be delivering meat today. Right then, the 3D map on my retina flashes. Shalah's green dot is not gone. It is flashing like mad. One moment it twists away. The next it charges into a red danger zone. Then it blasts out again. My mouth twitches. That sheep is not running for its life. It is joyriding in the blizzard. After eating 2.5 rare fruits. This thing may have future ranking potential. Once I confirm the sheep is fine, an even crazier message pops out. Today's intelligence refreshes. A legendary survival mystery box sits 300 meters northeast, practically at my feet. My eyes sharpen. Since it is on the way, I may as well grab it before leaving. The snowmobile roars. It cuts a silver streak through the storm. Meanwhile, Dasha's livestream completely boils over. People see the transforming weapon. They see me force back the wolf pack. Countless people feel their blood ignite. But more people see me covered in blood, and their eyes turn red. There is no such thing as free lamb meat. Pioneers steal it from wolf mouths with their lives. At the 3rd Intelligence Center, Suwon stares hard at the screen. Her nails dig into her palm. She no longer hesitates. That observer position is one she is determined to fight for. 10 minutes later, in the icy rift, I strike down with my shovel. A crisp metallic clang rings out. Dark gold light looks dazzling in the snow. I obtain 1 legendary survival mystery box. But I do not dare open it. I throw it on the vehicle and turn back fast. The chill of being watched grows heavier on my spine. In the rearview mirror, the depths of the snowstorm are not calm. Countless worried green eyes light up. It is the blood demon wolf pack. They have called their companions. Like patient death gods, they will not stop until something drops. 20 minutes later, the thermal cave rumbles. I spend my last bit of strength, swinging the huge weapon to seal the entrance. Then I pour water and freeze it into an ice wall. Only then do I collapse completely. Too tired. Energy bar empty. I do not even open the box. I fall straight into unconscious sleep. But while Dasha watches and I lie out cold, the international opinion arena gets drenched with cold water. Charming. Rudolph, a survival expert at the Swiss Review Center, pushes up his gold-rimmed glasses. He points at the pattern on the screen. His tone is cold as a blade. He warns the Dasha audience not to celebrate too early. He admits I got the chest, but says I made a fatal mistake. Apparently, I angered the Tundra's boss. Rudolph slashes a red line across the big screen. Being camped by wolves means I cannot go outside. No outside means no gathering. In this game of racing every second, standing still equals dying. He calls it a dead end. He does not think I survive next month, no matter how many legendary tools I have. He says I will not last. Thanks, coach. Some joker agrees only because lamb should be cheaper. Dasha viewers roast him madly in the comments. The studio atmosphere turns swordpoint tense, just as the expert sentences me to death on air. Julia's face suddenly changes. She grabs her earpiece. She cuts in with an urgent bulletin. The big screen switches. A document stamped by 5 countries appears. Lighthouse, England, and 3 others are named. They announce the Divine Alliance. A joint decoding center starts immediately. Wilderness data opens only to Alliance members. That is naked technology monopoly. Before viewers can even process it, Rudolph, who is just roasting me, reacts in a way nobody expects. Bang! The cup on the table rattles. Rudolph slams the desk and stands. His usual cold logic vanishes. In its place is a red-faced rage. He calls it absurd beyond absurd. With humanity facing life and death, they are playing Monopoly games. He calls it cowardice. He says it betrays the pioneers. The whole studio goes dead silent. Even Dasha viewers are stunned. Who would have guessed? This so-called professional hater would be first to roar for the public good. At the same time in the West, back in the wilderness, inside the thermal cave, I wake from pain. Great alarm clock. Even with divine medicine helping, the 3 deep cuts on my left arm still throb all the way to the bone. One more bad encounter, and next time really is death. I grip the overlord weapon beside me. My fingers brush the cold blade. With one good arm, This bow could hit whatever I point at within 100 meters. No need for meat grinder close combat. Sadly, there is no if. My left arm tendons are damaged. I need a new trump card to stay alive. I take a deep breath. My gaze locks onto the dark gold box in the corner. A legendary survival mystery box. This is my only variable. I drag my injured body over. My trembling finger presses down. Click. The golden lock opens. There is no blazing golden light. Instead, ghost blue liquid mercury floats up. It flows like something alive. Deep ripples shimmer inside. I obtain the deep blue diving suit. Legendary grade, 1 piece. Trait, free underwater breathing. Underwater movement speed increases by 300%. I freeze for a beat. Then joy hits like a snowmobile. Those schools of attribute points under the ice lake can finally be harvested. Before, oxygen and water pressure limited me. I could only drool at the ice fish. Now that I have this, it is basically a second skin. That means the lake is no longer a cage. The blue liquid spreads along my fingertips. In an instant, it covers my whole body. Then it disappears into me. There is no restraint at all. Instead, I feel unbelievably light. But billions in the live stream lose their minds. They scream about diving gear. To them, it is the worst land equipment possible. They call my luck absolutely cursed. The tundra gave me a swimsuit. Also, the ice lake is pitch black. Even with a suit, they think I cannot see. In the viewer's eyes, trash is actually my god-tier equipment. Outside, the world is building tech walls. Meanwhile, I am ready to attack again. I pull out my last piece of high-energy fuel. I light the fire and cook. This round must heal me. Then I go underwater. Who would have thought that in this death-only tundra, I am about to enjoy a top-tier feast that shakes the soul. This is called finding life in a dead end. Even if my high-energy coal is almost gone, even if my camouflage cloak is ruined, even if this cursed place gives no way out, I still hold a king bomb. Watching the water boil in the stone pot, I reach into the frozen storage door and take out my treasured Thunderbird thigh meat. Even for secrecy, I grit my teeth. I throw in 3 precious rare resources. Ice crystal berries. The juice seeps into the meat as it bubbles. That aroma almost builds heaven inside this frozen hell. I do not care if it burns. I grab a slice and stuff it into my mouth. For a moment, spring thunder explodes on my tongue. Then coolness slides down my throat. It instantly turns into rolling heat. It rushes toward my ruined arm like crazy. I groan under my breath. Cold sweat pours out. New flesh grows like mad. Tendons forcibly reconnect. The sour pain makes my scalp tingle. 10 minutes, only 10. When I finish the soup and bones and wipe the silver star feast clean, I try moving my left arm. That long-lost strength really returns. This meal is as good as rare healing medicine. My livestream viewers are already dumbfounded. Other pioneers still worry about 1 sip of water. Some are so hungry they are crying. Meanwhile, I am hosting a luxury eating show. This pulls hatred to the absolute maximum. But while I feast and revive at full health, the real world turns into boiling soup. At the same time, Smith across the ocean grows unbearably arrogant. He coldly warns countries thinking of leaning east. Even I want to curse at that, because that guy George has stats 16 times a normal person's. He is about to seize the first divine profession, just when the whole world thinks I will be left behind by this wave. I sit in the geothermal cave and stare at my own status panel. A crazy idea forms. I look at God's gaze and its pathetic 10% bar. Then I look at 200 gene of berries in storage. If experience can be farmed, why should I save resources? One word, rich. I will use this ridiculous wealth to smash out my own future. Once I decide, I move. I take a deep breath. My will focuses hard. God's gaze, activate. Buzz. The world instantly slows in my eyes. Every speck of dust becomes crystal clear. 2 seconds later, my stamina empties. Weakness crashes over me. I grab a handful of beetle berries and stuff them in. The moment my energy refills, I activate it again. And so the loop begins. Exhaustion, eating, then activation again. The viewers go insane. They all think I snapped from stress, maybe even lost my mind. Even foreign experts say my mentality collapsed. But they do not understand. Only top whales dare do this. Pay to win cultivation for 2 full days. I do not sleep or stop. I force down every last bit of 200 gene of berries. Right up to the final moment, I suddenly snap my eyes open. Deep in my pupils, that pale gold light is countless times sharper than before. Everything is not just 90% slower to me. I can even see the fatal death line on every living thing. God's gaze rockets up to 60%. 3.5 seconds. A whole 3.5. I clench my fist. That intoxicating power surges inside me. The extra 1.5 seconds in a life and death fight is basically a divine gift basket. Sadly, the thrill lasts less than 2 minutes. Then reality slaps me across the face. The fruit is gone, and I am starving like a haunted rice bucket. I stare at the big chunk of meat in my hand, but all I can do is glare at it. In this minus dozens degree surging tundra, without fuel, eating raw meat is no different from swallowing ice. That is how people audition for an early grave. I tell the system to search for burnables. I summon the panel like grabbing a life rope. Then one line on my retina nearly makes me cough blood. Search cost, 3 intelligence points. And my pocket has a tragic little 2. No money means I can only tough it out. To distract myself from hunger, I look toward the loot piled in the corner. Since I cannot go out, I might as well start an arms race. My eyes land on that hard leg bone. It is not a severed limb weapon yet, but once this thing is polished, it will absolutely become a murder tool. Monotonous, scraping echoes through my dragon palace. 2 hours later, 2 pale bone arrows take shape in my hands. I notch an arrow and draw the bow. The string is not even fully pulled, yet that locking sensation prickles my scalp. Paired with my current god's gaze, within 300 meters, this is no longer bone. It is the Grim Reaper's sickle. Then I think of Xiao La, who still has not regrouped. So I decide to finish the job properly. Using blood rabbit sinew and snow rat hide, I twist a 10-meter composite rope for that little beast. Unfortunately, the last softening step gets stuck again at the no-fire problem. Everything is ready for this stage. All I lack is the sacred flame. Classic. While I am poor enough to rattle. Inside Daxia's intelligence bureau, the battle over me has reached boiling point. My exclusive observer selection has only 2 names left. One is the analysis genius Su Wan. The other one is Wu Jing, the legendary pioneer with 1 broken leg. One is pure data flow. The other is the battlefield type. Even the military big shots get stuck choosing. In the end, they can only seal both reports and wait for the top brass to decide. I grind through the whole night. When a new day arrives, the moment my intelligence points refresh, I practically roar search. I order a 3-point scan. The intelligence value is instantly deducted. My pupils heat up at once. With a buzz, a ring of pale blue radar light erupts outward from me. The entire cave, in my eyes, turns into a precise 3D holographic map. Where's fire? Where's energy? My sight sweeps over several dead dark trees underground. Garbage. My gaze pierces deeper through the strata. It scans toward the depths of the cave. A dense patch of yellow light flares up. Moss. That is the frost goddess mural. If I burn that, I am basically asking to die. Just as despair is about to clock in, the radar finally finds something. On the west side of the cave, in a bottomless fissure, a dazzling black gold glow flashes wildly on the map. High-quality coal mine. Large quantity. High burn value. My pupils shrink. My heart starts pounding. My house actually has a mine. And it is a freaking coal mine. This is not fuel. This is life itself. I shoulder the alloy shovel and rush into the fissure. When I pass through the mysterious hall, some ghostly instinct makes me glance into that stone bowl. That one look nails my feet to the ground. Inside the once dry stone bowl, a thin layer of crystal clear liquid has gathered again. I obtain Extreme Cold Divine Brew, 0.2. Legendary. Actual legendary Divine Brew. Is my luck getting a little too illegal? This is the goddess's gift. More importantly, it is my miracle medicine. I do not hesitate at all. I tilt my head back and drink it all. Gulp. The icy liquid enters my throat without the expected violence. Instead, it becomes a warm current around my body. But immediately after, that warmth ignites like a wild beast. It detonates the compressed energy inside me. I growl uncontrollably. My skin turns red all over. White steam hisses like a pressure cooker venting. It blasts from my head and pores. Crack, crack, crack. My bones roar. My muscles rebuild. It feels like being thrown into a forge and rebuilt from scratch. Painful, but honestly kind of amazing. Strength +8. Constitution +8. Spirit +8. Cold resistance jumps 20%. Beautiful. My whole body gets a huge upgrade. This solid, real improvement knocks me straight into sleep. I fall into deep baby-level unconsciousness. Meanwhile, in my live stream, hundreds of millions of viewers stare stupidly. At the same time, inside Daxia's intelligence center, Su Wan is on the edge of elimination. After all, her opponent is Wu Jing, a legendary pioneer. But just when everyone thinks it is settled, the screen's sudden change shocks them all. Someone shouts that I am evolving. Su Wan stares at the screen, and my body steaming white like a human kettle. Her beautiful eyes tremble. She realizes the divine gift is actually continuous. While the outside world boils over, my consciousness is dragged into a strange dream. An ancient temple looms, vast enough to suffocate me. Ice pillars rise beyond sight. A coldness pierces straight into my soul. I see her again, the frost goddess. Before I can speak, a cold sigh explodes directly in my mind. She urges me to hurry, because time is running out. Boom. The divine voice fades. I jolt awake on the bone pile. I gasp hard for air. Cold sweat has soaked my back. That was not an illusion. A god is rushing me. The urgency makes my scalp crawl. And the next second, a dark purple prompt makes my pupils shrink. I receive the goddess's favor. The blood demon wolf pack's hostility disappears. The wolves become neutral creatures. That is absolutely huge good news. A day and a night later, long-lost firelight dances in the geothermal cave. With coal now in hand, my quality of life shoots straight into orbit. Blood rat oil bubbles in the stone pot. Rich meat aroma mixes with a burnt smell and fills the entire hall. I toss the woven 10-meter rope into the oil pot. As the grease soaks in, Xiao La's gift is finally finished. At the same time, Blue Star's internet crashes again. A screenshot gets shared like wildfire. It shows me standing before an underground coal vein. Black gold rolls beneath my feet. Burning heat surges beside me. The title is painfully read. Who is the true master of the wilderness? The whole world turns sour. They say this is not survival. This is a cold boss born with a mine at home. But I have no time for the outside noise. After eating and drinking my fill, I look at my constitution at 52 and strength at 48. My gaze turns unbelievably deep, because I still have an even crazier target. Since the wolf pack is no longer a threat, my first priority is dealing with the barracks. That will help me finish the trap. But before that, I need to push that skill to the limit. I sit cross-legged. Golden light flashes in my eyes. God's gaze. I trigger it. Buzz. The world instantly slows before my eyes. That progress bar stuck at 99% finally starts to loosen. My thoughts move insanely fast in this moment. It feels like the whole world hit slow motion. Floating dust, flickering flames, even the faint rise and fall of moss on the wall, all become crystal clear. I try to lift my arm. Then something weird happens. Before my flesh even moves, a half-transparent golden shadow breaks free from my body first. It is a preview of the future. 1 second, 2 seconds. My arm seems pulled by an invisible hand, locked tightly, onto that shadow's path. When the 5th second ends, real flesh and golden shadow overlap perfectly, not even a hair off. My vision returns to normal. A crisp system chime explodes right after. The system congratulates me on a legendary ability. God's foresight. I close my eyes. I stand there motionless. I savor those short 5 seconds. A true God's eye view, if I have to describe it. It is like suddenly logging into a max-level account. Or maybe, the Frost Goddess opened a backdoor for me. She lets me borrow divine will to peak at time. Strong? No, this is offensively strong. Then a wild idea surges up. Since I can predict the future, does that mean I grab the Overlord bow by my feet? I flip my hand, draw an arrow, and string it. I aim at the center route in the corner. I draw it fully in an instant. Deep inside my pupils, the golden wheel appears again. The world turns thick and slow once more. And in my sight, a perfectly clear golden dotted line extends straight from the arrow tip. It draws a flawless arc and locks onto the stalactite's point. I try shaking my arm. The line actually corrects itself automatically. Holy crap, is this the legendary headshot cheat? My heart goes wild with joy, but the excitement lasts less than 2 seconds. Poof, my vision collapses instantly. A violent dizziness smashes the back of my head like a hammer. My knees go soft. I nearly kneel on the spot. Even the Overlord bow drops from my hand. I brace my knees and gasp hard. My skull buzzes like a broken speaker. My stomach roars like thunder in protest. Only then do I realize how serious this is. This is not ordinary hunger. Every cell is screaming for energy. At the same time, the livestream viewers are completely confused. They wonder what happened to Godland. Was I not insanely cool a second ago? Do I get dizzy from arrows now? One moment I am punching. The next moment I am shooting. Now I look like I need a carbon monoxide checkup. Only I know the truth. This so-called legendary ability is basically a bottomless pit. I only activate it for 2 seconds, and my stamina is instantly overdrawn. I turn toward the stone pot. My face turns dark. It is cleaner than my wallet. To grind proficiency, I already demolished my food reserves. I have to hunt. Without mountains of high-energy food as fuel, I cannot afford to run this cheat. I pack my gear. Cool, Overlord bow. And the gift I made for Shaola. I step into the snowstorm again. The moment I leave the shelter, my livestream heat breaks a terrifying 300 million. Countless foreign accounts flood in. Even official researchers from other countries show up with notebooks to steal lessons. Annette from the White Bear country introduces herself. She says she came to learn from the Eastern expert. So this is the dignity of being rank 1? The gear is indeed top tier. Daxiao viewers talk tough, but their palms are sweating. After all, just a few days ago, the mockery about me wasting food was still fresh in everyone's mind. Everyone is holding in one breath, waiting for me to slap those foreigners hard. A rare tier 1 winching peacock beast is feeding. I actually run into this thing in my memory bank. It is something that looks like a peacock, but is covered in blade-like feathers. Its temper is extremely violent. Once it fights, it does not stop until death. They call it the wilderness suicide truck. The most disgusting part is its meat. Sour, rotten, absolutely cursed. Eating it is like chewing pickles in a mouth unbrushed for 7 years. Still, I lick my cracked lips. A golden gleam flashes in my eyes. The meat may be trash, but its shin bone has terrifying density. Its hardness rivals alloy. Perfect material for heavy bone arrows. I take one look at the satiety still enough for one God's foresight. I do not hesitate. I turn the vehicle around. Then I chase straight after it. Trying to run? Not today. Meanwhile, a communicator at Daxia's first intelligence center hovers a finger over the button. Their expression is tense. They ask Principal Wu whether to connect now. Wu Jing suddenly raises his hand and signals them to wait. He tells them not to disturb me because I am hunting. Wu Jing leans forward. Those eagle-like eyes lock onto the tracks on the screen. His tone is certain. The stride is 1.5 meters. 3 toes touch the ground. He identifies it as a Winchim tiger beast. The expert beside him gets anxious. They remind Principal Wu the data says this thing is mildly poisonous. They wonder whether Lin and misjudged it, thinking it can be eaten. Wu Jing shakes his head. A meaningful curve lifts at his mouth. He says wild hunting is not always for food. Maybe it is for bones to make weapons. Maybe it is for feathers to make cold-proof clothes. He says I am much smarter than they think. At that, expectation flashes in his eyes. Perfect. He also wants to see whether the old sharpshooter's judgment has gotten rusty or not. Global intelligence agencies are waiting to laugh at me. A lighthouse analyst named David even writes inefficient hard into my file. They mock it as brainless brute behavior. However, only Wu Jing at the first intelligence center sits upright. He stares at the upper right of the screen. He barks that something is happening. He orders pixel enhancement. Before his words even finish, I have already flipped off the vehicle. In this moment, I merge with the snowstorm. I raise the bow and set the arrow. Golden light flows through my eyes. The chaotic snowstorm solidifies into countless clear airflow channels. 200 meters away, at the edge of white chaos, a huge wind spirit beast barely raises its head. The bowstring trembles. The short bone arrow slips into the airflow like a squid. It vanishes into the white world instantly. Wu Jing's pupils shrink. That unity of man and weapon makes his hands itch. The technician beside him cries out. The target is at 2 o'clock. Distance, 210 meters. The military experts shake their heads at 210. With this wind speed, the arrow flies 100 meters. They say it should drift at least 3 meters. So, apparently, hitting is impossible. But on screen, I am already done and back on the vehicle. The snowmobile growls forward 50 meters. Then 100, and the gap closes. The foreign observer's laughter slowly freezes. When the snowmobile stops by the rocks, the camera slowly zooms in. That huge Winchim terror beast lies there dead, with a pale bone arrow buried deep in its left eye. Only a blue shaft still trembles outside. One arrow. Headshot. Very polite. The whole Dachau Intelligence Center goes deathly silent. David from Lighthouse even snaps his pen. He says this completely violates aerodynamics. Unless divine power helped. Cute excuse. As the person involved, I only care about the loot. I gain 2 rare high-density leg bones. Perfect material for heavy arrows. While I debate what to do with the toxic meat, a prompt nearly makes me cut my finger. Observer Wu Jing requests binding. Principal Wu? The man with seed-level physique. Daxiao's pioneer king who held the top for 3 months. And my longtime idol. My hands shake from excitement. I accept immediately. The binding succeeds. A deep magnetic voice rings straight inside my heart. He calls me Comrade Lenin. He asks me to respond if I receive him. At the same time, on the lower right of the National Fate screen, Wu Jing's hologram appears. The former war god looks at me with approval. He says this is an encrypted channel. The livestream cannot hear it. Now comes the important part. The national think tank gives me 4 core rules. First, build deep walls. Stockpile grain. My area is rich in resources. My own growth comes first. No need to rush upward. Second, a planting plan. Use bat droppings as fertilizer. Grow crops on an ice field below -dozens. Sounds like fantasy farming with frostbite, but this is Daxiao's national strength. Wu Jing's planting plan makes my scalp tingle. Once the technology is solved, using geothermal heat and coal conversion, that cave becomes a non-stop production base. Food and clothing security is suddenly visible. Before I recover from the shock, Wu Jing's tone suddenly lowers. There is a trace of apology. An excitement he cannot hide. About the Apostle of God mission. The country cannot help me for now. But then he says my name. He tells me to listen carefully. My sister Lin Xiaoxiao's surgery succeeded. She can see again. My parents have been moved to the capital district too. Boom. Those words hit me like a hammer. They shatter all my hunter hardness. My eyes instantly turn red. My fingers whiten around the dagger. Why am I risking my life here? So my family can live. So my sister can see the world. I thank the country. My voice shakes. The words nearly choke in my throat. Wu Jing laughs heartily. He cuts off the emotional atmosphere at once. He says I brought honor to the country. No thanks needed. Then he tells me to eat the beast by my feet. What raw? Wu Jing's judgment is terrifyingly professional. He says my arrow was too fast. It cut the central poison gland directly. The toxins never had time to spread. Heating it would waste the nutrients. Right now, it is top-tier tonic meat. When the boss speaks, I listen. I stop hesitating. I slice off ruby red thigh meat. Then I stuff it into my mouth. There is no stench like I imagined. It melts instantly. Sweet as honey. Suspiciously fancy. Rolling heat rushes through my dried-up cells. My spent stamina refills in an instant. Amazing. Completely, shamelessly amazing. Only now do I truly understand how nice it is to lean on a big tree. The call is about to end. Wu Jing drops one last bombshell. Before I go to the ice lake, I should build a stronger shelter first. Also, I have a second observer. They will contact me tonight. Beep. The communication cuts off. I stand there stunned. There is another one. From Principal Wu's tone. It sounds like some research big shot. Since they do research, their hair is probably not doing well. With thoughts of bald genius support, I set out again. My target is an abandoned bear cave 1 kilometer away. But after crossing a snow ridge, the sight ahead makes me crush the brake. Damn. 30 meters ahead, in a snow hollow, 3 massive blood demon wolves are tearing prey apart. Blood stains the snow red. The thick reek of blood hits my face. They spot me. I instantly raise my bow and draw. Every muscle tightens to the limit. 3 pairs of green wolf eyes turn together. Killing intent spills everywhere. Just as hundreds of millions of viewers stop breathing, something bizarre happens. The lead wolf actually snorts. Then it calmly looks away. It lowers its head and keeps eating. Ignored. Completely, brutally ignored. I raise a brow. So this is the frost goddess's favor. I put away the bow. Then I ride the snowmobile openly, passing within 20 meters of the wolf pack. The live stream explodes instantly. Everyone thinks I have lost my mind. Those wolves killed a white bear pioneer yesterday. They ask if God Lin is just built different. At the same time, inside Daxia's first intelligence center, Suwon stares into a makeup mirror after 3 all-nighters. She has just opened an eyeshadow palette. The hexagonal honeycomb pattern makes her freeze. Honeycomb structure. Composite ice shield. Snap. The powder puff goes flying. She grabs a lipstick. Feverishly, she writes formulas on the mirror. Bright red lipstick streaks across the glass, leaving dense mechanics equations behind. My soon-to-arrive genius observer is clearly a beautiful science maniac. Meanwhile, I reach the destination smoothly. The abandoned bear cave sits on a leeward slope. The terrain is perfect, but I do not rush inside. I carefully inspect the surroundings first. A Tier 2 female blood demon bear lived here. Departure time. 60 days ago. The overlord aura still lingers. That becomes the best natural barrier. I push the vehicle into the cave, but when my fingers touch the rock wall, and those claw marks of different depths, my eyes change. An adult blood demon bear is 4 meters tall. For it, this cave is a cramped studio. For me, this is a luxury suite. I look at this natural windproof shelter. I cannot resist snapping my fingers. Nice. My second home in the wilderness. Once I find Xiaola, I can park him at the cave mouth. Instant automatic warm curtain. Perfect. Obviously too perfect. But Blue Star's command center explodes. Watching the screen, where I look like I entered my own backyard, Wu Jing's hand trembles. Hot tea spills all over the table. He says my sixth sense is absurd. Wu Jing takes a deep breath. Shock and relief both show in his smile. Just then, a prompt sounds by my ear. Observer Suwon. She requests binding. Suwon. Sounds like a woman. I do not hesitate. I accept decisively. The next second, a cool, intellectual voice rings directly in my heart. She calls me Comrade Lennon. She introduces herself as Suwon. She asks me to confirm receipt. As the hologram lights up, my eyes brighten on the spot. Long black hair and gold-rimmed glasses. Cold beauty, top student energy. Her looks are honestly illegal. But Suwon clearly is not here to chat. She lightly touches her nose. Her sharp gaze points at the trench. She calls me Comrade Lennon. Based on fluid mechanics, my fire pit is in the wrong spot. She suggests shifting it left 30 centimeters, then adding a flat panel behind it that uses the rock cracks chimney effect. Heat efficiency rises at least 20%. Professional. I simulate the airflow in my head, and I understand instantly. Without the change, all the heat just runs away. With it, I get an internal radiator. So this is state-issued top-tier support? Love it. Fully love it. I say nothing more. I immediately start fixing it. Just then, Suwon's signature cool voice suddenly softens a little. She calls me again. She says my sister Lin Xiaoxiao wrote a letter. She asks if I want to hear it while I work. Suwon's cool voice gains warmth. Xiaoxiao's letter? Of course I want to hear it. I snap my head up. My eyes lock on the screen. Suwon slows her pace. It feels like my sensible little sister is speaking. Xiaoxiao says the sky is very blue. She says she can see now. She says she has gotten chubbier. She also made friends. They are waiting for me to come home for dinner. For a moment, only the fire crackles in the cave. I take a deep breath. My chest burns hot. My eyes sting. All my long-held tension melts. In its place, my fighting spirit could burn down a barracks. I thank the country. I promise to obey the plan. Before the call ends, Suwon smiles faintly. She says survival is not easy. She hopes I return still young at heart. Good night. The screen goes dark. I sit beside the fire. For a long while, I cannot calm down. Before, I was a lone wolf. Every problem had to be brute forced. Now I have a top brain like Suwon. Even in this freezing hell, I dare to push forward. I glance at the National Fate ranking. The list has completely changed. The front ranks are all national certified apocalypse candidates. Clearly, every country has powered them up. Their survival efficiency is exploding. As for me, along with Little John from Lighthouse and Will from England, we have all vanished from the front ranks. Looks like everyone is like me. At this stage, hiding strength is the fashion. I close the ranking. At the cave mouth, I make a warning trap. Then I sink into sleep. But the real challenge has only begun. At dawn, terrifying low pressure jolts me awake. A blizzard is coming, so I leave at once. 10 minutes later, a familiar light point appears on my map. The next second, I slam the brake. I almost cannot believe my eyes. A figure strolls leisurely across the ice. Only 2 days have passed. Yet its body has grown a full size. It is nearly as big as a calf. The live stream explodes instantly. Foreign viewers curse my luck. More people start betting on how I will hunt this wild giant horned beast. But nobody expects me to shout Xiaola at it. Even more ridiculous. The beast answers with a bleating meow. Xiaola suddenly lifts his head. His four hooves start flying. He charges at me like a small white tank. I yell for him to stop before he rams me. I dodge the tank charge sideways. Then I pull out the special treat I prepared. Xiaola curls his tongue once. He eats it with blissful squinting. His tail spins like a propeller. The growth is extremely promising. I pat his thick back. Then I loop the rope around his neck. I tell Xiaola to show me his limit. Xiaola shakes his head excitedly. Then he opens all four hooves and sprints. The pushback hits me instantly. I sit on the snowmobile, feeling like I boarded an out-of-control supercar. This is not a sheep. This is a ground-skimming missile. 0 to 100 in under 2 seconds, easily. I shout for him to brake. I shout with my whole soul. But Xiaola does not listen at all. The faster he runs, the happier he gets. If this keeps going, we are absolutely flipping. Unreliable sheep. Seeing communication fail. I roll sideways at full speed. I jump off the snowmobile like a disaster actor. Bang. I roll several times before stopping. I crawl back up. I slap snow foam off my head. I look absolutely miserable. Far away, Xiaola finally notices the load got lighter. He turns back and tilts his head at me. His eyes are full of mockery. That look says, that's it. My mouth twitches. My mentality collapses. This brat is definitely looking down on me. Inside the live stream, countless viewers burst out laughing. They yell that it is ridiculously cool. They ask if I am filming Sheep Tamer Master. Bad news, the sheep got smart. Good news, he despises his owner. Foreign viewers grind their teeth with envy. They scream that this is unfair. They insist he must belong to that Daxia guy. They call me a total fraud. At the first intelligence center, Wu Jing's eyes flash with excitement. He orders them to contact the agriculture department. Every top beast trainer must be found. He wants one thing, a detailed guide for taming giant horned mammoth sheep. This is the power of the state machine. While I survive on the ice field, an entire expert team already stands behind me. Back at the ice lake, the real main event begins. I dig open the ice hole. Then I unzip my down jacket. As the heavy clothing slides off, the legendary deep blue diving suit finally appears. Its matte blue sheen carries flowing black patterns. Like liquid metal, it fits every muscle perfectly. The collar wraps over my mouth and nose. Only my cold eyes remain exposed. At this moment, the live stream loses control. Female fans scream for their husband. Male fans stare at the sci-fi gear and nearly drool a river. They ask what kind of suit this is. Restrained war god style, apparently. This is how legendary equipment should show off. I tell Xiaola to guard home. I grip the overlord weapon in reverse. For once, I look like a sea god about to dive. Splash. I enter the water. Silently, I become a deep blue torpedo. I vanish beneath the dark, bone-cold ice. At the same time, alarms blare inside Daxia's command room. They shout that drag is almost zero. No oxygen tank. No mask. Yet it can electrolyze water molecules automatically. A dozen experts watch the data jump wildly. Their jaws nearly hit the floor. My instant speed is 5 times a normal human's. This is not diving. This is underwater cheating, officially. Even Wu Jing, who has seen everything, tightens his grip on his thermos. He silently thinks of the old days. If he had owned this gear, the Pioneer King title would have been his earlier. But the experts soon find a fatal issue. Below 15 meters, there is absolute darkness. No one can see the prey. Cannot see? Not in my dictionary. Under the ice lake. I am enjoying a shock I have never felt before. There is no bone-biting cold. Only bathwater warmth. Luxury, Apocalypse Edition. I do not need to struggle for air. Breathing is as smooth as on land. This is what fish in water feels like. No wonder fish look so smug. I activate Crisis Intel. A red dot lights up on my retina in the dark. A Tier 1 Twin-Chi power fish appears. Even in pitch-black water. In front of my system. It stands under a spotlight. Time to show it real speed. I kick both legs hard. No fancy moves. Just pure, rude speed. The Overlord spear pierces its gills perfectly. It gets pinned dead on the spot. That, my friends, is a 1-second checkout. Splash. The ice surface breaks. I grab the edge with one hand. Then toss the twitching big fish onto the ice. Without wasting a word, I dive straight back into the water. The whole process is smooth as flowing water. So fast, even Xiaola looks stunned. He probably wonders if a black rat just popped up. Inside the live stream, hundreds of millions stare at the half-dead fish. An eerie silence falls. Only after half a minute do the comments explode like fireworks. They ask if the hunt is already over. Someone says their instant noodles are not done yet. They complain I finished too fast. So this is the value of legendary gear. Poor Zhao Taiju stabbed air all morning. I solved the fight in 2 minutes. Too brutal. But apparently everyone likes brutal seafood. They tell people not to tease Brother Taiju. He just forgot to bait the spot. While the comments keep joking, Daxia's first intelligence center falls into dead silence. A room of top scientists stares at the screen. Their pens stop. Too fast. 5 minutes faster than their best prediction. Wu Jing looks calm as an old hound. Inside, though, waves are probably flipping tables. He thinks that if the old king had this speed, even losing another leg would not let him catch up. He takes a deep breath, then orders them to keep observing. They send me the latest ecological structure map. This is the state machine. Forever my strongest backer. Very reassuring. The underwater world is terrifyingly quiet. I adjust my posture. Like a black squid, I rush toward the deeper lake bed. This time, my goal is clear. It is not for body stats. It is for the frost goddess. She specifically wants the rare Zhu fish. At 20, then 30 meters deep, the light is completely swallowed by darkness. Water pressure squeezes from all sides. But this legendary diving suit basically turns my mask into a pale blue protective film. Pressure that would burst normal eardrums. Feels like a breeze to me. Deep enough, but still way too dark. I activate crisis intel in the darkness. My vision fills with red fish shadows. There are even meter-long underwater snacks. I do not spare them a glance. Finally, past a rocky area, a dazzling gold streak stabs my eyes. Found it. Tier 1 ice silver. Zhu fish, rare grade. It is a full size bigger than the last one. Basically a gold bar swimming underwater. I hold my breath on instinct. Using momentum, I creep closer. I know this thing has insane burst speed. Any movement, and it vanishes instantly. When I am 2 meters away, that gold bar tail flashes. Clearly, it senses killing intent. Trying to run? No door. Divine foresight. I trigger it with a hiss. Time turns thick and nearly frozen. In my vision, the ice silver Zhu fish suddenly splits off a golden phantom. It shoots toward the stone crack on the left. If I can see the future, I can cut it off. My mouth lifts. My wrist turns slightly. I ignore its current body completely. Instead, I stab hard at that phantom. Uffed. 2 seconds later, the golden light stops cold. Prediction successful. That slippery rare fish is nailed through by my overlord spear. Now this is my real strength. Ice chips scatter. I break through the ice with one hand, calm as if leaving my own pool. A half-meter fish, cast like flowing silver, lands on the ice. Shala beside me looks dumbfounded. His huge sparkling eyes bounce around the fish. He bleats, and I tell him to move aside. This thing is not for his teeth. I press down his sheep head and lecture him. A sheep must learn composure. How else will he charm little ewes later? The moment my hand touches the big fish, a faint cough echoes deep in my mind. It is the goddess hinting again. She wants this thing as an offering. I stare at the fish for 2 seconds. Then I decisively shake my head. No, this one is too small. Using tiny fry to fool a god. Do I still want face or not? I need to get a fish king. This one, I will graciously accept myself. At the same time, on the far side of Blue Star, Julia at the Swiss Wilderness Review Center is speaking confidently to the camera. She says it is unfortunate. She claims Daxia's Lin and has been chaotic lately. Some experts even believe I am wasting precious hunting time. Before she even finishes, the director suddenly cuts the feed. The screen happens to show me holding that artwork like silver fish and casually tossing it into the box. The entire venue erupts. Julia herself stares at the overbright giant fish. Her expression freezes instantly. Then she makes a full 180. She suddenly cries, "Oh my god." Now it is magical Eastern wisdom, apparently. The expert beside her changes tune too. He says Daxia's leaders are truly far-sighted. This move slaps the experts in the face and leaves global viewers blinking like fish. However, the next 3 hours turn sharply worse. The once rich ice clan suddenly becomes stingy as an iron rooster. I drift underwater like a ghost. For 3 whole hours. Forget the fish king. I do not even see fish hair. Something is wrong. I hover in deep water. I can clearly feel the air pressure above dropping off a cliff. A blizzard is coming. Just as I prepare to surface and retreat, a burst of static crackles in my earpiece. Wu Jing calls me Comrade Lenin. He asks me to answer if I receive him. It is Wu Jing, and he keeps it brief. The expert team has made a major discovery. His voice carries a calm that settles people, based on anatomy and model simulations. Those ice silver Zhu fish live near the bottom. They are ambush predators. They rank 7th among fish-type threats. I glance at the clean white fish in my hand. It really does not look the part. Also, with a blizzard approaching, large fish rise to breathe. But these bottom dwellers burrow into lakebed mud. Then they enter dormancy. One sentence wakes this dreamer up. No wonder I cannot find them. Those little punks are hiding in the mud. This is the benefit of backing from my country. When I get lost on the front line, an entire think tank helps me cheat. 2 words, extremely useful. But the filter in my heart is immediately shattered by Wu Jing himself. He says, of course, it is only a guess. The actual work still depends on me. Then comes the national suggestion. For reference only, of course. Listen to that. Peak expert flex. Before I can even complain, Wu Jing drops another bombshell. The experts think a fault zone lies below. There is probably a geothermal channel under it. A perfect nursery for crustaceans, meaning ice lingzhu fish may gather there. Once the golden ones leave, I admit it right then, my greedy little heart moves. The 5-minute encrypted call ends. Once again, I feel the think tank's grind. Fault zone code, huh? I glance at the system panel on my retina. Stored intel remains. Only 1 point. My wallet cries. But this map has to be drawn. I exchange for environmental intel. My last ration of intel instantly hits 0. A golden ring explodes outward from me. The unknown black water ahead is rebuilt before my eyes the next second. I suck in a cold breath. 1 kilometer straight ahead. A giant crack cuts like an ancient wound. It stretches across the lake map. Orange-red geothermal light leaks from it, like lava veins pulsing under ice. The Golden Corridor really exists. Those national experts are basically gods, with only one fish corpse. They deduced an entire food chain. This is big country background. Very sturdy. I keep following the map. Then my gaze suddenly freezes. On the cliff beside the fault zone, a huge mouth opens into the abyss. A bottomless hollow cavern, and the system marker glows with a purple-black aura I have never seen. Extreme danger. My heart skips a beat. Although that hollow cavern is 3 full kilometers from the corridor, the unknown fear still prickles my scalp. Forget it. Golden Corridor first. But 3 kilometers underwater eats too much stamina. I need to go over the ice. Splash. The moment I break the surface, the blizzard slaps me like unpaid debt. Heaven and earth are one white blur. Ice shards fly around like bullets. And the worst part is, I praise the frost goddess into the headwind. Maybe turn the wine down a little? The wind gets stronger. Great customer service. Even the snowmobile barely moves. Just as I am stuck, Suwon's calm voice sounds in my heart. She says they found a way to control Xiaola. The expert group has reached a conclusion. Their modeling analysis says, this guy is a mutant herd leader. His intelligence is extremely high. The country also tells me to grow steadily, and not push myself too hard. After the call ends, my chest warms. Since my country is this reliable, I cannot be the weak link. I call Xiaola over for class. Bracing against the blizzard, I follow the expert tutorial. First, I slap his left waist. Bang. Xiaola tilts sideways. Sure enough, he turns left. Then I slap the right side. He turns right. Steering wheel acquired. For brakes, I remember those cliff diving sheep. This thing starts running and forgets brakes exist. Since he is a leader, my gaze lands on his proud golden hoof. I test it with 2 taps of the spear shaft. No. Restless Xiaola instantly calms. His 4 hooves seem nailed to the ice. So, left waist means turn left. Right waist means turn right. Tap the hoof for brakes. After more practice, he even starts predicting my commands. Everything is ready. I tie the rope back on, then vault onto the snowmobile. I roar toward the front. Xiaola, full speed ahead. He releases an excited long cry. His hooves hammer into the ice like pile drivers. A terrifying push slams into my back. I have not even sat steady when an astonishing scene unfolds. During the high-speed charge, Xiaola's horn blazes with golden light. It becomes a high-speed spinning drill. The violent blizzard rushing at us is shredded the instant it touches the horn. In the sky full of white disaster, he drills out a vacuum tunnel. Whoosh. I and the vehicle turn into golden lightning. We spear straight toward the target. The underwater Golden Corridor. Back on Blue Star. Inside the First Intelligence Center, at the Apocalypse Command Room, the screen makes the whole hall boil. They praise the move as beautiful. Wu Jing sets down his thermos. His face is full of smiles. Suwon, meanwhile, turns the keyboard into a blur. This genius girl, fresh from grief, stares at a biochemical formula without blinking. Mammoth sheep stomach acid has delayed enzymes. Wilderness grass alone is not enough. Special feed has to be prepared. Seeing her thin but stubborn back, Wu Jing's eyes flash with heartache. Then his gaze locks back onto the screen, onto me racing through the blizzard. He sighs that young people really go hard. At the same time, on the surging wilderness tundra, Xiaola roars beneath me. The wind-splitting charge stops dead. I stop steadily above the fault zone. I glance down. Time, 1 minute and 40 seconds. I cannot help sucking in air. 120 kilometers per hour. Against level 12 winds on this tundra, even a blue star cheetah only does that. But in the wilderness, this speed bullies physics in public. No wonder he is a state-certified lead sheep. Those legs deserve 5 stars. Good job. I hop down. I do not break the ice immediately. From my coat, I pull out a rock-hard bitter beast thigh. I tear and swallow in big bites. Warm currents burst open instantly. They surge through my limbs. The stiffness in my bones fades. My stamina fills back up. The system says Constitution plus 0.15. Strength plus 0.1. That is the tyranny of rare monster meat. I do not pause. My alloy shovel smashes into the blue ice. Crack. Ice chips scatter. A 1-meter ice hole opens below. Dark water rolls with biting cold. I tell Xiaola to watch the vehicle. The deep blue diving suit cuts the surface. Overlord spear in hand, I plunge into the unknown abyss. 30 meters underwater. The strange thing is, the deeper I dive, the hotter everything feels. The fault zone geothermal heat is working. Through crisis intel vision, the ugly locals in the dark cannot hide. Arm-thick, blind lion eels bare their fangs. Black rock turtles lurk inside cracks. Red-whiskered predators wait for a chance. A complete, cruel deep-water killing chain. Looking at these walking experience packs, my heart gets unreasonably excited. This is not a lake. It is a resource vault with water. Too bad I have no net. I suppress the urge to hunt. Like a ghost, I keep diving. While I explore the abyss, Blue Star's live stream boils over. A string of international breaking news hits public opinion like depth charges. Lighthouse country's George completes a sacrifice. His strength increases by 10%. England's David also succeeds. Western apocalypse holders keep scoring wins. The Divine Alliance's arrogance instantly ignites Eastern viewers. They demand why it is always them. Where's the East? Where are our people? Just as everyone grows anxious, Daxia's official channel finally speaks. Daxia's Yueying sacrifices the Xian gourd flower. His constitution increases by 10% the moment the news drops. The whole internet boils over. But this is only the appetizer. Everyone's eyes snap back toward the figure still diving below. Who becomes the first divine envoy? This legendary chess game has just begun. Back under the ice lake, 50 meters down, the flat lakebed disappears. In its place, a bottomless U-shaped fault yawns open. My feet sink into soft mud. I can almost smell faint sulfur. Water temperature, 8 degrees. A natural greenhouse. I mutter that in my head. To the naked eye, this place is absolute darkness. But in my vision, the dead abyss gets layered in clear scans. The next second, my scalp tingles. Under my feet and along both walls. Pale gold light clusters pack every inch. They stack in layers. So crowded the water looks jammed. They stretch from here to the horizon. Countless sleeping lives gather together, forming a golden river deep in the crust. So this is the legendary Golden Corridor. I swim above that golden river. My heart pounds like unpaid rent. This does not only mean my own power can explode upward. More importantly, this lake can become Daxia's lifeline. Once we take this place, the people who come later gain cold resistance. They can build a base in this frozen hell. A self-sufficient loop can finally form. I can almost see Daxia rising here. But first, I must be a picky fisherman. Among tens of thousands of fish, I need to find the golden one. 1.2 meters? Too small. 1.5? Barely acceptable. 1.8? Now that is premium, but still not enough. I weave through fish for 4 whole hours. My eyes nearly go cross-eyed. There are too many. Way too many. This happy problem is honestly torture. Fine, I almost settle for the 1.8. Just as I am about to compromise, my peripheral vision drifts deeper into darkness. I have not checked there yet. I think the golden corridor is already the limit. Who knew the next second? My worldview gets flattened like dough. At the deepest part of the fissure, a purple gold sun outshines every light. It lies dormant in the dark. The system identifies a legendary first-rank ice lingzhu fish. Legendary, and 2.5 meters long. This is no ordinary fish. This is an underwater monster. It rests beside the warm current. Each scale is as big as my palm. Its 2 whiskers move like snakes. That mouth alone could swallow me in one bite. The Fish King has found me. I grip the Overlord spear tight. My heart hammers wildly, while it is dormant. This is my only chance to kill it. To play it safe, I trigger my trump card without hesitation. Divine Foresight. The world instantly slows. The moment I get close, the beast senses my killing intent. A golden afterimage reveals its dodge path. Trying to run? Not today. My arm shoots out like a torpedo. I stab hard into the gap on its back. The blow feels like hitting bronze wall. The backlash numbs my hand. My whole body is bounced away. Not only do I fail to pierce it, I only leave one pale scratch. Bad. The weapon is not the problem. The water resistance is too strong. Against a legendary creature, my strength is not enough. That strike fully enrages the Overlord. Mud and sand explode upward. It does not flee at all. Instead, it whips its body like a dragon. Then opens a barbed blood-red mouth. It bites straight at my head. Life and death flash in one instant. My adrenaline spikes. I force time to slow again. Divine Foresight. For seconds. Only 4 seconds. Then that mouth cuts me and my spear in half. At the edge of despair, inside Crisis Intel Vision, a glaring red dot suddenly bursts open, right where the upper jaw meets the gill. The only soft flesh. Also the Frost Goddess's hidden hint. Die. I force my body forward in the water. Facing the huge mouth, I advance. The Overlord's spear corrects its line. I drive it hard into the red point. Hiss. The blade enters flesh. It punches straight into the brain. The Fish King's massive body stiffens. After several violent spasms, it finally sags powerless. I win, staring at prey bigger than me. I drag it up to the surface, then throw it onto the ice. The sacrifice begins. I take a deep breath. Under the stars, I strike a pious pose. Great Frost Goddess. This is the catch I prepared for you. In an instant, the wind cuts off. Snow hangs frozen in the air. The whole wilderness seems paused. Inside that absolute stillness, the dead Fish King opens its eyes. Its golden pupils turn strangely clear. It gives me a gentle tail flick, then becomes a streak of light. It swims through frozen snow toward the sky. Dark clouds scatter. The Milky Way blazes. Countless stars slowly gather overhead. They form a majestic, breathtaking face. The Frost Goddess accepts the perfect sacrifice. She is very satisfied. A vast divine voice detonates in my mind. Then, a terrifying warm current floods in. Like a broken dam, the system dings for my first sacrifice. Perfect. Strength, constitution, and spirit rise 10%. Advanced cold resistance rises by 25%. I cannot even celebrate. Agony instantly eats my reason. Muscle fibers rip apart and rebuild. My bones crack like fireworks. Blood surges like lava. Then extreme hunger hits. Purifying fire burns through my body. Every cell screams for fuel. My eyes go blood red. I grab the Kong beast meat in my arms. I stuff it down like a starving wolf. I do not even have time to chew. Still not enough. Ice crystal berries. I swallow them in one bite. Still not enough. This hunger is basically a black hole. It wants to swallow me whole. I lunge toward the metal box. I grab a cold raw fish. I slice it open with my knife. Then devour the bloody flesh. 1 fish. 2 fish. 3. Until every stored bite is gone. Only then does the deadly hunger fade. I collapse into the snow. I feel this brand new body, packed with explosive power. At this moment, I am certain. If I met that fish king again, I could crush it barehanded. Without divine foresight. Yes, that kind of confidence. Looking at the huge corpse, I suddenly notice something wrong. Its once brilliant purple gold scales are now gray as stone. They feel dry as dead wood. The essence is gone. So that was the trick. The goddess drained the fish king's energy and upgraded me on the side. All my physical stats rise 10%. This trade is pure profit. I skim my panel. My heart pounds again. Strength 53.3, Constitution 57.6. Spirit is even higher, 76.2. My total physique is 6 times normal. Even among top 7th batch pioneers. That is still pure dimensional bullying. But the corpse in front of me is turning to stone. Inside my brain, a very bold idea suddenly pops up. If the national screen has not detected the essence loss yet, can I maybe abuse a tiny bug? After all, I am the material overlord. I upload it while the scan is still checking. Legendary B+, tribute multiplier 10,000. It works. Fish king, farewell. The corpse dissolves into light. I cannot help pumping my fist. A fish this huge must have at least 600 pounds of meat. With a 10,000-fold tribute, that is 6 million pounds. Math smells delicious. Sure, the essence is gone. But feeding the research bosses is more than enough. This, my friends, is called a win-win. I look at Shaola, who is scared stiff. I grin and tell him to stop staring. That guy has completed his merit. He ascended. Now we go home. At the same time, Blue Star may be deep in night, but the giant fish forms explode. Before this, it was Sakura Country's water sun showing off. The screen was full of his deep-sea octopus hunts and giant sea monster records. They bragged that they ruled the ocean. Other countries were still feeling for shrimp, while they claimed to conquer the deep sea. Arrogant comments flooded the screen. Then Daxia's official account quietly drops one picture. Legendary Christian Fish King, Ice Lingzhu fish. Body length, 2.5 meters. Purple gold from head to tail. Its vertical pupils look down on all life. That is not a fish. That is an underwater emperor. And honestly, a piece of art. People wonder if those scales are steel plates. Water sun catches monsters. They say I catch gods. Nice upgrade. That is legendary Lin, and apparently, someone asks if I went down in a mech. Every angler on Earth gets slapped by the photo. Tonight becomes Daxia's carnival. In the command center cafeteria, Wu Jing leans on his crutch. The aroma basically drags him awake. Seeing the glowing researchers, he forces down his shock. Then he downs 3 big bowls of legendary fish soup. He admits it smells amazing. As expected of me. After wiping his mouth, he immediately puts on a serious face. He orders the message passed down. Next time, tell Lennon to keep top resources for himself, not feed us. Eating this is too wasteful, says the man after 3 bowls. The view returns to the wilderness. Inside the abandoned bear cave, the moment I enter, the National Fate Settlement arrives on time. No suspense at all. I take first place again. 1 legendary Fish King is worth 100,000 points. That equals 10 of Xiaola's relatives. Awkward. Then the system prompt makes my breath catch. Congratulations for uploading a legendary resource. Reward. Unknown resource point coordinates. The resource point can refresh 3 times. I sit up straight at once. This is a top-tier gift from the higher civilization. With even 1 resource point, even a rookie can live comfortably. And I am absolutely not a rookie. A pale blue screen unfolds instantly. Resource point rating, D. Direction, due north. Common yield, with extremely low rare output. My brow tightens. My heart cools halfway. This is worse than a roadside berry patch. D-rank trash. Very inspiring. But I do not panic. Instead, I almost laugh. This round, is free real estate for me. Others lose it forever if they give it up. I have the intelligence system. As long as I remember the direction, 1 scan while passing by makes it mine. Due north, right? Noted. Since bugs exist, I want everything. Refresh. The screen flickers. A card glowing deep blue suddenly pops out. Rating, B. Direction, southeast. High yield, enough to feed a small country. Okay, now we are taking off. This is every pioneer's dream plot. If it were anyone else, they would stop while ahead. If the last refresh spits out garbage, they are back to 0 overnight. But am I normal? I am a humble, shameless cheat user. Southeast direction. Coordinates locked. With a working brain. This B rank point is already in my pocket. I take a deep breath. My eyes grow a little crazier. Since there is no downside left, let us gamble big. Come on, blow it up. Golden light explodes. It nearly blinds my titanium dog eyes. The whole card turns pure gold. An expensive aura smacks me in the face. Rating S. Output is extremely large. Recommendation index, off the charts. Watching that frantic recommendation flash. The hair on my back suddenly stands up. Something is wrong. This smells too strong. It feels exactly like a seductive dealer. Handing out cards online. Classic pig butchering scam. Next second, the card flips over. The truth is revealed. S-rank resource, 7-color lotus, route planned. A blue arrow locks onto one spot on the map. I look only once. I almost cough blood. Sure enough, this unknown S-rank resource point is the bottomless cave I just swam out of. The higher civilization wants something for nothing. Dream on. This is not a rookie benefit. This is public taxation with extra sparkle. Looking at these so-called 3 refresh chances, I cannot help giving a cold laugh. My heart is crystal clear. Recombined energy is worse than one original item. Classic middleman taking the profit. Even though I know this is a scam and a pit, I must admit, I made a killing. After all, the Fish King I uploaded was bug-abused junk already. If they really manifest it, the higher civilization loses its pants. As for whether the other 2 points are safe, as long as I do not go, there is no danger. Brilliant survival logic. Shall I listen up? I may be making some noise. The sacrifice has locked up my body. Under that huge wave of fatigue, my eyelids start fighting me. Meanwhile, on the far side of the wilderness, the night is black as ink. The cold wind cuts like knives. Most pioneers struggle on the edge of death. Some fight desperately for one bite. Some stay awake all night dodging bugs. And some foolishly open the rankings. Hanjingi, for example, and Li Qingqing too, are holding sizzling roasted giant rat. They eat like life is suddenly kind. This thing comes from an expensive family-bought guide. Paired with purple gold rat night, they caught it. As long as protein intake holds, and basic body tonic helps, returning to top 20 is not a dream. He confidently opens the light screen. The next second, the rat meat stops tasting good. That familiar name at number 1 hits like a slap. It lands hard on his face. Deep in the dark forest, Zhao Taiju works like a desperate ox. Using a hard-shelled bug barb, he drags a meter-long red-scaled grass fish ashore, seeing enough food for 3 days. His face fills with pride. He laughs that this is real technique. Then he habitually checks the rankings. The smile freezes on his face. It becomes a perfect mask of pain. His 1-meter fish is only common grade. So a legendary fish must be a whale, right? Zhao Taiju sighs that young people these days leave no one a path to live. Even proud Mushua falls silent. As the only flying rider to fight back into the top 10, she had calculated everything perfectly. She planned to profit from monsters killing each other. That should have pushed out Ace in Country and raised her to 9th. Ace in Country does get pushed out, but she is still 10th. Ouch. The name pressing above her is like a mountain no one can cross. A legendary kill in the 2nd month. Mushua shows respect in those cold eyes for the first time. Unless my body stats break 60, that should be impossible, safe or not. She admits she is not my match. Everyone realizes one terrifying fact. This batch of monsters is absurdly strong. Morning arrives on the surging tundra. The outside chaos does not affect me at all. Right now, I only want to stew the glutton in front of me. Did you steal coal again last night? I point at the fuel pile, now missing a huge chunk. Shala looks perfectly innocent. Then he skillfully noses open the leather bag. Right in front of me, he demonstrates what it means to steal by pure talent. I am so mad my hands shake. And yet, I can do nothing. Classic owner defeat. I hoped he would help me save coal. Turns out this guy is a bottomless pit. Today's intelligence refreshes. At last, the life-saving prompt arrives. Survival intelligence. Yesterday, the sacrifice delayed my box opening. Today, I have to win that face back. As the light screen flickers, a coordinate that could drive anyone mad appears. Mythic survival blind box. Coordinates, 1054, 887. Distance, about 19.8 kilometers. Another mythic one, but my brows lock tight. I stare hard at the distance on the map. 19.8 kilometers on this tundra is basically a gate to the afterlife. There are invisible ice cracks dozens of meters deep. And worse, polar ice worms. Those things look like enlarged mammoth death worms. They have no eyesight, but they are terrifyingly sensitive to vibration. Ivan from White Fur Country nearly got buried by one. If I had to walk it myself, to avoid all that danger, I would need at least 40 kilometers. Add in the rotten weather, and going there and back would take 4 days. No chance of doing it faster. But that was before. I flip onto Shala's back. A grin curls at my mouth. I tell him to move out. A golden flash tears through the snowstorm. This is not traveling. This is low-altitude flying. I do not even need to guide him. Shala's danger instinct is downright monstrous. He dodges glowing blue ice pits. He skirts around hidden ice worms. He avoids death traps that make ace pioneers turn pale at the mere rumor. Under his hooves, this place is as flat as our backyard. Amazing. I once needed 2 days of leg torture to cross this deadly route. Now it takes only 1 hour. With an easy snort, Shala stops at the edge of a giant pit. I climb down. My gaze burns toward the bottom. Around us, aside from the howling wind, there is no sign of a monster. I take a deep breath. Then I slide down the snow into the pit. Inside the frozen soil, Something gives off a silver-white metallic glow. A massive thing rests there. It waits quietly for me to open it.